Okay.
When you sit down, you can use your abdominal muscles more, and you get your last few squirts out and feel like you've emptied better.
Guess we'll be hearing this at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Get the latest on the Giants and Jets on WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1, New York, and Odyssey Sports Station. Evan Roberts. Tiki Barber. It's Evan and Tiki on WFAN, The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
I want to wish every Giant fan a very belated Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Birthday, because boy, has the offseason news broken right for you. Late yesterday afternoon, as you are fully aware, it's been talked about plenty on this radio station. John Harbaugh is no longer speculation. He is available to be the next head coach of the New York Giants. I love John Harbaugh. I think most of us do. But we need to relax. And what I mean by that is we need to take our time. What if the Steelers get blown out this weekend and Mike Tomlin becomes available? What if Sean McVay, this is a pipe dream, says, I don't want to be in L.A. anymore? This market of head coaches, which is already really good and really appealing, could get better. So I just want to calm everyone down. Harbaugh's awesome. It would be an amazing hire. But this list could get even better, bro.
Matt LaFleur could appear on this list as well.
That's true. By the way, Tiki's off. That's why you're hearing Sean's voice, even though this is Evan and Tiki with Shaun Morash. Tiki back tomorrow.
Yes, Matt LaFleur could add to this list. This is wild, Evan. I remember we talked about when Dable got fired, and what was so unappealing to me as a Giants fan was you heard every defensive coordinator name, and we don't need to rehash them now at this point because they might become really irrelevant. But it was the idea of, it just feels like the Giants waited with Brian Dable, held on to him, and now they're going to have a head coaching vacancy in what appears to be the worst year to need a head coach.
Yep.
It's completely done a 180.
100%.
This might be the best year for an organization like the Giants to be looking for a head coach, so they better get it right and not whiff now.
But that's why you got to take your time.
No, you don't.
Look, you just want to hire John Harbaugh after you fulfill the Rooney Rule and that's it? Just move on?
Here's the worry about John Harbaugh, and here's what's already happening to me, which has put me in sheer panic mode. We get the report last night that John Harbaugh agent has already had 7 teams reach out to him. Was that the number? And there's 6 openings besides the Ravens?
There are 7 openings. The Ravens are one of them. So, yes, there is a mystery team that has reached out who currently has a head coach for John Harbaugh.
Now, I don't know. Maybe at some point in the next 4 hours we play Guess the Mystery Team, and that's fine. But the bottom line is this. If the mystery team is a team in the postseason that is going to do a Joe Girardi, and it doesn't matter when they get eliminated, they're going to get rid of their guy. And John Harbaugh knows that and wants to speak with that team because clearly that's a more ready team than the Giants because they're in the freaking postseason, right? I am not delaying hiring Kevin Stfansky with the hopes and dreams of hiring John Harbaugh only for him to leave us at the altar for insert Bills, Packers, Eagles, whoever here.
Right.
I'm not doing that. Kevin Stfansky had dinner with the New York Giants last night. I hope it wasn't fast food. He is now meeting with them today. They're going to meet with Mike McCarthy. I understand it's a process and you're going to speak to multiple people, and Stfansky knows that. But if Kevin Stfansky, whose first flight out of Cleveland was to land at Newark Airport and go meet with the New York Giants, wants you that badly, if Harbaugh wasn't available, I believe he is, and I said this yesterday, the best head coaching candidate out there.
John Harbaugh is.
Before Harbaugh got fired, I thought Stefanski was.
I'm trying to figure out what you're saying.
My point is, Stefanski is still that worthy and that good a candidate that I'm not allowing him to feel like we want Harbaugh. He goes to Atlanta, takes that job, and then Harbaugh decides in 3 weeks he's taking the Eagle job, and the Giants end up with neither. So you could preach patience, and I get patience, and Harbaugh might be the closest thing to Tom Coughlin that this team has seen. But at the expense of losing Kevin Stefanski in a waiting game with no guarantees from John Harbaugh, I'm not waiting.
You're being way too, the word I want to use, it's not appropriate, but it's horny. You're being way too horny for John Harbaugh and Kevin Stefanski.
Because it has to be, Evan.
No. This marketplace we're looking at right now has a chance to be historic. I mean, when you think about the head coaching candidates that are currently available and may well be available. Here's the thing about John Harbaugh, and you just brought it up. I think he was Joe Girardi'd, personally.
Okay.
I don't think the missed field goal impacted John coming back or not. Like, I think if the Ravens made the postseason and won a game or won a week or won 2 weeks, I think ultimately they were going to make this change anyway based on the reporting of last night, which is that there were going to be staff changes. Him and Lamar Jackson may have had a falling out.
He wanted to keep Todd Monken. He wanted to get rid of him.
And also that he, quote, lost the locker room.
Right, which is crazy.
If that stuff is true, and I believe that reporting from last night, then I don't think it would have mattered if they won on Sunday. I think eventually John would have been out. Now, why is that important? It's important in talking about Mike Tomlin. It's important in talking about Sean McDermott. It's important in talking about Nick Sirianni. These are all currently employed head coaches who very well may be gone in the next few weeks. Now, I'm not saying they should all shoot to the top of your list. I know one of them that does. It's Mike Tomlin. I asked you guys last week, I asked everybody in the audience, if both of these guys became available, Mike Tomlin or John Harbaugh, who would you prefer? Universally on this radio show, Tiki Barber, Shaun Morash, Tommy Lugauer, who's doing a great job doing after hours, and myself, we all said Mike Tomlin.
Sure.
So why would you make decisions rushed when it's entirely possible, by the way, even with a playoff win this weekend against Jacksonville, that Tomlin could be out? You need to take a deep breath, look at the lay of the land, interview everybody, which the Giants are about to do, and take your time with this process because this has a chance to be one of the greatest list of available head coaches maybe we've ever seen.
No, I can't argue that, and I want to make it very clear. I prefer John Harbaugh over Kevin Stefanski. Well, I might have a slightly Stfansky, but overall the idea of I know the Giants aren't winning 3 games next year with John Harbaugh, so I clearly want to speak to him and do all of this.
Save that audio, Connor.
They are.
You never know.
In relation to Mike Tomlin, you're right, but here's the simple threading of the needle here. We're already at Wednesday. Clearly, the Giants are no NFL team, even if it was Harbaugh, is going to make a hire by Friday before Wild Card Weekend because there's so much of a process. The Rooney Rule and interviewing 2 external candidates.
2 external minority candidates. Yep. I know that they've already scheduled an interview with Vance Joseph.
And I believe Antonio Pierce.
And Antonio Pierce, the guy you predicted the Giants would ultimately hire. Yes.
Okay, so it's not like you have to make this decision this week, but the longer this goes on, if Tomlin beats the Texans on Monday night and we get into next week, and now teams have already kind of cycled through interviews and you've gotten through a lot of the requirements and fulfillments, and you're still at that, I don't know, you met with Harbaugh, but he's deciding, and now it's really gotten hot and heavy where I'm going to keep using the Falcons as an example. Mm-hmm. The Falcons are like, nah, man, Stefanski's our guy, and Kevin Stefanski's good to the Giants going, I wanted you, I flew to you first, you're waiting on this. I just think this is too crucial hire. Yesterday we called it, right, the most important hire in Giants history.
And I think it's actually become more important over the last few hours because of the sheer amazingness of some of these candidates.
And maybe this is a loser mentality and the Giants have trained me this way. They can't lose here. And the only way you lose, now, if one of those guys became available, Tomlin, I get it. But if right now the only candidates that truly do become available is who we know now, which includes Harbaugh and Stfansky, they can't whiff and go over.
Okay, so here's where I think you're thinking about this wrong, and I understand your struggles with this. This is a struggle I have. I am not a good-looking guy. I know that. I think Sean's pretty aware of his looks. So our reaction is to just, you don't agree with that? You think you're hot?
I don't think I'm hot, but I was always meant to look near 40.
Okay, fair enough. I think when you are like me, I'll just use myself then since you don't want to pick on yourself. Mm-hmm. Someone like me says, ooh, she's hot. I have to ask her out immediately. When someone is attractive, they know they're going to get their pick of the litter.
Right.
So John Harbaugh and Kevin Stefanski, well, I don't think Stefanski is the candidate that Harbaugh is. He is still an appealing candidate to many teams, are also going to wait. They're also going to look at, hey, maybe the Eagles have an opening. Maybe the Buffalo Bills have an opening. So they're smart enough to know we're not just going to jump because the Giants are jumping quickly. And the Giants as an organization have to have the self-confidence between the quarterback that they have, the history of the franchise that they have, that they're an appealing team. So rushing to get this done is sloppy. I think what you've got to do, and so far the Giants are doing it, is interview everybody. Mm-hmm. Have an open process. John's available, great. Call up his agent. I'd like to interview you. I think there is a real chance that the list of candidates is only going to get more impressive, starting with Mike Tomlin. I've made that prediction since June. We'll see if I'm ultimately right. I think he's going to be available, and I'll ask you the question today that I asked you on Friday because I know opinions change around here sometimes. If I gave you the choice between Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh, who are you picking as the next head coach of the New York Football Giants?
I would pick Mike Tomlin.
So you're staying the same on that?
I'm staying the same, but also,
he can be available.
He can be.
So take a deep breath.
But guess what? A funny thing happened last night. The Giants became no longer the most valuable option for a free agent coach. The Ravens are. Yeah. They already have Lamar Jackson.
They're not for John Harbaugh.
Mike Tomlin wouldn't go there?
No, because remember, he's under contract. And so I think ultimately what the Steelers may do if they move on from Mike Tomlin is orchestrate a trade.
Okay.
They're not going to trade him inside the division. John Harbaugh's been let go. It's different. John can go wherever he wants. I just kind of have a feeling like the handling of Tomlin, if it gets handled, may be slightly different.
Maybe, but that would also require, remember, this is why Sean Payton got traded. The Saints wanted to hold on to Sean Payton. Sean Payton wanted to step away.
Sure.
If the Steelers are done with Mike Tomlin, they're done with Mike Tomlin. The trades only work if Tomlin is, like, he's the one that wants that.
No, I understand. My point is, though, I need to find out. Like,
Okay.
I agree with you, and I think most of the audience feels this way, that, and these are two great candidates, Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh, and ultimately, despite that game on Sunday night, feeling like the loser loses their job, they both may lose their job.
Yeah.
You may end up with both guys leaving town. It would be like, I give you a wrestling reference, WrestleMania 20 between Brock Lesnar and Goldberg. They fought this horrible match, they both left.
Yeah.
That could be Tomlin and, that's a good analogy.
It
For the
is.
12 people that get it.
But you brought up the idea that, the Giants need to have self-confidence. In my opinion, the Giants have already screwed this up. Okay, hear me out. What is the purpose of firing a coach or a general manager in season? We used to hear the purpose was to get a jump start on figuring this out.
Yep.
And the Giants, as they inevitably always do, they rely on the idea that they're loyal. They're a family-run business. They want to take care of people and everything that goes with it. They cared so much about Mike Kafka's feelings as he was, interim coaching this and wanting to give him the best shot and not wanting to offend him, that they failed to take advantage of firing Brian Daboll early. You know how you get a jump start on showing John Harbaugh or Kevin Stfansky how much you really want them? You've already conducted interviews with Mike McCarthy or Antonio Pierce or anybody else who was said available at the time. The Giants shouldn't be starting this week with their first round of interviews. The guys who are available, they shouldn't be waiting until next week to speak to Mike McCarthy. They should have spoke to him 3 weeks ago. They should have had a formal interview with Antonio Pierce 2 weeks ago, which would have, that would have been one of the requirements.
Right.
They are already behind the eight ball. If they were ahead of the game.
I don't think they're behind the eight ball.
But they could be more aggressive now.
Yeah.
They could be.
Is that, by the way, I genuinely don't know the answer to that. Is that normal for a team who has an interim head coach to start interviewing candidates before the season is over?
You're allowed to.
No, is that
as long as they're available.
Is that a common thing, though?
I'd have to go back and actually look, but
It doesn't feel like that's happened.
Because it feels like a lot of teams have this respecting. I think the Giants need to stop worrying, or should have stopped worrying about respect. There's always a concern.
Fair, but I don't think that changes this process.
I think it does.
The Giants right now are one of the most appealing teams out there with a coaching vacancy, and coaches are going to wait. They're going to wait. Like, if Kevin Stfansky right now prefers the New York Giants, he's going to wait to find out if he gets the job, like anybody applying for a job. So I think them going through their exhaustive process beginning right now doesn't put them behind the eight ball, especially to my point that patience is needed knowing more candidates may be available. Like, it's no longer Black Monday. The John Harbaugh news happened on Tuesday. And like I mentioned, there are other candidates like Sean McDermott, who I may not love, but in fairness, he may be available and is certainly someone who you should interview. Mike Tomlin may be available. Nick Sirianni may be available if the Eagles flame out. I think LaFleur, you mentioned, is another possibility. So I think what you got to do is take a deep breath.
Okay. Have you ever heard the phrase, don't let them out of the building?
Yes.
Okay. The Giants have to let Stefanski and Harbaugh out of the building.
Absolutely.
Which you wouldn't have to if you got a jump start on this process.
But letting someone out of the building is the most overrated thing in the world. If John wants the Giant job and you ultimately offer it to him 3 weeks from now when you see the other candidates and you've interviewed everybody, he's going to take the job. But you think he's going to take the job on Thursday as opposed to 3 Thursdays from now?
If John Harbaugh really wants the Giant job and the Giants have already done their due diligence and checked off boxes on other interviews, then why would the Giants not just throw him, John, what is it going to take you to be here? Don't get out of the building. Mm-hmm. You're allowing him to. What if John Harbaugh.
Because a better candidate may become available, Sean. That's my point. And you agree with me because you feel Mike Tomlin is a better candidate.
While I agree with you, Mike Tomlin's also not that much greater a candidate to John Harbaugh that I'm risking all of this.
I also want to address my fellow Jet fans. I have been on the radio the last couple of shows actually defending Aaron Glenn coming back as Jet head coach. And most of my defense has been about not wanting to go one and done. But I do want to hold myself accountable for something I did say back on December 18th and address it. This is what I said about potentially doing an about face on Aaron Glenn returning for a second year. And while there was bad in year one, to me there isn't enough to fire a coach after one season. I would not personally do it. I wouldn't like it.
Yeah, but
it would cause me panic on where they're going to go next. Look, the only way this works, and this is kind of seedy, but I'm being honest with you, is if Mike Tomlin secretly calls me and says, yeah, me and the Steelers are breaking up, and I want your job. Or John Harbaugh calls me and says, yeah, me and the Ravens are breaking up, and I want your job. Well, yeah, I'm not an idiot, of course. If you're giving me this great proven head coach, would I rather hire that person than just be fair to Aaron Glenn? Of course. All right, so I'm not an idiot. And today on January 7th, I will say it again. Of course I'd fire Aaron Glenn's ass and hire John Harbaugh. That is a slam dunk. I don't think any Jet fan would call up and debate me on that. Here's the problem. I said in that clip, I'm not an idiot. I stand by that. I am not naive enough or idiotic enough to think that John Harbaugh would take me, that John Harbaugh would take Woody, that John Harbaugh would take the mess that is the New York Jets. I get we have 5 first-round picks over the next 2 years. I get it. I get it that Woody Johnson has some political influence. I get it. We are being naive and crazy to think that John Harbaugh would tell the New York Giants, I'm good. Would tell the Atlanta Falcons, I'm good. Would tell whatever other team, the Philadelphia Eagles, who may have a coaching vacancy and John Harbaugh has a long history with, I'm good. He's not picking the Jets. So I stand by what I said. If Woody Johnson can secretly reach out to John to just get the confirmation, and he's not going to use me and abuse me the way Mike Vrabel did a year ago, I would absolutely secretly reach out and find out, because you never know, right? As much as I do know. But let's not get crazy, Jet fans. He's not coming to us. So what are we going to do? We're going to fire Aaron Glenn for the 2% shot that John Harbaugh would get wasted one night and say, I'm going to take the Jet job? Not going to happen.
So, while I agree with you, I also don't think you could completely dismiss it. Now, you'd have to know he was coming. I get that. You wouldn't fire Aaron Glenn without knowing he's coming. But, man, the Jets picking second in the draft, how do you know if John Harbaugh doesn't like a Dante Moore, Fernando Mendoza? How do you know?
Sean.
And remember, this is different. Hold on. He knows.
Sean.
He ain't getting fired after 1 year or 2 years with the New York Jets. He knows that.
Yeah.
He knows that he is good for at least 3 years, and they have a treasure trove of assets that he could build the thing from the ground up. Again, I know I'm talking out of one side of my mouth and the other. I think he would prefer other jobs. But you also don't know that. There is a certain appeal to what the Jets have at the bare bones. You could build the whole thing up.
Sean, as a fan, I've been naive before. There are times I came on the radio and said, Bill Jackson would take the Nets job, or whatever other stupid thing I thought could possibly happen. John Harbaugh is not taking the Jets job. So, to my fellow Jet fans, to Craig, because I know that was his first reaction yesterday, too. I get it. We all feel the same way. We all look at John Harbaugh as the perfect guy for this franchise. That is not an unpopular, uncommon opinion. But it ain't real. It is the most unrealistic thing sports-wise we could ever put together. It is more unrealistic John Harbaugh takes the Jet job than Steve Cohen wakes up today and says, I'm going to trade Soto back to the Yankees. It's just not happening.
Can I tell you why you're being a little bit of a hypocrite?
Oh, yeah. Hypocrite.
Yeah.
I'm being real. I'm trying to be real with everybody.
An hypocrite, okay? Here's the thing, Evan. You just said the Giants need to be patient because Mike Tomlin or what the heck's the idiot's name? Nick Sirianni in Philadelphia.
the idiot.
I was going to call him Nick Stfansky. You can tell what's in my mouth. Any of these guys could become available. If this ends up being a historic coaching class, there's only so many chairs to fill.
And they're still not taking the Jets. They're still not taking the Jets.
You know what? Then you have no hope for the future.
No, my hope
because
is that...
if you can't get a coach in this class that's better than Aaron Glenn, then what do we do? Close up shop and move to Canada.
Now, this is mostly going to be a Giant day, but I did want to address this Jet stuff. And let's go to a Jet fan, Jason in Fairfield, Connecticut. Jason, your thoughts on all this?
Exactly. All I got to say to you boys is exactly. I've been watching the Jets screw this up forever. Who do we have? We had Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
In 1994.
We had him for 1 year, yes.
We got rid of him. We got rid of him for Rich Kotite. Then we had Robert Saleh. What did we do? Who was it? Jim Harbaugh was available. We didn't even reach out to him. Then we escort Robert Saleh the very next year out of the building halfway through the season. It wasn't like Robert Saleh was killing it. And now we have Aaron Glenn, who's not killing it. And we have an absolute historic opportunity to get an established head coach who knows what the hell's going on out there. And we're going to sit there and say, nope, we're going to stick to Aaron Glenn. And what are we going to escort him out of the building next year? I mean, I couldn't agree with you guys more. But, Evan, the only thing I disagree with is you'll never know if somebody wants the job unless you reach out to the guy secretly.
Yeah, Jason, you hit it. I am endorsing Woody Johnson to be seedy and secretive, and you know what, Woody? Political. I want you behind the scenes. And I know it's dirty. I feel bad saying it, but I got to be real. And another team's doing it because some unnamed team has already reached out to John Harbaugh and his agent, and they currently have a job. And by the way, I think I know who the team is. I think if we use our brain, we all know who the team is. A team with a track record of being seedy and undermining guys who are currently employed. And that's the Miami Dolphins. They've done it before.
Troy Aikman making that call?
I don't know if it's Troy, but it's the owner. What's it? Stephen Ross.
Stephen Ross.
He's done it before. So that's neither here nor there. I think the Dolphins are doing it. I think the Jets have to do it. I agree with you. I'd be seedy. I would reach out to Harbaugh's camp without firing Aaron Glenn and just get an idea. What do you think? If Mike Tomlin becomes available, same thing.
What makes the Dolphins any more appealing than the Jets? Be honestly.
Where it's located.
That's it. That's it. Think about it. The Jets actually have a better track record of finishing the quarterback position than the Dolphins right now.
Well, the Jets have also won a playoff game more recently than the Miami Dolphins. We'll get your calls next. Giant fans, is it universal? Do you all want John Harbaugh? Would you do it today? Would you be patient? Is he still not your number one candidate? We'll hear from you coming up, 888-808-1019. We'll get a lot of information coming up at 1 o'clock because the great Connor Hughes will join us of SNY at 1. What's going on with this Giant search, even some Jet stuff. So we got a very, very busy show as we take you right up until the Carton Show at 2 o'clock. Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
And tonight, fans get the first look at who's heading to Fanatics Fest 2026, returning July 16th through the 19th at the Javits Center in New York City. Giants running back Cam Scatteraboo is set to reveal the first lineup of talent live tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on his Twitch stream. The names drop in real time, and fans will see it happen first. Watch live tonight on Twitch and find out who's headed to Fanatics Fest this July. I don't think I'm hot, but I was always meant to look near 40.
In for the touchdown! It's an NFL on Westwood One Wild Card Weekend, 4:30 Saturday, with the Rams and Panthers, followed by the Packers and Bears.
And it is good!
Sunday, we kick off at 1 with the Bills and Jaguars. Then it's the 49ers and Eagles, followed by the Chargers and Patriots.
Touchdown!
The home of Super Bowl 60 is The Fan, 101.9 FM and always live on the free Odyssey app.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
At Nielsen, fun is in the driver's seat.
Your best year starts with a savings. Don't miss the January Jumpstart event at Nielsen Dodge.
That's right, Chels. We're ready to start your new year with low lease payments to get you driving.
Lease a new 2026 Dodge Durango GT Plus all-wheel drive Hemi V8, just $299 a month. Or lease a new 2025 Ram 1500 Tradesman Crew Cab 4x4, just $359 a month. Or choose from hundreds of quality certified pre-owned vehicles.
With zero down payment and the credit help you deserve.
Come see all the great savings we've lined up so you can start your new year driving happy and hassle-free. Let the fun begin.
On Route 10 in East Hanover. Online at NielsenDodge.com. A proud member of the Nielsen Auto Group.
At Nielsen Dodge.
Fun is in the driver's seat.
Start something new sales event. With approval term Durango 36, Ram 42 months due at sign, Durango 55.99, Ram 59.54 at tax tag $498 dock and DMV fees.
When fighting lymphoma, leukemia, or myeloma, the right care team makes a difference. Hi, I'm Dr. Michelle Donato, Chief of Stem Cell Transplantation and Cellular Therapy at Hackensack University Medical Center's John Thurr Cancer Center. As the state's largest and most experienced CAR T-cell program, we pioneer life-saving options that empower your immune system to fight cancer. For personalized care in Hackensack or Neptune, call 833-CANCER-MD.
This is Tiki Barber. You definitely don't want your heating system to fail this winter. So call my friends at Edison Heating and Cooling, New Jersey's heating experts. Have them check your heating system before it breaks. I know Edison Heating and Cooling. They can fix anything. Go now to EdisonHVAC.com.
Get ready for more Evan and Tiki on The Fan.
Hi, I'm Michael from the Warren Treaty. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5 milligram, 1 milligram, and 2 milligrams.
This is your college football postseason update, presented by Factor. Eat like a pro. College postseason drama is heating up, and this weekend powerhouse programs delivered when it mattered most, with top seeds punching their tickets and surviving must-win matchups to keep their championship hopes alive. As the playoff picture tightens, every drive, every decision, every moment matters. Just like the athletes leaving it all on the field, Factor meals fuel performance with pro-level nutrition delivered to your door, ready when you are. Factor. Eat like a pro.
Listen to You Better You Bet with Nick Costa Sunday morning at 8 right here on The Fan. Nick will preview all the football action to get you ready for kickoff, presented by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Operating engineers Local 825 are the men and women who make our region move. So whether it's roads, bridges, or our favorite team stadium, they build and maintain the critical transportation, water, and energy infrastructure we rely on. That's why their advocacy organization, ELEC, the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative, fights for those priorities every day. That's ELEC, representing the signatory contractors and the hardworking men and women who build both New York and New Jersey.
Zona? Is that a word? In the 2026 Kia Sportage Turbo Hybrid, it might as well be, because it can be one road trip. It's all about turbocharged power and hybrid efficiency working together, so you get the thrill of quick acceleration and the satisfaction of fuel efficiency. Book a test drive and keep the adventure going. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-3334-KIA for details. Always drive safely.
Salicata here, and wow, are we thrilled with the incredible job CertaPro Painters did on our house. So clean, so efficient, they actually listened to us and even satisfied my wife, which, as you know, isn't easy. If you've been putting off painting because of the economy or tariff worries, don't. Painting your house is the easiest and most efficient way to protect and raise your home's value. Do what we did. Call CertaPro Painters today.
Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
Town Fair Tire honors any valid rebates, manufacturers or competitors' rebates. Yes, even any competitors' rebates. And we give you the guaranteed lowest price. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire.
Hey, it's Tiki Barber. Now's the time to score quality, affordable health insurance through Get Covered New Jersey. Every plan includes free preventive care, prescriptions, emergency services, and more. And 8 in 10 people get financial help. Visit getcovered.nj.gov.
Get the scuttlebutt on your favorite team, The Fan, on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
We got a jam-packed show today. It is Evan and Tiki. Tiki is back tomorrow. I have confirmed return for Tiki Barber tomorrow, and I'm going to give you a heads up about tomorrow's show, because I have been informed of a Tiki Barber Giants opinion that I am stunned by. And he'll defend himself tomorrow, but Tiki Barber prefers Kevin Stfansky over John Harbaugh. Did he not write that?
He did. He also went on Tuesdays with Tiki last night and reiterated that.
Oh, did he?
On
Damn
SMY.
Yes. We got to stop that.
There's video all over. Yeah, like McMonagle do the Tuesdays with McMonagle.
Well, it's not even that he can't do Tuesdays with Tiki. That's fine. But when you're not on the radio show, you can't then also be, you can't be on the TV show.
He gave his take there.
That's like me being off from here and doing a Rico. Oh, wait.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, you can listen to Talking Giants more on this subject after the show today. This Fan Focus is sponsored by Chef IQ. Precision cooking, effortless results, chefiq.com. How about those New York Islanders?
They just scored again.
Yes, New Jersey's stepchild of a hockey team went to the big outlet last night, lost 9-0. Anthony Duclair became the first NHL player to have a natural hat trick, 5 or more points, and a +6 rating since Wayne Gretzky in February of 1981. Congrats to the Red Hot Isles.
How many times in Islander history have they scored 9 or more goals?
I don't know.
Well, it's a trivia question, so this is the part where you guess.
How many times in Islanders history? I'm going to say 16.
16 times.
Yeah.
This was the 44th time in Islander history that they have scored 9 or more goals. How many times in Ranger history have they scored 9 or more goals? And obviously the Rangers have been around for a much longer period of time than the Islanders. They've got them beat by about 50 years.
79.
49.
Wow, that's it?
That's it.
It ain't happening this year.
5 more times than the Islanders, yet they've been around for much longer. But to give the Rangers credit, the most goals they've ever scored in a game is 12. The most the Islanders have ever scored in a game, which they've done multiple times, is 11. So
11.
There you go. Some hockey factoids for you. Let's get to your phone calls. John Harbaugh is now available. Giant fans want him. Some Giant fans want him tomorrow. Some Giant fans want to wait. Jet fans are drooling, thinking, let's just fire Aaron Glenn and get him. Let's hear from the people, and we'll kick it off with Mike in the Bronx. What's going on, Mike?
Hey, Evan, I love the show. How are you?
Appreciate it. What's up, man?
Good. I want to point that the fans always talk about this owner wants to win, badly, or the other one. Honestly, in football, it doesn't really matter that much. All you need is to know how to run a football team because how much money can he spend. In this case, old Woody, his insider guys always said Woody really, really wants to win, but he just makes mistakes. Okay, fine. Here's the one opportunity you have to show how much you really want to win. There's no salary cap here. Did John Gruden really want the Raiders when he went to that disaster organization? When he was off for 10 years, they gave him an offer he can't refuse. I'm not naive enough like you to think he really, really wants the Jets. Well, maybe the Jets really, really want him. Evan was crying that Hal gave $930 million to Soto, but didn't give $1 billion. Okay, so let's cry now and say we're not asking for $1 billion. Probably, coaches don't get paid that much. Go into your bank account. It's one opportunity to outspend other teams.
It's a great point. No, you're 1,000% right about that. I think it needs to be done in the Jets case. We'll get to the Giants in a second. In a seedy way. I am not firing Aaron Glenn for the small percentage chance I'm getting him. I'm not doing that. So I would, yes, behind the scenes, float to the agent. We'll make you the highest paid coach in the history of football, and we'll do it by a lot. Because he's right. I have said that about Steve Cohen and the Mets, that to be the big brother, to be the team that is more appealing than the Yankees and the Dodgers, you got to outspend. Well, the Jets are further away from everyone else in the NFL than the Mets were from the Giants and the Yankees and the Dodgers. So, I think Woody Johnson would have to write that big of a check. I'm just being real with everyone to know that that's not going to happen.
The more I thought about it in the commercial break, the more I think the Jets have to fire Aaron Glenn. This is all workshopping in real time. You said that in the open that resonated about the historic class. Think back to this class pre-Stfansky and Harbaugh. All of those guys were deemed worthy enough, even if I didn't love a lot of them for the Giants. They're all getting pushed down the ladder, bro. You're telling me none of them are a better option than Aaron Glenn for this team?
No, but I think what you're forgetting as an option is not coaching next year. It's not as if Kevin Stfansky needs to coach in 2026. Same with John Harbaugh. Now, we are making assumptions that they will.
Oh, they will.
Well, they probably will, but if the job available isn't the best one for them, they're not. Your whole point to me is, well, eventually the Jet job may be the best one out there, so they'll take it. No. If Kevin Stfansky is sitting without a chair and the Jets are the only job available, what he'll probably do is sit back and wait a year or two for what is deemed a better job.
All right, but you want to talk about getting the appealing candidate. If those guys get pushed down the rung, and this year you draft one of those quarterbacks, maybe they're not that good. And whatever coaching candidates now next year look at the Jet job and go, well, this is even less appealing than it was a year ago. The Jet job could get less appealing, bro.
It could get more appealing.
Okay.
I mean, if I believe Darren Muji and they use their draft picks correctly.
Do you believe Darren Muji? Because he was barely allowed to speak.
You know what? Here's what's funny about it. And we played it in its entirety as we interrupted and gave our thoughts in the 1 o'clock hour yesterday. So if you missed it, you could always go to the Evan and Tiki podcast and check it out. So you didn't miss a word of what Muji and Glenn said. I like Darren Muji. I kind of believe him. Now, he didn't use a lot of words, but he also didn't use a lot of coach speak. He kind of just told you the deal, and his moves and his actions so far have been relatively good. So what's my confidence level in Darren Muji? I'm not telling you it's through the roof, but it's certainly a lot higher than it is in Aaron Glenn.
Okay.
Let's go to Dominic in New Rochelle. Good morning, Dominic.
Hey, what's up, guys? Yesterday I called you up saying the only no-brainer was John Harbaugh, but he wasn't available at the time. I didn't think the Ravens were going to let him go, which is why I didn't think there was a clear-cut candidate. But this is a gift from the gods here, a layup for the Giants. This is 100% a must-hire. You cannot waste any time here. Evan, I wouldn't even waste my time interviewing McCarthy and other candidates. He's had 3 losing seasons out of 18, a program builder, culture changer, great leader. His resume speaks for itself. I think this would be a major fail if the Giants do not hire him, because that he is available now. And Evan, Tomlin isn't available as of now, so we don't know. And the margin between Tomlin and Harbaugh isn't a lot. If anything, it's almost even. So this is why I wouldn't even wait here. They need to hire Harbaugh immediately, at least by the end of the week, fellas.
By the end of the week, I'll make you this prediction. I do not think the Giants are hiring a coach by the end of the week. It does lead me, and we should wait for Tiki. But you know what? Tiki did Tiki with Tuesdays the other day, so maybe we'll skip him. And that is a long-term prediction on the date the Giants hire a new head coach. I'll tell you this, it ain't going to be January 15th.
No. And again, NFL rules aren't going to allow you to hire the coach as quickly as you think.
It depends. That's not true.
It could be by the 15th.
It depends who you're hiring. If they're hiring John Harbaugh, they could technically hire him in a few days as long as they fulfill the requirements of the Rooney Rule. They could hire him next week. I just don't think they will.
Speaking of that, the Jets, when they interviewed Vrabel last year, was in week 17.
What was that?
The Jets.
Oh, okay, so there has been at least
to go
an
back to my
example
point
of doing it early.
And if the Giants had interviewed McCarthy and Antonio Pierce, we're already down this road here.
Yeah, and they could have, because both guys were clearly available. Let's go to Tom in Howell, New Jersey. Hey, Tom.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up, man?
I got 2 points. First, regarding McCarthy, could you just try to explain maybe where is this notion that Harbaugh is so much better than McCarthy? The resumes are almost identical.
Can I start, Tom?
So that's 1 point.
Tom.
And the second point.
Well, he's got a second point. Let him make it, and then we'll address.
Okay.
We'll address. Go ahead, Tom.
The second point is just coming from Tiki, always about the staff. In your mind, is Harbaugh the one going to be able to put the best staff together as well, besides the coach?
It's a great question. I think, John, if you look at his resume in Baltimore, put together some really, really good staffs.
That was, just to interrupt, because I listened to Tuesdays with Tiki.
Yeah.
That was Tiki's biggest concern and why he doesn't want Harbaugh is he's concerned with the staff, which I completely disagree with.
I disagree with that. I think his staffs have been good over the years.
Yep.
So I appreciate Tom's phone call because I think it is a really, really, really good point. And I thought our boy Tommy made a really good job of doing this last night. We all know Tommy Lugauer, if you've listened to our show, he was a big supporter of Mike McCarthy. Okay?
No biggie.
And last night he laid out, look, I'm excited John Harbaugh is available, but Mike McCarthy and John Harbaugh have very similar resumes. And I heard him say it. I'm like, he's kind of right. So I did my own research. I started writing stuff down. In fact, I got it right in front of me.
Great. I did my research.
Comparing the resumes of John Harbaugh and Mike McCarthy. Let's start with the ages, because age seems to be a big deal, even though it's just a number. Look at our last 2 presidents. Mike McCarthy is 62. John Harbaugh is 63. I would say they're the same age.
Yep.
Tom Coughlin, when hired by the Giants, was 58. So just to give you perspective.
Fair enough.
They both have coached 18 years in the NFL. Okay?
Okay.
Mike McCarthy, 174 and 112. John Harbaugh, 180 and 113. That is a slightly better winning percentage for John Harbaugh, 614 to 608. The playoff records. Mike McCarthy is 11 and 11. John Harbaugh is 13 and 11. Both have won a Super Bowl.
Yep.
Okay? This is the other one I really like. Over 500 seasons, under 500 seasons, and right at 500 seasons. John Harbaugh, 13 of 18 years above 500. There were 3 under 500 seasons, 2 years of being at 500. Mike McCarthy, 12 above 500 seasons, 5 under, 1 even. That resume tells you that John Harbaugh is slightly better. That's what the resume tells you. Those numbers, which I think are fair, their win-loss records, what they've done in the playoffs, obviously the Super Bowls are equal. It is clearly an edge for John, but it's very small. So our last caller brings up a great point, and like I mentioned, Tommy was asking the same question.
Yeah.
Why do we view John Harbaugh as an absolute slam dunk? You cannot wait, hire him today. And yet some of the rhetoric around Mike McCarthy has been, dare I say, unfair. Why are they talked about so differently? Now that I've laid all the facts out,
I know.
The floor is yours.
You could tell it was like an excited puppy dog that jumped down your throat there.
Well, I just wanted everyone to have the facts because I think it matters. Now you can determine what you want.
By the way, I was fighting with Tommy last night via text, so this is where I have all my information here. What do you think is more impressive? Now, we already agree he has a slightly bigger resume. We gave Mike McCarthy credit for all these big win seasons. Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott. Freaking John Harbaugh won a Super Bowl with Joe Flacco.
Mm-hmm.
Is it more impressive that John Harbaugh won a Super Bowl with Joe Flacco, or less impressive that Mike McCarthy only won one Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers and lost all those championship games? Also, all the talk about all the win seasons, this year the Eagles snapped a very significant streak, which was no repeat winners in the NFC East. And we all agree the NFC East, we live it, right, is a very difficult division. John Harbaugh's done that in the AFC North, which is consistently a really good division, won back-to-back divisions. Mike McCarthy couldn't do that in Dallas with Dak Prescott. Now, you want to tell me that's small potatoes? That's fine. There's a lot more consistency with John Harbaugh. And also, John Harbaugh, when he loses his quarterback, he's making playoff games with Snoop Huntley.
Yeah,
Cooper Rush ain't doing that with the Dallas Cowboys and McCarthy.
Here's the problem with your argument, because I have a counter to you, but it's also like weird because the coach deserves credit for everything.
Yeah.
Like the coach really does deserve credit for everything. Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy, and I made a big point of this when Aaron came to the Jets, never had a top 10 defense after the Super Bowl year.
Fair.
The Ravens basically had top 5 defenses every single year. Now, I don't want to use that against John because he's the head coach.
He's the head coach. He's in touch with who's hiring to run the defense.
But you're also kind of decreasing the value of McCarthy winning because he had Aaron Rodgers, a quarterback he helped develop. It's almost as if what you and Tommy are doing, and I don't mean to knock Tommy in this, but I'm going to knock you mostly, is you have your opinions and you're shaping the argument based around what you want. I'm being perfectly honest. I think Mike McCarthy is a wonderful head coach who I would hire if I'm the New York Giants. But I, too, fall victim to putting John on a much higher pedestal than I do Mike. Now, I like Mike. I am not anti-McCarthy the way you are. I think I'm fair. But yet, I do find myself, to our last caller's point, putting John on a much higher pedestal than McCarthy, even though the resume tells us otherwise. And I was very self-reflective on, well, why do I do it? And I think the reason I do it is the consistency of being in one place.
Sure.
Which in a weird way, I should give McCarthy credit. Isn't it more difficult to go to another place and have success? But I think my bias is in the Ravens just being so solid for as long as they've been.
Yeah, and my bias is just I just think there was more creativity with the Harbaugh did. Remember, Lamar Jackson, we had Bill Polian talking about should he go to wide receiver. It was John Harbaugh that stepped up, even with Flacco, and the team was like, no, we're not going to be the team that misses on Lamar Jackson. We're going to get him at 32 overall. And then he had the right coach in place. At the time was Greg Roman that said, cater this, switch this whole offense up, cater. I just think there's more actual, intangible coaching stuff that you can lean on with Harbaugh. You go, he was always setting his team up for success, where McCarthy was kind of like, if it's not this way, we're screwed.
I want to meet you in the middle on this argument, okay? Because I prefer John Harbaugh, and I think the resume even tells you John is slightly better. Would you at least agree that the rhetoric between the two head coaches is not consistent with the resumes?
I agree that Mike McCarthy gets disrespected based on his resume. That's what I agree with.
Okay. And I think it's kind of fascinating, especially with them both being available and the way most of us talk about them.
I just don't think he's the right fit for where the Giants are. I don't.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. Let's go to Joey Clams in Brooklyn. What's going on, Joey Clams?
How you doing? Listen, I've been a gambler for 50 years, and I watch every single football game.
Yep.
John Harbaugh has done a terrible job the last 4 years. They blew 12, 10-point leads in the game in the fourth quarter the last 4 years with the MVP quarterback and all-world running back and all-pro wide receivers. He cannot finish a game. The other Sunday, he lost his fastball. Sunday night, instead of giving the ball to Henry or Lamar Jackson with 13 seconds left to pick up 4 yards.
Oh, it was brutal.
He kneeled down on the ball. He kneeled down on the ball and pushed it back 2 yards and missed the field goal. He lost his fastball. Pump the brakes on him. He's been a horrible job the last 4 years. He blew big games and hasn't gotten to the Super Bowl.
Now, Joey, I guess my answer back to that would be outside of Sean McVay, I'll even put Nick Sirianni there right now, Andy Reid. That may be it. That may be the list. You can make that case for basically every coach in the NFL.
There is no perfect head coach.
Tomlin, people scream about in Pittsburgh with this stuff, too. And if you're available, if he was the perfect head coach, I know it's been 18 years. Maybe the Ravens aren't getting rid of him either. Nobody you hire right now is not going to have some sort of minor wart you can find. That's it.
No, and I think the easy one for most Giant fans, which is why whenever the Steeler fan would call in and chime in on why you don't want Mike Tomlin, is the retort would be, have you seen who our coaches have been?
Yeah.
Like, they are significant upgrades over what the Giants have had. Now, what I appreciate about Joey's phone call, and I've got this all set up at 11 o'clock because I did a lot of research going into the Baltimore Raven community. I went to Ravens Reddit.
Wow.
I listened to old Baltimore Sports Talk radio clips. I needed to find out what made them turn on John Harbaugh. Because we could sit here for 4 hours and just blow smoke up everyone's tuchus about how great John Harbaugh is. There clearly are flaws. That doesn't mean they shouldn't hire him. It doesn't mean he isn't a good head coach. But when you're not watching a guy every day, we don't see the criticisms. We just don't.
I agree.
So I have put together a long list of criticisms of John Harbaugh because I do think it's fair and probably good for all of us to address them.
Sure. Did any involve the boots he wore on Sunday night?
No, you were the only one who had that.
Oof.
You were literally. When I was doing my research on criticisms of John Harbaugh, all of a sudden a picture of Shaun Morash showed up.
Those boots.
And it was criticism of the boots he was wearing. Let's go to Joe D in Queens. Hey, Joe D.
Hey, gentlemen. It's a pleasure speaking with you. I've been a fan for a long time. Glad to have you back at this time because I can listen to you during work. So.
Well, it's good to be back. It's been 6 years, and it felt like yesterday me and Joe were standing here. What's on your mind, man?
So I was just talking offline, and I think that you're missing the point on why the Jets should fire Aaron Glenn immediately.
Go.
All you're doing is comparing, well, if John Harbaugh may be available, you're missing the fact there's so many coaches that are available that are an improvement. Go one by one. Of course, John Harbaugh. Is Mike McCarthy an upgrade to Aaron Glenn?
Yeah.
Is Kevin Stfansky an upgrade to Aaron Glenn?
Yeah.
Is potentially a Cliff Kingsbury an upgrade?
This is where we're going to veer off from each other, and this is where my opinion stands. Yes, the veteran coaches with resumes are better options than Aaron Glenn. I am very skeptical that these veteran coaches would take the Jet job, as I pointed out. What I don't want to do is fire a first-year head coach who in the middle of this season, they traded their two best defensive players to hire another first-time coach, or in the case of Cliff Kingsbury, a guy who's still trying to prove they're a good NFL head coach.
Correct.
I don't want to go down that road. Now, some may. I understand the bet of, well, I'm going to make a wager that Clint Kubiak is a better first-time head coach than Aaron Glenn. Fine. I don't want to make that bet. Okay. So if it's the established guy like John Harbaugh or Mike Tomlin, absolutely. But I think if they fire Glenn, they ultimately end up hiring another first-time coach. I don't want to do that. I'd rather see it through with this guy, and if he sucks next year and the year after, fine, I move on. I'm not going to stick with him forever.
I totally get where you're coming from. But you bring up if you were a betting man. All right, if you were a betting man, do you think at this time next year Aaron Glenn's fired anyway?
This reminds me of a moment on the old midday show.
Okay.
A very famous moment. I wish I had the audio of right now. Joe and I disliked Adam Gase, never wanted to hire. It was terrible. And that's the famous moment where Joe says to Brian Costello, exactly what you said. Do you think Gase is going to be the coach in 2 years? And after passionately...
Absolute stiff.
And, of course, Brian Costello, being honest, because it's a loaded question, said no, caused Joe to do the famous... So, yeah, I mean, do I think it's going to work out? Dude, I'm a Jet fan. I don't think anything is going to work out. But I just would rather knock out down the road of another first-time head coach. I'd rather see this through with Aaron Glenn. And, again, if it's John Harbaugh, of course. I just don't think he's taking the job.
I'm going to bring it back to the Giants. I'm going to speak from my experience. The Giants are notorious until this year of always firing their coach a year too early, a year too late, and being on the off year when it comes to coaching classes. This has become the on year for coaching classes, and you don't want to be stuck in a year where it's an off year.
Anthony in Roselle Park. Hey, Anthony.
What's up, guys?
What's up? What's up?
Sorry, I just got a quick question. Why isn't Charlie Weiss's name being brought up? I saw his name on an article somewhere.
Yeah, his name is brought up as an offensive coordinator because of his history with Jackson Dart. And if he decides to not go to LSU with Lane Kiffin, I think it's a an interesting option. I don't want to say great option. I would say it's an interesting option.
He already technically did go with Lane Kiffin to LSU. He did take the OC job.
Well,
but
he
can
did, but
leave.
he didn't. It's like Bill Belichick took the Jet job until he decided not to.
Of course.
I think that he's an interesting name to think about, but it really has to be up to the new head coach. I mean, this is part of something Tiki has stressed a lot, which is the new head coach has to put a staff together. And that's up to whoever you hire. Now, does Charlie Wise Jr. appeal to you based on his familiarity with Jackson Dart?
Not ready to be a head coach yet. I need to see him call plays in the NFL level before I'm making him a head coach.
Let's go to Limo Driver Ed. What's up, Limo Driver Ed? LDE.
Hey, brother. How you guys doing? Happy New Year's to you.
Thank you.
Hey, you know what's so funny is that between Tomlin and Harbaugh, these guys got families, man. So they're going to discuss what they do. And after 19 years, they need a time. They need at least a year off. Maybe go into the booth or do something like that, or analyst on, one of the shows, sports channel. Everybody's trying to count tell them what this man's going to do. You don't know what he's going to do.
You don't know what
I got to take a year off.
You don't know what he's going to do. You're right. And Tiki argued back with me about Tomlin through my Tomlin prediction for a while that if him and Pittsburgh broke up, he would take a year off. Here's the sign that John Harbaugh is not taking a year off. He's already agreed to do interviews.
Yeah.
There's already a report of him meeting with the New York Giants coming up in just a couple of days. So I think in fact, let me read the actual tweet to you. Ian O'Connor, John Harbaugh meeting with the Giants could be as early as this weekend. Scheduling challenges might push it back to next week, but given that as many as 9 teams might be involved now, the Giants are acting urgently on this. They know the stakes. So that's not the meeting is set, but based on that, and Ian is certainly cued in, sure, whatever. Go with that.
Ian's very much all over what the Giants have been.
That sounds like there's going to be a meeting. And the assumption I'm going to make is if he's taking meetings, he's interested in coaching immediately.
Yeah, and I would agree with Ed if Harbaugh wasn't 63 years old. I think you do run into that danger. Not that Harbaugh wouldn't get hired next year at 64, but once you start to hit that age, 63, 60, the longer you step away, the less desirable a hire you become.
Here's the other thing that's amazing to me. I disagree with you about John Harbaugh in that regard. Okay. Age is a number, but it's so hypocritical. Certain people are talked about with their age more than others. You were stunned the other day when I brought up that John was 63.
I know.
Because he's skinny, because he's in shape, and because he looks young. There's a perception of John Harbaugh that he is a young guy. He's older than Mike McCarthy. He's in his 60s. He's almost a senior citizen. And I'm not picking on his age because I think age is completely overrated and just a number. But I think that a part of the hypocrisy that we all have, all of us, I'm not excluded from that, in the way we talk about some of these candidates is based on their presentation. And there's no doubt that the fact that John Harbaugh shows up at the Ravens facility at 5 a.m. and does squats at 480 pounds, which is like a true story, I think continues the perception that he's not an old guy.
Yeah, you take a year away and you start eating Fritos, things change. You know what I mean? You're not up at 5 a.m.
That's you.
That's anybody. You think anybody retires in their 60s, they get fat?
I don't think John Harbaugh would.
John Harbaugh doesn't coach this year. Guarantee he gains 40 pounds. Guaranteed.
Look, I think we agree he's coaching next year.
Yes.
I don't think he's taking a year off.
Yes.
Why?
Speaking of which, the Giants Drive of the Game is brought to you by the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety, reminding you to make the right choice. Don't drive impaired. While the Giants had plenty of drives that led to the end zone in their finale on Sunday, the real drive they have to be is who's picking up John Harbaugh from the airport and bringing him here to make sure he is living a life of luxury. The Giants are driving to hire a new head coach, and John Harbaugh is top of mind.
Why did Raven fans turn on John Harbaugh? We'll go through some of the big critiques of John over the last couple of years, plus more of your calls at 888-808-1019. Evan and Tiki with Shaun Morash.
It's Boomer and Gio, mornings on the Fan, 101.9 FM.
The bad part for the Giants is that at one point they had an inside track to the number 1 pick. And that number 1 pick, they wouldn't have used it as the number 1 pick. They would have used it to acquire even more assets, which would have helped the team for sure.
Listen to Boomer and Gio radio on demand on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is an Odyssey Sports Minute.
The Baltimore Ravens got it right when they fired John Harbaugh on Tuesday. John Harbaugh is a great coach, and John Harbaugh is going to get another job, but Baltimore had to move on. You can't enter year 9 of the quarterback-coach partnership with Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson, never having reached a Super Bowl, and expect the outcome to be any different. I almost don't care who Baltimore hires next. They made the right move. I'm Nick Costos.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp today. We have representatives nationwide and services to showcase your invention. Get started today.
Call 1-800-217-4380. That's 1-800-217-4380.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Really smart. Unfortunately, I didn't check if I took the gas hose out of my car's tank. Ooh, not smart. And I drove off while still attached to pump number 3.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Potential savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Shriners Hospitals for Children has been creating wonderful opportunities for children in need. This life-changing medical care helps them do the things they've always dreamed of. Go to loveshriners.org.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-4094. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-4094. That's 800-575-4094. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Get ready for more Evan and Tiki on The Fan.
It's Chuck Devine in Snow Country. Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. After so many cold and snowy days throughout December and January with lots of snowmaking, we switch over to temperatures above average. We'll have softening snow, which is nice, especially on days that are mostly dry. Mountain Creek now going from all 4 mountain areas in New Jersey on 80% of their terrain. Camelback and the Poconos, 3 dozen trails, more than 40 snow tubing lanes. Mount Peter and Thunder Ridge, both 70% day and night in southern New York. Wyndham on 3 dozen trails in the Catskills and Bel Air's more than 90%. Ski Sundown and Southington, both 100% in Connecticut. They go day and night, and so does Mohawk with 18 trails. Stratton on 70 trails. Killington explores 63 miles of slopes in Vermont. Both spots with pack powder and hard pack snow. Smuggler's Notch, 54 trails, a foot fresh in the past week.
You don't just ski or ride, you dominate. At Killington, we fuel your adventure. Be the beast. Ski and ride Killington.
John Ryan.
Yeah, Dad.
I think I came up with a killer slogan for our law firm. D'Agostino and Associates, bite back.
Bite back?
Yeah. When someone hurts you, you bite back. We'll be the law firm that bites back.
Dad, that's brilliant. Accident victims, call D'Agostino and Associates and bite back. Hey, we could even put a big vicious dog on billboards everywhere.
Yeah, and Rottweilers on buses.
Hey, how about a toll-free number?
What are you thinking?
You know, like 1-800-BITE-BACK.
1-800-BITE-BACK. That's brilliant.
But what if people hear fight back?
Easy. I'll spell it out for them, like 1-800-BITE. Back. 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222.
Love it. Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
All this talk about biting back got me hungry.
Me too. Want to grab lunch?
Sure. Hey, how about a jingle?
You mean like D'Agostino, Law, Bite Back?
Nissan trucks and SUVs are built for next-level adventure. Too much gear? Dirt? Rock? Sand? Get in a Nissan truck or SUV and feel unstoppable. Whether you want to take your next level of adventure in the Frontier Dark Armor, the Pathfinder, the Armada, or the Rogue, you'll be ready for what comes your way. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. Get 0% APR on the 2026 Nissan Rogue, 2025 Murano, or Pathfinder for well-qualified buyers. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Example 0 down payment, 60 months financing at $1,667 per month per thousand financed. Actual down payment may vary, subject to INMAC credit approval. Not all buyers qualify. Dealer contribution may affect actual price set by dealer. Contact dealer for details. Ends 2/2/26.
At Straight Talk, we get it. You say no a lot.
Mom, can I get a tarantula? No. Coffee? No.
So we're giving you more reasons to say yes, like a free 5G phone with real unlimited data with select plan activation.
Can I use the free phone? Yes.
See? Doesn't it feel good to say yes to more?
Absolutely. Face tattoo? Absolutely not.
Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Taxes and fees apply. In-store activation of Gold Unlimited plan or higher required. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Come visit the engagement experts at London Jewelers at any one of their 6 locations.
Get breaking sports news here. WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1 New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Excellent SNY football reporter Connor Hughes will join us at 1 o'clock, shed more light on the Giant coaching situation, even the status right now of the New York Jets. But I want to share with you an unbelievable stat that was sent in to me by a loyal listener named Alex Perlman. Alex writes, John Harbaugh has had 9 years in his coaching career where the Ravens won at least one playoff game, which means half of the years he was there, they not only made the playoffs, they won a playoff game. In the Super Bowl era as a franchise, the New York Giants have only had 10 different seasons in which they've won a playoff game.
Oh. You know what I want to look up? How many times has John Harbaugh hosted a playoff game? Because I watched, I started and then I fell asleep, the latest episode of Hard Knocks to close out the year last night. And you know what made me sick, what made me turn it off? I couldn't finish the episode.
Go ahead.
First 7 minutes. No, I don't have the audio, Evan. Nick Sirianni's going back and forth about the Eagles getting set to, they're winning the division. And they couldn't remember in Nick Sirianni's era how many times they've hosted a playoff game.
7 is the answer for John Harbaugh.
Okay, 7.
Remember, early on in his tenure, they did a lot of road winning. His rookie year, when they got to the championship game, it was all on the road. The following year, 2 road games. Following year, 2 road games.
I think Flacco might be the all-time leader, right?
Yeah, they were winning all sorts of playoff road games, but eventually he had a run of games they hosted.
So it's funny, Sirianni, this will be the 7th time in his era the Eagles have hosted a playoff game.
Jeez.
And it just made me throw up, and that's why I asked that about Harbaugh. Could you imagine a world we're living here in New York where we're not wondering why it's been 20 years since we hosted a single playoff game?
That's crazy.
Like, can we just get a fun tailgate in January?
No, I get
I won't be there because it's too cold, but can we just get one for the fans?
It's also crazy. The Giants have a good history. Like, when I bring up the Jets' history, none of these stats would surprise you. But in the Super Bowl era, the Giants have won 4 Super Bowls. It's not like they haven't won, yet the Giants, and this happened in the Coughlin era, they would only win playoff games when they went on deep runs.
Right.
That was basically the way it would go. They'd make the playoffs plenty. They'd lose in the first round. It would be a massive disappointment. And then the 2 years where they actually won a playoff game in the Tom Coughlin era, the Eli era, they'd win all of them.
Right.
And go on a major run, which is why, despite this long history, 60 years we're approaching, they've only won a playoff game in 10 of those seasons. And in John Harbaugh's case, he's done it in 9 seasons. That is
Sign me up.
mind-blowing stat.
Sign me up.
To show you the success he's had. Now, how did Raven fans turn on him? I did a lot of research on this, okay? I went into Ravens Reddit. I listened to old clips of Baltimore Sports Talk Radio
to find out. EdgarAllanPoo.com? where did you go here?
I forget I don't know. It was a dirty, dirty place. And I found all the criticisms of John Harbaugh, and I think this is healthy. This is a very healthy thing. It's like deciding if you should get married or not. You got to write down the pros and the cons. So even if it's a no-brainer that you're going to ask her to get married, you should write the cons down so that you're not surprised when those cons pop up in year 4.
And then you put them in a paper shredder.
Yeah, no, you get rid of this.
Yeah, 100%.
Like this conversation we're going to have, we're going to eliminate from WFAN history so that once we're in love with John Harbaugh and everything's going well, we never hear it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
And I want you to hear it, and if you want to combat it, that's totally fine. Or if you want to say, hey, that's fair. Are you ready?
Yep.
Playoff failures and, quote, choking in big games. Despite consistent regular season success with a Super Bowl win in 2012, Harbaugh is heavily criticized for the team's repeated early playoff exits, especially in the Lamar Jackson era. Fans point to collapses, blown leads like the AFC Championship game, and other postseason matchups, labeling him, quote, a god of choking. There are other inappropriate names used to describe the choking of John Harbaugh.
I already live with Aaron Boone as the manager. I can live with Harbaugh.
Yeah, but you want Aaron Boone gone.
Now I do, just like Raven fans do. But I'm sure if that was my resume coming in, I'd take him.
Conservative or poor in-game decision-making. Very common complaints, including being overly conservative with play calling. Example, abandoning the run or not being aggressive enough late in games, bad clock management, questionable timeouts, and punting or challenge decisions that cost games. Specifically, the last game he coached, which we all criticize, which is the decision for Lamar to take a knee and not try to gain a few yards, or, as Tiki pointed out, go for the gusto and get a touchdown. You had a timeout. You had an ability to gain a few more yards and give Tyler Loop either an easier field goal or, dare I say, score a touchdown.
I believe John Harbaugh is a good enough football mind that he knows where he went wrong at the end in Baltimore, and I think he can learn from that.
Inflexibility with the coaching staff. A major flashpoint leading to his dismissal was not wanting to change coordinators, specifically Todd Monken. Fans have viewed this as a stubbornness, prioritizing loyalty and ego over results, and he waited too long to address deficiencies in schemes or assistances.
Counterpoint, he wasn't loyal, had his own blow-up with Wink Martindale, and was proactive in bringing Mike McDonald to the NFL to be his DC, who's already one of the better head coaches in football.
Late season collapses and underperformances. The Ravens frequently start off strong but fade, like this season, going 2-4 in their final 6, with fans blaming Harbaugh for not getting the most out of the talented roster and failing to get over the hump. Get over the hump is a very popular term used on Ravens Reddit. Your thoughts?
I think that's a totally fair criticism. I think a lot of that is tied to the fact that Lamar Jackson consistently gets banged up as the season goes along. And as you know, with the Giants, we have a quarterback that never gets hurt.
This is the other one, and this one pisses me off, but I have to address it because I think the Giants have faced this a lot, that the Super Bowl that they won was lucky. that is a very popular opinion.
You know what? I could make that case for every single Super Bowl champion ever. Ever. You need to be good enough to get there, and it always takes a stroke of luck. Always.
No, I happen to agree with you. I don't believe in saying, hey, it's one great throw in Denver, or in the case of Eli, it was a lucky helmet catch. Like, of course. You won the game, you lost the game.
And
like, it's a part of sports.
You played your way to get into the game.
Absolutely. The last thing is about the way he lost the locker room this season.
All right.
And I'll help you defend this in saying he was there for 18 years. That is far greater than the cycle of most successful head coaches. In fact, look at Giant history. How many times have the Giants employed a coach for 18 years?
Yeah.
So I think losing the locker room, while that would normally be a concern, to me, I'm less concerned about it when he was there for so ridiculously long. I think all great coaches and managers have a life cycle. They have an amount of time before it's like, all right, there needs to be a breakup.
Right. It's stale. The message, gets ruined. I mean, Ben McAdoo lost the locker room in year 2. I'll sign for year 18 when that happens.
So none of those things concern you?
I think there are minor concerns. Yeah, I am worried about some of the game management stuff. But my argument is always going to be whatever concerns I have that you brought up there are going to be similar or different kinds for any coach the Giants hire. So I would still rather a guy that I know rolls out of bed and wins 11 games. That's it.
We will talk to Connor Hughes at 1 o'clock. He is as locked in as anyone. Connor just tweeted that the Giants are, quote, all in on John Harbaugh right now. He is the number one coach on their wish list. We'll get much more information from Connor when he joins us coming up at 1 o'clock. 888-808-1019. Let's go to Ryan in North Caldwell. Good morning, Ryan.
Hey, good morning, guys. What's up?
What's up?
It's kind of cathartic listening to the fans of one of the most successful franchises over the 18 years gripe about their head coach. But, there's a couple things I've noticed on the fan the last 15, 16 hours since Harbaugh got fired. The first is that everybody seems to agree that Harbaugh is the class of the NFL, which I totally agree with, right? The Giants would be lucky to have him walk in those doors. They better paint the hallway, polish the marble. They better buy the fanciest new Maybach to pick them up from the airport because the other thing is everybody's assuming that John Harbaugh is going to walk on into the Giants and pick them right away. If there's 8 other franchises that are looking at him, which could, be the Bengals, closer to where he grew up, why is he going to pick the Giants? Would you say they've been the class of the NFL? Sean, you just mentioned the Giants haven't hosted a home playoff game in 20 years, and he's 63 years old. And look, the age thing doesn't bother me. I'm a Washington fan. If you fired Dan Quinn tomorrow and brought Harbaugh in, I'd be doing backflips.
Yes.
But I think this is probably his last job. If all goes well, he does this for 7 years, 8 years, rides off into the sunset, enjoys time with his family. Why is he going to pick the Giants right now? They've been such a dumpster fire.
Yeah. Ryan, my easy answer to you would be, I agree with you. I think that we probably, I know I'm guilty of this, have overinflated what the Giant job is. I don't think they're nearly the organization they once were. Now, there are a lot of people smarter than me around the NFL that claim that this is going to be like the most desirable job. And the only thing I keep coming back to, well, I guess it's 2 things. Number 1, Jackson Dart. And number 2, the thing that ironically we crushed the Giants for, which is like loyalty. And if you get hired, they're going to give you as long a leash as humanly possible unless something goes in. And I think there's something to that. But at the same time, of all of these openings, and what we don't know is if there's an opening after Wild Card Weekend, outside of the one he just lost with the Ravens, why the Giants? Well, why the Cardinals? Why the Falcons? Why the Titans? We're interviewing freaking Jason Garrett. Like, they all have major wards. The Giants probably have the least wards.
Mike is in Charlotte. Hey, Mike.
Hey, guys. How we doing?
Good, man. What's up?
Man, I'm all in on Harbaugh for the Jets. I think it's an opportunity they have to turn around today and fire Glenn and then get Harbaugh in there right away.
Yeah, you know what also would be really, really cool? I think most people would be in favor of this. What if Abe Lincoln just came back to life and we elected him president?
As a vampire?
That'd be awesome. What?
As a vampire?
No, as Abraham Lincoln. And he doesn't have to follow the whole 2-term rule because remember, he existed before the rule existed. Like, how awesome would that be? Now, you're probably just tuning in saying, what the hell? That doesn't make any sense. The odds of Abe Lincoln coming back to life and just saying, you know what, I'm alive, guys. Yeah, this is a weird thing. I came down from the heavens. I'm Abe Lincoln. I'm back. And us just installing him as president again is as likely as John Harbaugh saying, I want to coach the New York Jets.
Well, he didn't.
So no one's splitting any atom when they say, hey, I'm a Jet fan. I want John Harbaugh. We all would. But the idea that the state of this franchise, they're going to draw interest from John Harbaugh is a fallacy. And maybe I went too far with resurrecting a dead guy who's been gone for, let me do some math here, 165 years. But nevertheless, it feels like it's kind of the same odds.
What if we got that technology?
Yes.
Now, Abe Lincoln's out because he didn't get frozen. What if you found out a resurrected Ted Williams who is frozen could manage the Mets in a decade?
He was a terrible manager. Do you remember him with the Senators? See, you come on.
No.
Don't play with me.
Evan. But do you think if you...
He didn't know that, by the way.
I didn't, but I would argue this back. There's no bigger life experience than dying. If you came back from death because you had the technology to freeze your head like Ted Williams, you don't think you learn from experiences and want to make the best of that next opportunity?
That was the worst analogy you could come up with.
Well, because he actually got frozen. Abe Lincoln didn't.
No, seriously, the best question that comes out of this, and someone should make a YouTube video of it, is if we do somehow, if we were able to bring back Lincoln, like he comes back, is he subject to the 22nd Amendment? The 22nd Amendment is the term limits.
Yeah, I didn't know what amendment that was. That's where you went. I was like, do we rename the tunnel? Because now he's alive.
No, well, we keep it the same. But I started thinking about that. Like, so when we enacted the 22nd Amendment, it was because Roosevelt treated everything like
former president's boyhood home.
Like he was a king. I mean, there were no rules for Roosevelt. I'll run for a fourth term even though I'm dying, whatever.
Ridiculous.
So it was passed during Truman's administration. Truman was not subject to this.
Because it was the Truman Show.
So Truman had a chance to break the rule because it didn't apply to him. He was grandfathered in. So if Lincoln comes back, isn't he kind of grandfathered in?
Quite literally.
Someone's got to ask the constitutional lawyers about that.
Now, if you also get, I'm sorry, this is far more important than Harbaugh. If you get brought back from dead, and let's just use the frozen analogy, does your birthday go back to your old birthday or is it Resurrection Day?
I think you have two birthdays.
So now you get 2 cakes a year.
Yeah. I think you've got the day you were born and the day you were resurrected. I think we have history to back that up.
I'm fascinated by this.
Have you
heard, frozen?
Have you heard of Easter?
Yes, I have. You're right. It's not just about the bunnies and the eggs.
Have you heard of Christmas?
I have heard of Christmas.
All right, there you go. So somehow this has gotten religious. Let's go to Tyler in Farmingdale. Hey, Tyler.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up?
Fortunately, not a Giants or a Jets fan at the moment, calling in as a Steeler fan. Hearing a lot of Mike Tomlin on the show today.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I'm 99.9% certain that he's not going to be available. I mean, I'm not going to get into if they should get rid of him or not get rid of him. It's a New York show. But there's no way that he's leaving, especially if Rodgers wants to come back a year and Cam Hayward has 1 year left on his deal. If anything, it'll be sometime after next season.
I think the odds are, Tyler, the odds are probably leaning towards you being right. But the door is open. He's only got 1 year left on his deal. Adam Schefter had the report about a month ago about how they wouldn't fire him, which I thought was almost like setting it up for a potential trade. It feels like a breakup is inevitable. Now, I don't know if the results of this weekend's games impact that, because I think in the case of John Harbaugh, this thing was already decided. Like, we found out based on what was going on with Todd Monken and Lamar Jackson and losing the locker room, that even if that field goal is good, even if they're in the postseason, there's a really good chance they make that change anyway. It feels like there is this inevitable breakup between Pittsburgh and Mike Tomlin. If it's not this year, it's going to be soon.
It felt like it was going to happen last year.
I agree. I think it's on the table. So 99% feels almost way too high. Would I say it's 70-30 he goes back to Pittsburgh? I'll buy that. But I wouldn't rule it out. And as long as I don't rule it out, I would want to keep my options open.
The only thing you have to weigh is how much greater. Now, we all said we'd rather have Tomlin, but what's really the divider? Is it that much of a divider that you wait? I don't think so.
Lorenzo in Keyport. What's up, Lorenzo?
Hi, boys. I've had Derrick Henry and Lamar on my fantasy teams for many years, and I've watched a lot of Ravens football, even as a big Giants fan. I am not interested in Harbaugh, and I like him for stability. I get that, but I got to tell you, I'm not with the talent that I see potentially with Neighbors and the boys and all that stuff. I want the wild card. I want someone who's on the bubble, and I'm with Morash's original of Stfansky. But I do not want. I mean, you said yesterday. You said, look at his record over 19 years, and I'm saying you've been given 19 years of opportunities to win, and you did it once. And let's face it, it was many years ago. If I got 19 opportunities to win with Lamar Jackson, I might win 1 too. And I'm not a good coach at all.
But Lorenzo, I think we say this about every coach who has a really good quarterback. Like, other than Patrick Mahomes, who wins all the time? I mean, there's a lot of, hey, if I had this guy, if I had that guy, if I had this guy, it's the same criticism that Mike McCarthy faces.
McVay's only won 1.
Yeah.
And we think he is like John Madden reincarnated.
Now, Lorenzo remains Kevin Stefanski's guy. You yesterday it was. These days get confusing to me. You were also a Kevin Stefanski guy. You still stand with him being a really good hire, but you prefer John Harbaugh?
I prefer John Harbaugh, but not at the expense of losing Stfansky and waiting.
Now, yesterday at the top of the show, we argued about Kevin Stefanski. I by no means think he's a bad candidate. I'm just not as drawn into him as you are and many others are.
Lorenzo clearly, too.
Lorenzo as well. I've already made my point. Let's hear from someone else in criticizing Kevin Stfansky, someone that I have great respect for. I don't know if you respect him. That's Rex Ryan, the former head coach of the New York Jets.
Okay.
Here is Rex Ryan and his criticism of Kevin Stfansky as a head coaching candidate.
It's funny how everybody just throws him out there. I guess it's because he's an offensive coach, but certainly his record as a head coach is not. I want to get excited about that, and I don't know how many playoff wins he's had.
I believe
one playoff win or whatever. But to me, two-time coach of the year, I think that's the most ridiculous thing there is. There's a lot of great coaches in this league that have never been coach of the year, and so I think it's just hey, he must be a hell of a guy. Can you have me coach of the year? I don't buy that stuff. I think he's a decent coach, but to put him in the top echelon coaches, I don't.
Would you like to respond to my guy, Rex?
Yeah, Rex is very upset that Kevin Stefanski is getting so much credit for doing what he did with Cleveland, and Rex just sits on the pine after he did what he did with the other equivalent of Cleveland, the Jets.
Well, let's be fair. Who has a better winning percentage in their career, Kevin Stefanski or Rex Ryan?
Rex.
Okay, let's go to the playoff wins. Kevin has 1. Rex has 4. So who has more playoff wins?
Rex.
Who's been to 2 championship games?
Rex.
So Rex is making a fair point, is he not?
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Who sat here yesterday and said I'd be more open to Rex than most Giant fans?
No, I'm just responding.
Yeah.
You're the one who brought up him as a response. You went after Rex's resume and said it's Rex being jealous. I'm just saying, look at his resume compared to Kevin Stefanski. I mean, I agree. He's not wrong.
I agree.
He's not necessarily wrong with that, is he?
I think, you know how when teams sign free agents, we use that verbiage, you're signing a guy for what you think they're about to become, not what they've already done?
Yeah.
That's my view on Stefanski. I like what he's already done, but I think it's just so much more untapped without ownership getting involved in forcing a quarterback trade down your throat.
We have heard from Giant fans who are skeptical that John Harbaugh would take the Giants' job. And you mentioned, well, I don't know if you've mentioned, but some of the names as threats to the New York Giants include the Philadelphia Eagles if they fire Nick Sirianni.
Correct.
The Atlanta Falcons because of the roster that they have. When we come back, I do want to reveal a team no one is talking about that I think is a real threat for John Harbaugh, and I believe the team will shock you.
Okay.
But I've got information to back it up.
All right.
We'll come back. We'll take more of your calls, 888-808-1019. We're about an hour away from lunchtime, which means it'll be time for a brand new edition of Cinco de Luncho. Plus, Connor Hughes joins us at 1 o'clock.
The Magic is in Brooklyn to meet the Nets. 7:30 tonight. The home of Brooklyn Nets basketball is The Fan. 101.9 FM and always streaming on the Odyssey, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio app.
Hey, it's Tiki here. I'm constantly on the go between The Fan, taking care of my kids, various events, meetings, football games. The list goes on and on and on. But one of the things I value most is feeling safe and also knowing that my family is safe when I'm not with them at home. That's why I turn to our great partners at Sloman's Home Security to install their innovative ShieldLink system in my own house. The Sloman ShieldLink system is a smart home security solution that easily and seamlessly combines safety, convenience, and most importantly, peace of mind. Whether I'm home or away, I can manage anything right from my phone. My security system, home automation, my entertainment system, everything is right there at my fingertips. Our security lighting turns on as soon as we turn our alarm system on. So whether we're home going to sleep or away, we know that we're safe and our home feels protected. Just give them a call at 1-800-ALARM-ME or visit online slomans.com to learn how Sloman ShieldLink can give you peace of mind in your home and when you're on the go, just like me.
FanDuel's giving all customers a profit boost every college playoff game day. That means more chances to level up your picks and turn big moments into bigger wins. Ride with the favorite, take a shot on the underdog, or build a parlay. Then apply your profit boost and go for bigger winnings. FanDuel is the best place to get into the football action all playoff long. And when you win, you'll get paid instantly. So visit FanDuel.com/New York to get your college playoff profit boost today. That's FanDuel.com/New York. We just love the app around here. It's safe and secure and has all the bet markets you want. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of WFAN. 21 and over and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issues, non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Visit your local Kia dealers to discover what happens when rugged capability meets true performance. It's the perfect balance of quality, dependability, power, and style. Learn more at kia.com. Kia, movement that inspires.
Take the guesswork out of cooking, folks. The Chef IQ Sense is a must-have wireless cooking thermometer that eliminates under or over cooking chicken, fish, or steak. Order the newly released third-generation Chef IQ Sense at chefiq.com. That's chefiq.com.
Get ready for more Evan and Tiki on The Fan.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Really smart. Unfortunately, I didn't check if I left the pizza box on top of my car before driving home. Not smart. Oh, and a semi just turned my deep dish into a thin crust.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Potential savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hola, amigos! It's the big noise, Brad Evans from BetMGM tonight. Listen Monday through Friday starting at 6 p.m. Eastern on Westwood One Sports as we cover the biggest sports stories from coast to coast. Get insights on the NFL playoffs, college basketball conference races, and more. Download the Odyssey app now and listen from anywhere. BetMGM tonight, live and interactive, presented by BetMGM. Tune in, Team Huevos.
Salicata here, and wow, are we thrilled with the incredible job CertaPro Painters did on our house. So clean, so efficient, they actually listened to us and even satisfied my wife, which, as you know, isn't easy. If you've been putting off painting because of the economy or tariff worries, don't. Painting your house is the easiest and most efficient way to protect and raise your home's value. Do what we did. Call CertaPro Painters today.
Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
At Nielsen, fun is in the driver's seat.
Your best year starts with a savings. Don't miss the January Jumpstart event at Nielsen Dodge.
That's right, Chels. We're ready to start your new year with low lease payments to get you driving.
Lease a new 2026 Dodge Durango GT Plus all-wheel drive Hemi V8, just $299 a month. Or lease a new 2025 Ram 1500 Tradesman Crew Cab 4x4, just $359 a month. Or choose from hundreds of quality certified pre-owned vehicles.
With zero down payment and the credit help you deserve.
Come see all the great savings we've lined up so you can start your new year driving happy and hassle-free. Let the fun begin.
On Route 10 in East Hanover. Online at NielsenDodge.com. A proud member of the Nielsen Auto Group.
At Nielsen Dodge,
fun is in the driver's seat.
Start something new sales event. With approval term Durango 36, Ram 42 months due at sign, Durango 55.99, Ram 59.54 at tax tag 498 dock and DMV fees.
Looking for Continental winter tires? Then head to Town Fair Tire, New England's largest volume discount tire dealer. We've got Continental tires in every size for every vehicle, in stock with more arriving daily, all at the guaranteed lowest price. And when you add the most free services for life, it's easy to see how nobody beats Town Fair Tire for your new Continental winter tires. And I mean nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
At LendSeek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply today with no cost or obligation at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
Clouds give way to sun, high 48.
Weather brought to you by Staples. 2026 is here, and at Staples, deals mean business. Like up to $100 off custom print orders. Head into the new year looking good for less. Staples. That was easy. Ends 1/31.
Talk New York sports here. The Fan.
Before I give you a surprise team that I think is a much bigger factor for John Harbaugh than people realize, let me test this out. I want to go through it's a team with a vacancy, okay? It's not a team that currently has a head coach. I want to go through the teams with vacancies, and you tell me your surprise level if John took the job. You ready?
All right.
Atlanta Falcons.
Not surprised.
Giants.
Not surprised.
Arizona Cardinals.
Not surprised.
Tennessee Titans.
Would be surprised.
Las Vegas Raiders.
Not surprised.
Cleveland Browns.
Not surprised.
Oh, okay, because that's the team. I think the Cleveland Browns are a major threat for John Harbaugh. A major threat. You want to know why?
Yeah, because everybody was talking about this last night.
Oh. What was that then?
That it's like his dream job. He grew up close to there, and he has so many ties to the Browns.
Similar. It's very, very similar to that.
That's where you blow. I thought you were going to give me a team that doesn't have a vacancy.
No, because I don't think people. I must have missed people picking up on that.
Obviously, by the way, I was way too in the weeds on Twitter last
No,
night.
clearly. But I want to give you the evidence. It's not John. It's actually Jim Harbaugh. So a year ago, when the San Diego Los Angeles Chargers were playing in Cleveland, Jim went through this incredible story about his parents and the ties that they have to Cleveland that are insane. That made me think, if Jim feels this way, wouldn't John feel this way? So here's Jim Harbaugh at this press conference a year ago talking about the affinity and the emotion he has for the city of Cleveland.
You know, my mom's from Cleveland, and used to come here all the time, Christmases, summer, vacation. But today, I mean, it just hit me like, as I'm standing out there pregame, November 25th, 1961, Jack and Jackie Harbaugh were married here in Cleveland.
Married in Cleveland, vacations in Cleveland, which probably stunned me.
I say summers in Cleveland.
And it's about to get even crazier. Summers in Cleveland surprise you?
Yeah.
So they got married in Cleveland. What else, Jim?
The cool thing about it is their honeymoon, my dad took my mom to a Cleveland Browns game. So Jim Brown was out there playing.
Now, I've got good news. So his parents' honeymoon was at a Cleveland Browns game. The good news is, hey, Jim, who did the Browns play that day?
They were playing the New York Giants.
Okay. All right. More information about your affinity for Cleveland and that day that your mom and dad's honeymoon was spent at a Browns game, Jim?
They stayed in a hotel, like downtown. I don't think they ever told us which one they stayed in the night of their wedding. But the funny part, they woke up, they went to White Castle for breakfast and sat on the stools there, and then they walked to Old Cleveland Municipal Stadium for the game. Remember, my dad tells it. Sometimes he embellishes the story, but he's walking up to his seats, and some of the other guys who played at Bowling Green with my dad on the team were also coaches, and they were there the night after the wedding, or the day after the wedding at the Municipal Stadium, and they're, Harbaugh, what are you doing? Your honeymoon, you're going to a Browns football game. But it's something we've always thought was cool, and we're proud of it. My mom and dad went to a Browns game for their honeymoon.
Now, before we dive deeper into the honeymoon, which I'm fascinated about, that's Jim, obviously. That is not John. And you mentioned that you have other information about John's affinity for Cleveland, because that's affinity. That is big-time affinity that Jim brought this story up. Obviously, it's his parents, and it's John's parents too, obviously. But that sounded like they adore Cleveland.
Yeah. The Fan Focus is sponsored by Chef IQ, precision cooking, effortless results, chefiq.com. Longtime Browns reporter Mary Kay Cabot, very respected in the NFL community. Last night, she drummed up a lot of this John Harbaugh to Cleveland speculation, talking about how much John loved and grew up a Cleveland Brown fan and how much that organization has meant to him over the years, stating to keep an eye on the Cleveland Browns as that surprise hire for John Harbaugh. This Fan Focus was sponsored by Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
So when you combine that reporting that he did grow up as a Cleveland Brown fan.
They went to White Castle.
And the fact that there's this wonderful White Castle he must go back to.
For breakfast.
But that Jim feels that emotional about it. I'm going to assume that John probably has the same kind of glee in telling the story. He probably doesn't tell it a lot because he faced the Cleveland Browns every year. He went there once a year.
Yeah. Now, here's my fight back on this.
Look, there's no fight. It's just, it's fascinating to know that there is that deep of a connection, which could play a big role in this. But go ahead.
John Harbaugh has already coached the Cleveland Browns that his dad took his mom to see the honeymoon in. They moved to Baltimore and became the Ravens.
Oh, stop it.
He coached those Browns.
That's not
true. He coached those Browns.
No,
he checked that off the box.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Went to White Castle.
History doesn't back you up on that. If you go to Pro Football Reference, the Cleveland Browns history took a hiatus for a few years. Upon their return, the Baltimore Ravens begin as a new team upon their move to Baltimore. I know it's weird. I'm not saying I agree with it, but NFL history tells us you're wrong.
Okay.
You're wrong.
Well, they took a hiatus. That organization that left with that ownership became the Baltimore Ravens, and Harbaugh had an affinity for it, took that job.
You think John looks at it that way?
I don't care how he looks at it. Now,
that's what you're trying to tell yourself.
The other thing I would push back on and say is, John Harbaugh, we can all agree, has a lot of pull, right? Like, he's been a long-time great head coach in the NFL, and Jim as well, who had all these years to, kind of talk about affinity for jobs. The Cleveland Browns seemingly have a head coach opening every 2 years. Mm-hmm. At some point, if he really had that much desire to coach the Cleveland Browns, I think he could have negotiated his way out of Baltimore to take one of the 15 openings that have existed in 18 years.
I don't think that's necessarily fair, but it does lead to that question of what is he looking for upon taking a job? I mean, that is a very, very fair question because we've already taken a few calls from Giant fans and non-Giant fans saying, why is he taking the Giant job? Why is it that appealing? And I think it comes down to what do you want? Like, if you're John Harbaugh, what do you want in your next job? If it is about emotion and affinity, then the Cleveland Browns are a real threat.
Sure.
They just are. It could also be about sticking it to your former employer.
I think that's the bigger answer.
You could say, you know what? I know the division. I'm not happy about the way we broke up. You're damn right I'm going to play you twice a year. Much like he may look at the Raiders as a non-starter because he doesn't want to compete with his brother twice a year.
By the way, that probably is the biggest reason why he wouldn't. To go to that division and play his brother twice a year.
I'm just throwing out all the different things that are absolutely fair that one can look at because here's the reality. I'm never going to be a baseball manager. It's just never going to happen for me. Or a baseball general manager. Or an NFL head coach. Or an NBA head coach. But if I became like this great baseball manager and the team that gave me the opportunity were the Seattle Mariners and I had 15 years with the Mariners and I was great and we had this breakup the way John did, you're damn right the Mets would be at the top of my list. And I'm pretty sure you would say the same thing about all the teams you root for. So I cannot just eliminate the team you have an affinity for being eliminated based on their history or based on whatever else. Like, if you literally grew up as a fan of that team and you share Jim's thoughts on the emotions of that honeymoon story, of course they're a real threat. You can argue with me all day about Shedeur Sanders or the front office. If that's the team you rooted for, that could absolutely be a major factor.
I can't deny that. It's not like any of us are John Harbaugh and we think that. Yeah, totally. That could be very much on the table. But the one thing that takes a lot of people's affinity away is paychecks. The Giants need to give him the biggest paycheck.
Well, that's a big thing here.
Where's that Coke money coming in? The Jillian Koch money.
Oh, yeah, the Koch family who bought into the Giants. What, 10%?
10%. Use that 10% and go make sure that John Harbaugh.
I totally get it. Now let's get to the honeymoon thing.
Yeah. This portion of the program is sponsored by Kalshi. Trade on anything.
I feel like the stereotype about me would be that I took my wife to a Met game for our honeymoon. Or I took her on like a Brooklyn Net road trip for a honeymoon. I promise you I did none of the sorts. Now, how about you? Because I think you have the same reputation that you and your wife get married and all of a sudden you're going down to Philly for Giants-Eagles.
Close. We got married and 2 days later I went to former employee here Mike Carver's bachelor party in Vegas. So that was my honeymoon with my friends. Then 2 months later.
Well, that doesn't count as a honeymoon.
Well, that was my first vacation following a wedding.
Yeah, but sometimes, like, look, me and my wife didn't have our honeymoon for 8 months because of the work schedule here at WFAN. I wasn't going to take off in September. We got married in late August. So we did our honeymoon in February. So that, I think, is normal for a lot of people.
All right. So then if that's normal, I went to St. Thomas, which I just revisited last year. Great time, except for the fact that we went to a resort post-hurricane that was changing ownership, and somebody quite literally died on the property while we were out by the pool.
Jeez, really?
Yeah, they had alcohol poisoning, and the medics had to come in, and we got a free comp trip the next year because we witnessed a death by the pool. True story.
Is that worth it?
Wasn't. It was very scarring now to think about it.
I mean, it wasn't worth it for the person that's dead, but for you.
For me. And then they ran out of water and they ran out of bacon. It was a horrible honeymoon. How do you not have bacon at a resort?
Did you ever think about doing like a sports-related honeymoon the way the Harbaughs did?
No, because the one thing is my wife doesn't love sports at all, and she was very fearful that I was even going to propose on like a Jumbotron. Like that was like her worst fear.
Oh, gee, that's the worst.
Like don't you dare do that. I tempted fate. I was lucky enough for her to say yes to begin with. I wasn't going to take her to MetLife Stadium for a honeymoon.
Nah, smart move. I didn't do that. We were supposed to go to Hawaii, believe it or not, like the typical cliched honeymoon, and she was pregnant because we waited a while.
Okay.
We're not living in sin. It happened.
I got you.
It happened after we got married.
Sure.
We waited 8 months, and she was pregnant. And do you remember the Zika virus?
Of course.
All right, so the Zika virus hits. It was affecting unborn babies.
Terrible.
My wife is pregnant. Now, the Zika was only in the Caribbean.
Correct.
But her attitude was it could get to Hawaii.
It's a palm tree. It's a beach. Anything's on the table.
And I could say this now all these years later. I thought she was crazy.
Yeah.
But I also knew I could never, ever, 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 ever live with myself or with her again if I forced the issue on Hawaii and God forbid something happened.
Dude, forget about it. That'd be the end of the marriage.
It's done. So I knew the trade-off. Like I thought about this one night. I was like, all right, do I put my foot down and say you're crazy? Or do I kind of look at what are the possibilities? And I knew right away. I was like, Evan, shut the hell up.
Right, exactly.
What are you doing? So with 2 weeks' notice.
Would you go to Theodore Roosevelt's library?
See, that's the other stereotype. No. I game planned a trip where I did a show from the site of the Super Bowl, which was paid for by me because we were not flown to the Super Bowl.
Shocking.
Just so I could do a show after the Super Bowl. And then we did
former president's boyhood homes.
Eventually, we did do one, I have to admit. We did Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington, flew to Vegas to see Adam Sandler live.
All right.
Drove to Long Beach, California, and spent the last 6 days in Long Beach, California, where one of those days we made the drive to the Richard Nixon Presidential Library.
I think that you...
Wasn't a boyhood home, though. It was a presidential library.
I'm a loser.
You would expect me to crush you for that trip.
Not bad, right?
It's not big. Because you know what I'm a big fan of overall? First of all, any honeymoon with your wife doesn't mean we're sipping like whatever on the beach. Life experiences. When the hell else are you going to Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington, or Long Beach, California? And I know me and my wife are big on like, hey, let's double up if we can on certain trips. See random places. I think that's cool.
And we went to White Castle.
And it's better than that.
You go to Bojangles.
And we also had to plan it with like no notice.
Of course.
Because it was all like, should we do it? We ended up not doing it. Anyhow, let's get back to your calls, 888-808-1019. Cologne and Hawthorne, New Jersey, with a great question. Cologne, the floor is yours.
Hey, guys. Happy New Year. Hey, guys, listen. You know, the best two jobs to me are Giants and the Falcons because of their talent. But also, if I'm John Harbaugh, one of the key factors would be, if I go to the Falcons, I pick my GM. The Giants already have a GM. I'm picking the guys I want to work with if I go to the Falcons.
It's a great point. Do you think that Joe Shane's presence, Sean, is a hindrance to the New York Giants?
I am stunned it took us to 11:40 to get to this.
We have a 4-hour show. We like to spread things out there, Sean.
Do I think it's a hindrance? I don't think it helps. I don't think it helps to have a GM that we have no idea if they're lame duck or not. And I don't think it helps if Joe Shane has that much influence on the head coaching search. Like, for instance, I may want Kevin Stfansky to be the head coach, but if Joe Shane's pushing for that over John Harbaugh and being that influential because he's worried about his own job, like if that's what Harbaugh is, that's a problem. We brought up Trent Baalke yesterday. If you speak to Harbaugh and you ask him, and it's not Shane, it's ownership, and you talk about this, he wants Shane out, he's out. That's it. Period. End of discussion.
Diego in East Meadow. Good morning, Diego.
Hey, boys. Good luck with the new time slot. Real quick, I feel your pain. I proposed to my wife in the wintertime, so I'm wearing a Giants starter jacket, Giants hat, and Giants wide receiver glove. It kills her that she has to look at those pictures every day.
That's great. That's great.
But the last caller kind of touched up on it with the GM. Unfortunately, the thing you also have to talk about is there's a question mark on the ownership, unfortunately, because of his health. So I don't think the Giants' job is that appealing. So if any one of these three coaches, Stfansky, McCarthy, or Harbaugh, are interested, you sign them. You can't be beggars right now. Like, look at the trash they've hired for head coaching jobs in like the last 7 years. Any one of these guys would be an upgrade because I don't think we're looking for a coach to get us to the Super Bowl. What you said about the comments about getting over the hump. How about just get us to the hump? Let us worry about getting over it later on.
No, I get that. And I think you bring up a very important and uncomfortable conversation that we don't have to have. I don't think it's something that we need to know, but it is important for a coach to know, which is what is the plan with ownership and a potential secession plan. Succession plan. Succession plan.
You didn't finish the show, did you?
What was that?
You didn't finish the show.
I
know you started it.
I started it, and it was okay.
I could tell you didn't finish the show because you'd be making a lot of Logan Roy references with what's going on with the Giants.
Oh, probably so. But I think that, look, I don't think that it's something we need to speculate about, and I honestly don't even think, and I'm big on fans need to know everything. I don't think we need to know the secession plan, but I totally respect a head coaching candidate saying, I'd like to know. And it's a very uncomfortable question, but it is fair for coaching candidates to discuss that with ownership.
And one thing you may not be aware of, not you, I'm just talking about like in the audience in general, in the NFL, you need to have on file a succession plan.
Well, so there is one, obviously. We just don't know about it.
And my guess is like when you're saying like, well, does a coach need to know that? I don't know how this works, But I believe that within NFL circles, it's probably pretty easy to figure out because it has to be done legally in the NFL.
Gotcha.
So I don't think that is an issue at all. They'll be aware of the succession plan.
Right, but what we don't know is how much coaches in interviews get access to that kind of information.
Sure.
I don't know the answer to that.
Man, I have a hard time thinking if a guy like John Harbaugh wants to take the Giant job and he asks, and you know it's publicly on file within the NFL, that they wouldn't tell him.
Let's go to Ben in Connecticut. What's up, Ben?
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good, man.
So I was all about Stfansky until like 7:30 last night. And then when the news came down that it was Harbaugh, I went obviously completely in for him. So my concern is that if we don't get Harbaugh for whatever reason, any other coach, especially Stfansky and especially McCarthy, is going to feel like, second place by a mile, maybe even third place if it's McCarthy. So I guess if we can't get Harbaugh, I have a question after this too. Then I'd probably want to go for swing for the fences then in a different way with a hot young coordinator, maybe the Shula kid from the Rams. My question is, and this is because of when we wanted that rule, like, are the Giants considered sort of at all cheap? Or I know they're not like the Bengals or the Cardinals, but in terms of how they treat their employees, not necessarily, well, I guess coaches, but because we did get outbid for Rule, which turns out not to have been a bad thing. But I was just curious if you think, based on what you know, if money would be an issue specifically for a sort of gold standard.
It's tough to answer that only because if you look at their recent coaching hires and even the guys they were interviewing, you did bring up the example about Rule. It didn't seem like it was a bidding war. It never seemed like it came down to that. I think that this year it very well can. I think this is completely different. So what's the Giants' track record on winning a bidding war for an NFL head coach? I don't think we have it. Sean, you brought up the new money that's been infused into the organization based on the Koch family buying 10%. And they certainly have the money. And I think as New York fans, we're certainly arrogant enough, especially the season ticket holder who pays top dollar, to say, I don't want to hear that we were outbid. It's one thing if he just prefers to coach his hometown Cleveland Browns. It's one thing if he just likes the Atlanta Falcons roster better. That's a different subject. But no fan in this town, with the prices we pay, want to hear that the reason John Harbaugh didn't get the job is that the Giants got outbid.
I don't think that's going to be an issue. I really don't. Now, you could say what you want, and you could be unhappy about the way the recent years have gone with the Maras and running the New York Giants. The Maras have always been about legacy to me. Like, always. That's what they care about. That's what Wellington had cared about. And I got to imagine, knowing everything that John has been battling and what the family's gone through, they know how important this hire is. And I think they view this hire as like a bit of a legacy hire. Like, they have the quarterback right. I don't think they're going to allow dollars to get in the way of that being the difference between John Harbaugh being the coach and not.
Are you wearing a Winter Classic Rangers hat?
I am.
And it's the Winter Classic that just occurred?
Yes.
Against the Florida Panthers?
Yeah, probably the last win the Rangers have this year.
No, I actually wasn't making a joke. I have an interesting question.
Okay.
If they had lost that game, would you wear the hat?
Yes.
Did you buy? So you bought the hat before the game took place?
I didn't. I got it as part of a Secret Santa for my sister.
So it's a gift.
Yeah.
So you would have worn it because you felt the guilt of the gift?
Well, I also think it's just a nice hat. Like, it has the Winter Classic patch, but the front isn't the Winter Classic.
It's a beautiful Ranger hat. I'm just saying, would you wear the patch of an event that you lost? I'm curious.
Yes, because it's not like a playoff hat. You know what I mean?
Because I get crap from my Mets National League pennant sweatshirt because they lost the World Series.
But the Winter Classic's a little different, right? It's just like you're part of a cool event. You remember, whatever. You might forget if they won or lost in 5 years.
By the way, if you're just tuning in, the Islanders beat the Devils last night 9-0.
Matthew Schaefer is the new king of New York sports.
Thank you, Sean. That was very nice for you to say that.
Whoa. How's AI working?
That's not AI. That's real Shaun Morash. If you didn't hear it, let's hear it one more time. What's Matthew?
Matthew Schaefer is the new king of New York sports.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it. That's very nice of you.
Get that in now, because I'm back at those controls tomorrow, and it ain't playing.
See, this is the problem. This is why I got to talk to Uncle Craig about getting a machine where I can press some buttons. Because I need to combat this. Connor's doing a great job back there, but you're right. When Tiki returns tomorrow, Sean presses the buttons, which means it's going to be kind of biased in terms of the clips that are played. Let's go Rangers.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Thank you, Connor.
Let's go to Chris and Merrick. What's up, Chris?
Gentlemen, timing is everything in life, right?
Luckily for me, the guy my wife dated before me was a complete loser, which set a low bar for me to succeed.
Congrats, Chris. That's great.
Same thing applies here. John Harbaugh is stepping into potentially a situation where the bar is low. If he puts up the same season that the Ravens just fired him for on the Giants, we will celebrate it for year one. We will be happy and look forward to 2027. The Giants have a young quarterback. They have some young pieces that most people in the league think are a solid young core. They have a high draft pick, and he has an opportunity to win in a very media-heavy team area. So successes are magnified the same way losses are. So winning in Cleveland may be good for him and his family, I understand. But if you win with the Giants, or the Jets for that matter, or the Knicks, or the Yankees, or the Mets, it gets magnified.
Yeah.
So this, to me, is a perfect kind of Tom Coughlin-esque leaving one franchise after many years, taking over another, a la Andy Reid leaving Philly, going to KC.
But Chris, the thing you got to keep in mind is everybody's different. I want to use the Knicks as an example. Okay. Winning with the Knicks is special. I agree with that. I was even going to tell you, as a Net fan, winning with the Knicks is more special than winning with the Nets. I'd admit it, and I'm a diehard Net fan. Maybe special to me, Sean, and 9 other people, but I get the majesty of winning with the Knicks. And yet Kevin Durant said no thank you. Now, I'm not saying that to be a jerk because you guys obviously won out. What I'm saying is everybody's different. Of course. So it's great to call Sports Talk Radio and talk about how beautiful it would be to win in New York. If John Harbaugh has an affinity towards Cleveland because they went vacationing there and he's from Akron and his parents had a honeymoon there, that's not something you can compute. And you can't just simply use New York to solve all issues. And I'll give you another example of that. What's that two-bit reporter who took a lot of crap? I didn't even waste our time with it. The college reporter who said no one wants to play for the Jets coming out of college. What's that guy's name?
Oh, McShay?
Todd McShay.
Todd McShay.
Yes, Todd McShay.
Two-bit reporter. He's a great draft.
I'm sure he probably is. I was just upset. Sorry, Todd, if you're listening. It just
you don't know Todd McShay?
I know him, but I don't know him personally. I know his reporting, yes.
Okay.
I'm just pissed off about who would want to play for the Jets. Our last caller's point would fit that, too. Like, hey, Dante Moore, here's why you'd want to play for the Jets. If you're ever the quarterback that turns this thing around, you're a freaking legend. Mm-hmm. You're a legend. You can go to other places. It's not the same as winning in New York. And that's all true, but it's not true with everybody. That's the point. It's true with me. It's true with our last caller, but it wasn't true with Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
It may not be true with Dante Moore. It may not be true with guys who don't want to be here. And so we don't know that about John. Now, it's a great selling point.
Sure.
And maybe John on his way is listening to WFAN to kind of scout out what the New York media is like. And maybe John is listening right now. John, if you're listening, our last caller's right. You win in New York, you are a freaking king. They'll build a statue for you. But I don't know if hold on, actually, let me edit that. John, winning with the Jets is a much bigger deal than winning with the Giants.
John, if you're listening, don't listen to Evan. The Giants have Jackson Dart, and we will build a statue for it. Heck, maybe we'll build a new stadium for you.
Does Tom Coughlin have a statue? Exactly. Shut your mouth.
No, but we will build one if John Harbaugh wins. We'll put them together.
Didn't you guys want to run Tom Coughlin out of town after he won a Super Bowl?
John, think about it. Baltimore ran you out of town. You're a professional. We want you here.
It would mean more to win with the Jets than it would with the Giants.
And John, if you're listening, we have White Castle here too.
Do we?
The chicken rings are fantastic.
Can you actually name a location of a close White Castle?
Yes.
Where?
The one where I get them from Farmingdale on Route 110.
Oh, really? So there is on Long Island?
Did multiple ones on Long Island.
I haven't seen any where I live.
We do one White Castle Crave case annually every year on a football Sunday. We did the Bears game this year.
One of the most underrated movies of all time is
Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle.
Yeah. It was amazing.
They went to White Castle.
They should have stopped it before they did Harold and Kumar get arrested and go to Guantanamo Bay. You ever see that one?
That one's very funny. Harold and Kumar wreck Christmas too.
I know the one with Guantanamo Bay I saw in the theater by myself. I remember that.
I saw that in theaters too, not by myself. Why did we go see that in theaters?
Well, the reason I did is because when I used to do this time slot back 15 years ago.
Right, when I was in high school.
I didn't have kids. I was not married. And the show ended at 1 o'clock. Okay? So at 1:15, I'd be done. And so at first, before I started becoming a gym rat, believe it or not, I would actually go watch random movies and go to malls.
You go to malls?
I'm a loser.
Were you at Hollister trying on the perfume?
That's what I would do.
One more quick thing, because I don't want to lose this real quickly on the White Castle thing.
Go.
That many years ago, White Castle was serving breakfast?
Apparently so. I have no idea.
I went to White Castle.
Okay. I'm going to do a major rabbit hole for me later.
We'll get back to your calls coming up, 888-808-1019. And we go deeper on the Joe Schoen factor. Is Joe Schoen truly going to be a hindrance to John Harbaugh or someone else taking this Giants job? The Cinco de Luncho coming up in the 12 o'clock hour. And you don't want to miss it. Connor Hughes at 1 o'clock. He's got all the info, the latest on the Giant coaching search, even some Jet talk. He'll join us coming up in about an hour.
It's Evan and Tiki, middays on the Fan, 101.9 FM.
I just think that right now the Jets, they're the worst franchise in sports. I've said this before. That is not hyperbole. That's not me saying feel bad for me. I'm a Jet fan. No, they're the worst franchise in sports. And I root for the Brooklyn Nets.
Get Evan and Tiki on demand. Available on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, and the free Odyssey app.
This is an Odyssey Sports Minute.
Where will former Ravens head coach John Harbaugh coach next season? I'm looking at a couple teams playing this weekend in the wild card rounds of the playoffs. How about Green Bay, where they're starting to be smoke around head coach Matt LaFleur? What if the Packers lose? And how about Buffalo if the Bills lose on the road at Jacksonville? Sean McDermott, his time could be up. Look at those two teams potentially for Harbaugh. I'm Nick Costos.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's Dunkin's world and you're living in it, which means breakfast is easy and costs $5 with Dunkin's $5 meal deal. You get 6 crispy hash browns, a wake-up wrap, and a medium hot or iced coffee. Whatever your mood calls for. Bring your friend, your brother, your mother, your cousin, or just bring yourself. Because at Dunkin', they make deals for everyone. Get Dunkin's $5 meal deal only at Dunkin'. No substitutions. Participation in times may vary. Offer price varies in California and Hawaii. Limited time offer cannot be combined with other offers. Exclusions and terms apply.
Sunday no longer a fun day? We've got specialists for that. Walking the dog, unleash, knee pain? We've got specialists for that. With 45 Castle Connolly top doctors, Orland & Cohen specialists are considered among the best in the nation by their peers, which can mean a better outcome for you. From Staten Island to Southampton, our network is open 7 days a week, so you can feel better, faster. Visit OrlandCohen.com.
Get ready for more Evan and Tiki on the Fan.
Orgavattazona? Is that a word? In the 2026 Kia Sportage Turbo Hybrid, it might as well be, because it can be one road trip. It's all about turbocharged power and hybrid efficiency working together, so you get the thrill of quick acceleration and the satisfaction of fuel efficiency. Book a test drive and keep the adventure going. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-3334-KIA for details. Always drive safely.
Hey, this is Tiki Barber. Those of us living in New Jersey got hit with a 20% electric rate increase. If your current heating system is over 15 years old, it's time for a new high-efficiency Carrier system. And there's only one company to call for a new one. My friends at Edison Heating and Cooling, New Jersey's heating experts for over 38 years. Older heating systems waste gas. So get your system checked now and save money with Edison Heating and Cooling. Contact them now at EdisonHVAC.com. That's EdisonHVAC.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-908-8646 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-908-8646. That's 800-908-8646. What do you have to lose? Call 800-908-8646. Again, 800-908-8646.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's your captain speaking. To the passenger with the Mirror Fast soft shoes, smart move.
No way am I letting travel constipation ruin this trip.
Can't blame you. Mirror Fast works fast, but without the harsh side effects.
Since I'm such a smart traveler, can I move to first class?
No. Close the curtain, Carol.
From the makers of Miralax, new Mirafast soft chews work naturally with your body in as little as 30 minutes to give you a comfortable go on the go. Find Mirafast today at your local retailer. Use as directed for occasional constipation. Contains magnesium hydroxide.
Hey, it's Tiki here. I'm constantly on the go between the fan, taking care of my kids, various events, meetings, football games. The list goes on and on and on. But one of the things I value most is feeling safe and also knowing that my family is safe when I'm not with them at home. That's why I turn to our great partners at Sloman's Home Security to install their innovative ShieldLink system in my own house. The Sloman ShieldLink system is a smart home security solution that easily and seamlessly combines safety, convenience, and most importantly, peace of mind. Whether I'm home or away, I can manage anything right from my phone. My security system, home automation, my entertainment system, everything is right there at my fingertips. Our security lighting turns on as soon as we turn our alarm system on. So whether we're home going to sleep or away, we know that we're safe and our home feels protected. Just give them a call at 1-800-ALARM-ME or visit online slomans.com to learn how Sloman ShieldLink can give you peace of mind in your home and when you're on the go, just like me.
Salicata here, and wow, are we thrilled with the incredible job CertaPro Painters did on our house. So clean, so efficient, they actually listened to us and even satisfied my wife, which, as you know, isn't easy. If you've been putting off painting because of the economy or tariff worries, don't. Painting your house is the easiest and most efficient way to protect and raise your home's value. Do what we did. Call CertaPro Painters today.
Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Get the latest on the Giants and Jets on WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1, New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
It is 12 noon here on this very busy Wednesday. You may have forgotten there's NFL playoff football this weekend. It's like an afterthought with everything going on with the Giants coaching search, with who is now available, John Harbaugh available. A couple of notes on John Harbaugh. One, I mentioned before we took a break, we should dive deeper on if Joe Schoen's presence is an issue. According to Ian O'Connor, the early reports on this, and we won't know yet until he interviews with the Giants, is that it is not an issue, which is great news because my biggest worry about Joe Schoen being here for now that they've made the decision to bring him back. I wouldn't have brought him back for the record. We've talked about it, but my biggest worry going into the coaching search is if it would be a hindrance. If you're telling me it is not going to impact John Harbaugh deciding to not take this job or take this job, then great. Because ultimately, I think John will have the ultimate influence in the room.
And if you're in the anti-Shane crowd, which I guess is like 95% of Giant fans at this point, the other benefit to hiring John Harbaugh, if it is not an issue at first, is John Harbaugh is the type of head coach that doesn't have to get fired when you don't. Like if Shane, you just didn't like the roster decisions or whatever this year, and Harbaugh won 7 games, whatever. They could fire Shane next year, and Harbaugh could bring in his own GM. Sure. Like, he's that kind of head coach.
Absolutely. He's not going after a couple of years.
Right, exactly. So I don't think this is one of those where, like, oh, you want synergy. I think Shane could still be out in a year, and then Harbaugh picks his own guy once he gets his feet wet.
Now, you know I love your podcast, both of them.
Yeah,
but one of my
names?
What are the names of what?
My podcast.
Oh, I thought you meant your kids, because that's, of course, Taylor and Peyton.
You're real. Wow, good for you.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing a game in which we ask our FAN fellow hosts to name the children of other fellow FAN hosts.
Wow.
How do you think everyone would do? Like, how would Boomer do if I said name... Well, Craig's kids, I think he'd get.
Yeah.
Worked with him for so long. Would he get the names of my kids? I don't know.
Probably not.
Would he get the name? He'd get Gio's kids. Obviously, they work together. Would he get your kids?
No shot.
Would Giannotti get the names of my kids?
No shot.
Would Giannotti get the names of Craig's kids?
I think Craig's kids are very memorable names.
Do you know the names of Craig's kids?
Sonny, Lucky, and Happy. Anthony.
Okay, you're missing someone.
He has more than 3 kids?
He's got a daughter.
I don't know the name of his daughter.
All right, so 3 out of 4, not bad.
Okay.
Do you know, this is the real dicey one. Do you know the name of Big Mac's kids?
Anthony. I should know. This is bad because I am really good friends with Chris. I forgot.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Are you really good friends with him?
Thomas.
Very good. Tommy,
yeah.
Yeah. All right, good job out of you.
Didn't even look at anything. Bam.
So I'm deciding if I should ask everyone around here that. I have a feeling if I did that, like Boomer would blow me off and be like, get away from me.
Get away from me. He doesn't want to be embarrassed by that.
No, I know. Oh, by the way, speaking of Boomer, it got back to him that you really enjoyed his massage yesterday.
Did it?
Do you want to hear it?
I do, because Boomer avoided me today.
Well, maybe he avoided you because a conversation occurred on the air.
Not a single hello from Boomer today after yesterday.
So I will set it up for you that you could take a listen. This was earlier today on our morning show. Jerry played the game. He plays sometimes with the show where he gives them a quick sound effect and then says what caused that sound to happen.
I like that.
The sound was actually of me. Okay. I was making a weird, like, ugh, to you talking about how good Boomer's massage was and the impact it had on your body.
Okay.
So ultimately, once Jerry revealed that's what it was about, he played the entire clip. So here's the interaction between Jerry Recco, Boomer, Gio, on your reaction to the massage Boomer Esiason gave you yesterday in the newsroom.
Boomer was rubbing him down yesterday in the newsroom, and
I told you I grabbed a hunk of him yesterday.
Really incredible with his hands.
That's why I was wanting to check out how thick he was.
He lasted like 2 extra minutes longer than he had to during a break today. There was movement. And I would be more open than ever to having a male-on-male massage if it's a man as big as Boomer.
It was movement. Is he talking about having an erection?
Apparently. And that's where Evan was like, come on.
Is he? I mean, I know that Sean says these things.
I don't know. I don't
I mean, if he's serious about getting a half a chub because Boomer's giving him a massage, we have to get into therapy. Listen, I was just rubbing around his neck there a little bit, and we were talking Rangers. Maybe that's gave him the chubby. I don't know. He's like a walking chubster.
Wow. Okay.
I want to get you a T-shirt that just says "Walking Chubster."
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
So, did he give you one today or no?
No, it couldn't be more inverted. He avoided me all day.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him one of these days. I'm like kind of embarrassed too, but
why?
Why do I want one? Because my back is a freaking mess.
Why would you be embarrassed?
It's just weird to go up to a random person, or in this case, a coworker, and say, "Do you mind giving me a massage during a commercial break?"
I think Boomer is. There was movement. I think he's a funny.
I think it moved.
Especially now that you acknowledge it, Boomer, I got to feel how your hands feel.
Well, and also, the thing I think I got going for me is Boomer, twice in a row now that I see him every day, has asked me how my back is feeling because he knows I'm a mess right now. My hamstring's messed up. He's been very, even if it's fake, he's been very like, hey, how you feeling? So maybe like tomorrow when he asks me, I'll be like, hey, by the way, I'm not going to have any movement. It has nothing to do with that. Let me try a massage.
Do me a favor.
Let's try anything at this point.
If you're willing to do that, your hamstring hurts, ask him to rub your hamstring. There was movement. And let me know how that
Sean,
feels.
I don't think I'm going to have any movement issues. I'm just looking at...
I think it moved.
I'm looking to feel better.
Yeah.
I'm going to see a doctor today, so maybe I'll, we'll find out.
And I was talking about the hairs on the back of my neck. You guys all going down the gutter. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. When I say movement, it's hairs on the back of your neck.
Oh, yeah. So our brains are in the gutter.
Uh-huh.
Gio's brain's in the gutter.
Yeah.
My brain's in the gutter.
Uh-huh.
Jerry's brain's in the gutter.
Exactly.
All right. Fair enough.
Sexy midnight fantasy.
Let's go to Joe in Oceanside, New York. What's going on, Joe?
RCT for 2. Hey, what's going on?
Yo.
Big fan of you guys. I wish you were still working at night. Listen, I got one question.
Yeah.
I got one question for Sean. Sean, why do they always talk about getting rid of Bobby Okereke? I mean, he's one of the best 4 defensive defensive plays on the Giants. And also, I think Kafka did a good job. He did a good job against Green Bay, good job against Detroit, good job against Dallas. Let's bring Spagnuolo in here, and I think we'll be good. I don't think we need old Harbaugh. I think Stfansky would be a lot better than him, and that's just my opinion.
All right, so two things. Number one, you no longer can hire Steve Spagnuolo for this job because the interpretation is going to be the Giants just wanted to hire a guy who has so many connections to the organization.
For the head coaching job.
For the head coaching job.
Okay.
Now, if he became the DC, of course, but that's not going to happen.
I don't see how that could happen.
Right.
Like a lateral move. I don't think Kansas City would allow it. So,
and I do believe this, and we have to go. I believe hiring anybody now other than those two. And all right, I'll put McCarthy in that pot too. You're putting even more pressure on a guy if you watch Harbaugh go win 11 games at the Falcons. You're putting a guy behind the eight ball. I
think that the first-time head coach, no offense to Hafley or Kubiak or whatever other first-time coach we're drawn in by, it will be a buzzkill to go that route.
And you don't want to set the guy up for that mood already with the fan base.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to piss off the fans. And I know that's not why you should make a decision, but when you've got a guy who, put it this way with John Harbaugh, and I don't think this is hyperbole, I think this is true, he is a Hall of Fame head coach.
Yes.
I think he's on his way. He may have to wait a while, as we've learned with the Hall of Fame, but I think his resume warrants being a Hall of Fame head coach with the 18 years he had in Baltimore. If you have an opportunity to hire that guy and instead you're hiring a first-time head coach, or in the case of Steve Spagnuolo, let's call it like it is, a two-time failed head coach.
Yes.
Really one-time failed head coach, but you get the point. That would be a very tough sell.
It would be. Now, just real quickly, the Bobby Okereke thing. You cannot have that high-paid linebacker and your defense just get run through like a truck nonstop. You need a real sideline-to-sideline linebacker, and his salary is the most cuttable this year.
Let's go to Matt in Brooklyn. What's up, Matt?
What's up, boys?
Nope.
I think there's one big draw for Harbaugh that I haven't heard anyone mention, and that was the Charger game this year. So Jim saw firsthand kind of the bright, shining future of this team. He saw, Dart going off, Scattaboo going off, and you don't think he's telling John, listen, that was a good football team that we played that day. So I mean, think that's a big factor.
It's interesting. I assume their relationship is close enough where John is calling his brother for counsel, even though he's got some things to worry about, beating the Patriots.
I believe they're on record of saying they call each other every Sunday night or Monday after games.
Yeah, so I'm sure Jim would give his opinion on that. But I think John is also smart enough to watch the tape and know, and he's got an opinion on it. He's got a strong opinion on it.
Yeah.
So I think the appeal of the quarterback is certainly there.
No doubt.
Let's hear from a Raven fan. We always hear from Steeler fans and Raiders fans and Cowboys fans. They're everywhere. Rarely do we get the opportunity to talk to an actual living Baltimore Ravens fan and get their perspective on that. So let's say hi to Joe in Staten Island. First of all, how'd you become a Ravens fan, Joe?
I've been a Ravens fan probably since I was 8 years old, so about 27 years. So it was just, I liked the colors, honestly, when I was a kid, so it kind of just stuck, and that was
fair enough. It happens with a lot of people. That's a fair answer. All right, what do you think, man?
So, yeah. So I called up about 2 weeks ago, and I was talking to Tiki, and I told him, the Giants could take Harbaugh. I was kind of out on him. So it's a bittersweet day. I'm grateful for everything he did, but I don't think he's as much of a slam dunk as a lot of people think he is as a hire. I just think after that Super Bowl, people forget, he was a 500 coach, missed the playoffs 4 out of the next 5 years, and his foot was out the door until Lamar kind of stepped in and I think saved his job. The team's kind of been undisciplined the last couple of years. He's made a lot of head-scratching decisions, and I just think the game's kind of passed him by a little bit. I'm grateful for everything he did, but I just think it was definitely a time for a breakup, and I don't know if he's the coach that everyone thinks he is anymore.
You know what's funny, Joe? Your story of becoming a Ravens fan is exactly why the Giants have to hire John Harbaugh.
Because of the colors?
You just heard him. He was 8 years old. He fell in love with the colors.
Right.
What do you think a lot of grown adults who are Giants fans are dealing with their kids as the Giants, again, peter into another poor year? And there's more ability to watch all of these teams on TV than ever before.
Root for another team, sure.
Root for another team.
Yeah.
The fastest way to get your kids to care about New York Giants football is to make them relevant again. And I firmly believe this. The Giants are relevant immediately if they hire John Harbaugh next year.
So our last caller laid out some of the fan criticisms of John Harbaugh. If you rewind our show to 11 o'clock, about an hour and 10 minutes ago, I did a deep dive on Ravens Reddit to get other criticisms of John Harbaugh. I want to present to you an audio sample. Now, this is an interview John did on I think it was a Ravens podcast.
Okay.
And John has been heavily criticized for what he said in this clip I'm about to play for you.
On Quote the Raven?
I don't think it was called Quote the Raven. Is that an actual podcast?
I just guessed.
It's a good idea. Ravens flock?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Nevermore.
So I'm going to play it for you. Be open-minded. Understand that this pissed a lot of Raven fans off. I don't know if it's going to piss you off. I don't know how you're going to feel about it. But this is for obviously everybody
This
in the
year?
audience.
This was from this year?
I think it was within, I tried to get a timestamp on it. I think it's definitely recent.
Okay.
So it's definitely a recent period of time.
All right.
Take a listen to potentially future head coach of the New York Giants, John Harbaugh.
All this garbage about do or die or about, more about like bust, Super Bowl or bust, all that kind of stuff. It's just so phony. I mean, anybody that says something like that has never actually accomplished anything because they understand it's about process and it's about who you become. You want to win a championship, you got to become a champion. You got to be a champion. You got to do the things that champions do. And then you go in there and fight and you let the chips fly and see if you can win it. And that's what we've been doing. Our guys have been doing that at a championship level. We haven't won the championship yet. Okay? Is that going to be in our future? Who knows? No one knows the future. No one's given. We're not given to know the future. Read your Bible, But we are given to take care of the day and today and what the moment and be in the moment and to take care of one another, have each other's back, share a vision, share an understanding, fight as hard as you can, for that vision, that understanding, for that brotherhood, for one another, and then let the chips fly. And that's what our guys are going to do.
The line that pisses people off is I don't know if we're going to win one. We're going to do it. We're going to play at a championship level. I can't tell the future. And that bothered a lot of Raven fans saying, wait a second. I mean, you got to tell. So give me your honest take on that. Does that bother you at all?
I could see myself if that was the Giants and they were winning every year and had an MVP quarterback, like winning enough games here to get the playoffs.
Actually, stop right there. Imagine if that's Brian Cashman or Aaron Boone.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would be annoyed by it.
Okay.
So I totally understand the annoyance, but at the same time, like being level-headed, seeing where the Giants come from, I also understand what he's doing there. Honestly, the biggest issue with that quote, I'm not even trying to be funny. You don't know that it's where the chips fall? He said twice, let the chips fly.
Does that qualify for idiots with idioms?
I think you put it in. That's it was one thing to make a mistake once, twice. You got to know that saying.
And then, let the chips fly.
The segment Idiots with Idioms every Friday, I guess we'll set the time at 1:30, is where we collect all the mistaken idioms we had from the week that was. And sometimes it is a jam-full segment with mistakes I made, Sean made, and Tiki's been up there too. Exacerbated it. So I think I'm with you that John's got to be in it. But that little clip of John does remind me a lot of the Yankees. It really does. And
definitely.
I think if anyone's trying to figure out as a Giant and Jet fan, how could they ever get rid of John Harbaugh? Ask a Yankee fan friend, or if you are a Yankee fan, it's kind of easy. This is what you feel like with Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone.
Correct. You don't want to hear the playoffs are a crapshoot, which is what John Harbaugh was saying.
He basically said it.
No doubt.
And said if you say otherwise, you don't understand what it's like to compete in sports. That's how he started it.
The difference is this would be a reset with the Giants. If they got to the point and he was now 72, it's been 9 years, and they had Dart, and they've lost a bunch of championship games, I would also then be annoyed at that quote. I'm willing to give it a refresher course after year one, like I'm annoyed at the Yankees now.
Mike is in Yonkers. Hey, Mike.
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Good, man. What's up?
Heaven, this could be your lucky day today. You said you got back problems.
I do. I'm major.
All right. I know a chiropractor up by you, up on Central Avenue in Hartsdale by the Westchester County Center.
Oh.
I had back problems, Evan. I couldn't sit down. I couldn't stand up. I couldn't lay down. Because you remember I had surgery on my back. Remember 10 years ago?
Yes, I do.
I spent the morning with you, and the doctor said you were the best patient I ever had. And he said, why? I said, because I spent the morning with you and Joe.
That's right. That's right. Well, I'm gonna pull a Craig right now and name drop. I'm seeing one of the greatest doctors in the world today. A guy who was a former doctor with the New York Jets for many years. Even Boomer was a Pred. It's basically Boomer's doctor.
Wow.
And he's the best. But I appreciate the insight and help, and I may take that information down the road. Thank you, Mike. What's on your sports mind?
Well, on my sports mind, what about if the Jets hired Harbaugh and kept Glenn as the defensive coordinator? Don't fire him. Make him like
Mike, can you imagine that conversation? Can you imagine that conversation when he walks in and says, look, I got great news. You can stay, but you're going to be the defensive coordinator.
Oh, because we're the freaking New York Jets.
Because we're the freaking New York Jets. there are a lot of ideas that on paper make sense. Like
I felt violated.
I give you another one that makes sense but would never happen. And it involves your team.
Okay.
The idea of a new head coach comes in, let's say John Harbaugh, and his offensive coordinator idea is Brian Daboll.
Be great.
And you'd love it, right? We'd all say, oh, that makes sense. It's just not going to happen.
Right. Ironically enough, it's more realistic than Aaron Glenn immediately, because at least you had a 9-week buffer here with him not being the coach.
Well, look, the funny thing about Daboll is that he's going to take an OC job.
Looks
right?
like Washington right now.
Washington is a candidate. There's talk about Las Vegas. Like, there's a lot of good possibilities for Brian Daboll, but we all agree he's going to take an OC job. It's possible that after looking at all the OC opportunities, the Giant job, especially under someone like John Harbaugh, would make the most sense. But even though it makes sense, it wouldn't happen.
Right.
It just doesn't happen. Like, guys going back and becoming coordinators for a team they were fired by does happen, but it happens years later.
Right. In fact, I think it's very much on the table for the Giants right now.
With Pat Shurmur?
I believe Pat Shurmur has a very high opportunity to be Kevin Stefanski's offensive coordinator.
And that is different.
Right.
It's like Vance Joseph, who's currently interviewing for the Giant job. He was the Broncos head coach. Then he became the Broncos DC. So it happens, but not immediately. So, look, I said this earlier to Jet fans. I'll say it one more time. If you were just tuning in. Would I fire Aaron Glenn for John Harbaugh? Of course. I don't think there's a Jet fan out there who would say no to that. The problem is John's not taking our job. He's not. What? It's a fantasy. He's not taking the Jet job. And so I'd prefer not to fire Aaron Glenn and then just hire a first-time head coach because I went one and done. Yes, if you told me John's taking the Jet job because he's got an affinity for green and he loved watching Curtis Martin and he wants to make Joe Beningo happy, then sign me up. But it's not happening.
All right. Now, what if a lot of these openings start getting filled up? John goes wherever, Stefanski goes wherever. John ends up going, let's just call it Philly, okay? The Eagles lose in the divisional round, but now most of the jobs are filled up. And Sirianni becomes free. Would you fire Aaron Glenn in 3 weeks and go, you know what? Now Sirianni doesn't have a place to land, and he's really hungry to keep coaching. You wouldn't do it for Nick Sirianni in 3 weeks? Because now there's no options for Sirianni to keep coaching next year?
I don't know. Probably not. I don't think I love him.
Over Aaron Glenn? Are you high?
No. Because this is not fair, the conversation. It's
Why?
not about do I believe in Aaron Glenn more than Nick Sirianni. It's I'm not going one and done with a head coach unless I have a sure thing. I think John's a sure thing, despite the negatives we've talked about throughout the show, which I think is healthy and fair. Like, we should talk about negatives and either disprove it or admit, oh, okay, that's a negative. But I think he has no bust factor. I said to you yesterday, I want the guy with the least amount of bust factor. And we were doing that in regards to Mike McCarthy and Kevin Stefanski. And I said to you, Mike McCarthy has less of a bust factor than Kevin Stefanski based on his track record.
Right.
I don't think John Harbaugh has any bust factor. Speaking of Kevin Stefanski, I apologize. You are the football guy here at WFAN. How many playoff wins does Kevin Stefanski have again?
He technically doesn't because he had COVID.
I hate Sean. He knows where I'm going, and instead of letting me do it, he pops the balloon. Why can't you just say he's got one playoff win? Because earlier in the show, when we talked about playoff wins, didn't you say he had one playoff win?
No, a caller did.
Oh, and what'd you say?
I purposely didn't respond to it.
All right.
Because I was actually holding that in my holster for you to bring it up.
Just play the game. How many playoff wins does Kevin Stefanski have?
Well, when he was a coach of the Browns, they won a playoff game, Evan.
I forgot all about this. Dan, who is a loyal listener to the Evan and Tiki with Shaun Morash program, emailed me a reminder that Kevin Stefanski did not coach the game the Browns won in the postseason because he had COVID. Mm-hmm. So even though he has a playoff victory, does he have a playoff victory?
Yeah, I mean, I give him way more credit for coaching the Vikings offense and quarterbacks through that run.
Here's my problem with you. Mm-hmm. It has nothing to do with this exchange we just had.
Just one problem?
No. It's actually a major problem that you have to address personally.
All right. Go ahead.
It's not that you waited until 12:20 when I asked the question. It's that you're disingenuous in arguments.
Why is that?
Because when I argue something, I always like to put all the facts on the table, even if they don't benefit me.
Okay.
Like, I will say, look, I believe in this guy, but here are some of the issues. I try to be honest.
Okay.
It is disingenuous of you. When yesterday we talked about Stfansky, earlier today we played the Rex Ryan clip of him criticizing Kevin Stfansky, and you're pro Kevin Stfansky, to not just inform the audience, and me, because I forgot about it, that his playoff win technically wasn't his. If you remembered it, which I believe you because you are a good football guy, why not say it?
All right.
Why not just be honest and say, look, this doesn't affect my thinking on him, but full transparency, he didn't win the game he won in the postseason. Instead of waiting hours until you're basically called out about it in a weird way. It's not about the radio. It's about you being disingenuous with your opinions.
All right.
That's how I feel about that.
You're going to get an argument back from me. You could pull the tapes. Dan can pull the tapes. You can do whatever you want. I haven't tried to hide this information. All I have said in
you didn't say it, though, Sean.
Can let me explain why.
You're right, sorry.
All I have said is Kevin Stfansky has made the playoffs twice with the Cleveland Browns. I'm not acknowledging the win because I don't count it.
Well, but my point is, say it.
Okay, and this is where
it's information. Like, I've given a lot of information out today, whether I agree with the conclusions or not. Like, all the negative John Harbaugh stuff. I love John Harbaugh. I think he's a slam dunk hire. I'm not presenting negative information to make a point. I'm doing it to inform, and then we can have a better discussion.
This is where...
You got to say it. You can't wait for Dan to tell me.
I guess because if a guy doesn't have a playoff win, do we say, hey, he never won a play? I don't know. Like, I viewed him making the playoffs, and I kind of thought it was common knowledge. Kevin Stfansky's never won a playoff game.
Connor, you are the fairest guy at this radio station. He also, never speaks unless, we say, hey, Connor, I got to ask you a question.
And he should, because he's, arguably the funniest person that works here.
Incredibly funny guy, very, very talented. Let's not put him over too much.
Well, thank you, guys. I appreciate that.
Then we'll lose him as our number one fill-in. Connor, do you think that Sean owed the audience, if he had this information, to at least just give us the fact, hey, just so we know as we further these conversations, he actually didn't coach the one playoff win that he's credited for?
Yeah, I feel like if you knew that, because I had forgotten about that too, that he had COVID. Maybe you should have mentioned it.
All right, I'm sorry. I took the audience to be on top of that.
No, that's not fair, because you're putting everyone down.
My next words were going to be, and that's not fair to assume, but you jumped it. It's not fair for me to assume. You're right. I need to grow from that.
If you were on the other side of the Stefanski argument, you would have brought it up, and that's what's disingenuous. You put your arguments above the information.
Okay, but I wasn't boasting that he won playoff games. That was never part of my argument.
You didn't put the info out there.
All I said was he made the playoffs, which is true.
Did you know this all along, or did you remember that at some point?
No, it's ironic. It's something I've laughed about for years, that the one Brown playoff win, their coach had COVID.
So you should have told us. That's it. We'll leave it at that. I still love you. Come over, give me a hug. I'll give you a hug.
All right,
come over here. Let me see his thickness.
Sorry. And I'm sorry for paying attention and knowing that the Harbaughs love Cleveland, and you thought that.
I had no problem with that. That was great, because it was more information to back up that the Browns were a real threat. I got no issue with that.
I'm still laughing at that because I was like, ooh, what's he got? And I couldn't believe you went there. I'm like, oh, I'm not surprised by that.
We've got a Cinco de Lunch show coming up in just a few minutes. We will get back to your calls at 888-808-1019. Connor Hughes will join us at 1 o'clock. And I know Sean will like this. Maybe the Washington Commanders should be docked a first-round pick. We'll get to that coming up. It's Evan and Tiki with Shaun Morash.
This portion of the program is sponsored by Kalshi. Trade on anything. I would be more open than ever to having a male-on-male massage if it's a man as big as Boomer.
God bless America. You know that song?
And make sure you don't miss this Thursday's edition of The Carton Show with Chris McMonagle and me, Craig Carton, because we have live in studio the Major League Baseball Commissioner, Rob Manfred. It's a must-listen-to event at 4:30 exclusively on Sports Radio 101.9 FM, The Fan.
Who's ready to hit the ice? It'll be another exciting hockey season with BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. From same-game parlays to live bets, you can call your shot during any play. Rooting for your favorite players? You'll find all sorts of markets for betting on any star's performance on any given night. Don't miss any of the action on the ice by getting all your picks in with BetMGM. Ready to shoot your shot? Download the app today and make your bets. BetMGM, make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York only. Subject to eligibility requirements, rewards may vary and expire in 7 days. Gambling problem? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Everybody knows Town Fair Tire is New England's largest name brand discount tire dealer, beating all the local competitors with our guaranteed lowest prices. And now, with over 120 stores throughout New England, we beat all the competition, including the warehouse clubs, the online sites, and the local dealers. Yes, we beat them all with the absolute guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair.
Visit your local Kia dealers to discover what happens when rugged capability meets true performance. It's the perfect balance of quality, dependability, power, and style. Learn more at kia.com. Kia, movement that inspires.
This week's Hot Performer, sponsored by Edison HVAC, is Ramondre Stevenson. He rushed for 131 yards and scored 3 touchdowns in a win over Miami. If your current heating system is over 15 years old, you need a new Hot Performer in a high-efficiency carrier system. There's only one company to call, Edison Heating and Cooling. New Jersey's heating experts for over 38 years. Older heating systems waste gas, so make sure your system is a Hot Performer and save money now with Edison Heating and Cooling. Contact them at edisonhvac.com.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage, no medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
At Nielsen, fun is in the driver's seat.
Your best year starts with a savings. Don't miss the January Jumpstart event at Nielsen Dodge.
That's right, Chels. We're ready to start your new year with low lease payments to get you driving.
Lease a new 2026 Dodge Durango GT Plus all-wheel drive Hemi V8, just $299 a month. Or lease a new 2025 Ram 1500 Tradesman Crew Cab 4x4, just $359 a month. Or choose from hundreds of quality certified pre-owned vehicles.
With zero down payment and the credit help you deserve.
Come see all the great savings we've lined up so you can start your new year driving happy and hassle-free. Let the fun begin.
On Route 10 in East Hanover. Online at nielsendodge.com. A proud member of the Nielsen Auto Group.
At Nielsen Dodge.
Fun is in the driver's seat.
Start something new sales event. With approval term Durango 36, Ram 42 months due at sign, Durango 5599, Ram 5954 at tax tag 498 dock and DMV fees.
Is there a safe space for me? Who will listen to me when no one gets it? How will I handle it all?
How can I keep going like this?
We hear you. Call, text, or chat 988 for emotional support and crisis services. It's free, confidential, and here for you 24/7. Learn more at 988.ny.gov. Brought to you by the New York State Office of Mental Health.
Get ready for more Evan and Tiki on The Fan.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free. Let's go.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-4094. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-4094. That's 800-575-4094. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Get connected with WFAN to talk about your favorite teams. The Fan on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
We got a couple of pieces of relatively important breaking news we will address. Number one, the Giants have completed their interview with Mike Kafka, so that's done. And number two, this is baseball related. Over the weekend,
The Fan Focus is sponsored by Chef IQ, precision cooking, effortless results, chefiq.com.
Over the weekend, there were reports that the New York Yankees were engaging with the Miami Marlins on Edward Cabrera. I think The Athletic reported at first that a deal wasn't imminent, but there's definitely conversations going on between the Yankees and the Marlins on Cabrera. In fact, at one point on Sunday, I thought the deal was even done.
Correct.
Turned out not to be the case. Edward Cabrera has indeed been traded, and it's not to the New York Yankees. Ken Rosenthal reporting that the Chicago Cubs are acquiring Edward Cabrera. So it's not really about us breaking down the Cubs. It's more this was clearly a Yankee target, Cabrera, who I'm mixed on.
Yeah.
He throws 96, 97. He's got a nasty sinker. He's got electric stuff. He's got team control. He's pitched relatively well. He has an injury history, which would be my concern. I do think he has a massive upside, and you'd have him for a couple of years. Mm-hmm. So I was talking with a buddy of mine who's a Yankee fan, because he was like, would you prefer Freddie Peralta or Edward Cabrera? And for the long term, the answer is Edward Cabrera. Right. I also think his stuff could have translated well to the bullpen if he was moved there. But this deal didn't come about, and I'm going to speculate openly that a part of why this deal didn't happen is because they still haven't figured out the Cody Bellinger situation.
Exactly.
And I think the moment they do, will add more clarity to the availability of a Spencer Jones or a Jason Dominguez. So I think the Cody Bellinger holdup is affecting other aspects, including potentially acquiring Edward Cabrera.
Which is a problem, but I'm not, as a Yankee fan, going to be, oh my God, we didn't get Edward Cabrera. I know other Yankee fans differ. I believe that the Yankee rotation is deep, even with the injuries to start the year. It's not to say you can't have enough starting pitching, but I think what happened here, Evan, right now is the Yankee fans finally got like a little taste of a rumor that they were close on something. Now you see the Cubs do it, and you're going to get all the backlash of, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Here's the good news about the rumor. The Yankees are clearly going to acquire a starting pitcher.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's Mackenzie Gore, who I'd actually prefer over any of the other guys. I'm not sure if it's Freddie Peralta, which is more of a rental, but a high-end rental because he's an ace-like pitcher. But it feels like this offseason's headed in the direction of they're going to keep Bellinger, at least they're certainly trying, and I think they're going to acquire a starting pitcher via trade.
I'm just fascinated on what the hell they do, and I know you can't count us when all the guys are healthy in May.
That's a good problem, Sean.
I know. It's a good problem until you have somebody upset, like when Marcus Stroman said he was a starting pitcher.
Well, forget about that, because Marcus Stroman isn't here. I'll give you 3 answers to that question very quickly before your Cinco. Number 1, they won't all be healthy. I mean, Edward Cabrera himself, he's just an example, has an injury history. Like, guys get hurt. So
Cole Fried and Schlittler better be healthy.
I get it, but not all will be healthy at the same time. Option number 2, which I'm a big proponent of, especially with Cole coming off of Tommy John, is a 6-man rotation. I think it makes sense. I thought it made sense for the Mets last year. I didn't think it made sense for the Yankees at times. I think it does make sense when you've got a rehabbing Garrett Cole, and eventually, if he comes back healthy, or rehabbing Clark Schmidt. I love that idea.
Yeah.
The other idea is...
But you have that regardless if Clark Schmidt comes back.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, that's an option in May.
Right.
And then the other option is moving somebody to the bullpen. So, I think they're all good things that you can do. Like, you're laying out a first world problem. What if I have too many starters? I don't know. I'll feel bad for you.
I know. And mark my words, the Yankees are going to be down to like just Fried in June, and Evan's going to pull this tape and go, what did I tell you?
Well, because it's true. It's like when Tiki argues and says, well, they have enough pitching. You never have enough pitching.
I only say they have
enough. It's not a cliche. It's true.
I only say they have enough pitching in the realm of I have other priorities, like handling Bellinger before I'm worried about the rotation.
That is different. And clearly their priority is handling Bellinger because they did not pull off this trade for Edward Cabrera. I'm getting hungry. I think it's lunchtime.
Shaun Morash in the booth. Somebody hide the castle. Optics flying, phones ringing, Evans yelling, no! Tiki's laughing, chaos cracking, nobody's in control. It's Cinco de Roncho. Bam! Crunch! Let's go!
Cinco de Luncho is brought to you by Helix Wireless, connecting everything everywhere. Simply, the 5 reasons it will suck if Jim Harbaugh is not... Which one are we hiring?
John.
It will suck if John Harbaugh is not the Giants coach. Here we go.
Here we go. Number 5.
We already know there is a 0.0% chance the Giants are picking in the top 5 next year if John Harbaugh is their head coach. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of at the end of the year going, tank, tank, tank. Don't have to worry about it.
I know. It's fun on draft day, and it's fun maybe in the lead up to the draft, but the end of regular seasons where you're thinking about draft positioning is brutal.
Exactly.
More on that in a second.
All right, here we go.
Number 4.
We got excited about the Koch family flush of cash becoming minority ownership. Be the highest bidder. You have the extra cash. Don't let that get in the way. Make him have to say no to the most money imaginable. Here we go.
Number 3.
Part of the reason reportedly he's out in Baltimore is he fought for his offensive coordinator, Todd Monken. He brings the exact kind of down-the-field attack you want with Malik Neighbors and Jackson Dart. It's actually a perfect fit. Here we go.
Number 2.
He is the closest available living example to Tom Coughlin that is aligned with a Giants vacancy since Tom Coughlin left.
It's tough to argue that. I mean, he's more accomplished than Tom.
Yeah.
And Tom had a great resume with Jacksonville, 2 AFC championship games. John's got a freaking Super Bowl.
And I'm not counting Vrabel. First of all, Harbaugh won a Super Bowl. I'm just talking about now they're available the same year the Giants have a vacancy.
I get you.
All right, and here we go.
Number 1.
After all the buzz we have been pushed down our throats as Giants fans that the Giants have the best available job. If the best available coach doesn't come to the best available job, isn't it safe to say the Giants' stubbornness in keeping failed GM Joe Schoen is a big reason why?
Yeah.
Can't let Joe Schoen get in the way.
No, if Joe Schoen gets in the way, like I disagreed with bringing him back. You disagreed with bringing him back. I think most Giant fans did. Most people did. But one thing I've learned in sports is we scream and yell about it, and then we got to move on. Like, what are we going to do? We're gonna scream about it forever? Like, I've tried to cope with Pete Alonso. I can't scream about it all the time. But if it hinders getting a big-time head coach, that'd be a problem. And that would reinforce why it was a bad decision to bring him back. Luckily, early returns, especially from Ian O'Connor, who's clued in, is that it shouldn't be a problem. Speaking of tanking.
Okay.
Before I play this clip, I want to acknowledge I'm aware it's a joke. But you can kind of get in trouble for joking. I've learned that. Like, all jokes aren't like, oh, I'm exonerated from anything. Did you hear what Adam Peters said the other day?
I didn't.
Adam Peters, of course, GM of the Washington Commanders, was asked very eloquently by a reporter, did you consider tanking? Like, did you consider losing the game for draft positioning? Here is Adam's answer along with head coach Dan Quinn.
If we win a game in the last week, it could affect draft status and the importance perhaps of that. Even if you say we're not going to worry about that, do you weigh in on those matters?
I told him the tank, and he just said no. That game was important.
No. I mean, it's a joke, but come on, man.
Now, yeah, they're lucky they won because I think it becomes a bigger deal if they had lost to the Eagles.
Yeah, I don't think he makes the joke if they lose to the Eagles.
Probably true.
Like, I know obviously it's a joke, but sometimes.
What? It's a joke.
It's you would think it's a sensitive subject around the league because tanking is not healthy. It's not good for the sport. We've talked about it.
And yet teams like the Cowboys could do it, no penalty.
Well. Yeah,
don't you think
that's arguing with it.
Look, just because you're not going
and the Giants last year with Malik Neighbors not playing half the time.
And just because it doesn't involve the number 1 pick doesn't mean it's not tanking in some way, shape, or form. You're not going all out to win.
Honestly, the most famous one doesn't involve the number 1 pick. It involves you not winning the division under Joe Judge in 2020 when Doug Peterson and the Philadelphia Eagles decided, screw it, we're not going to try to win a football game.
Yep.
So you're right, and I think that's probably the most impactful example of quote-unquote tanking.
Joe Judge might still be the coach.
I know. It's an alternate history.
He wouldn't be, but
probably not. But, you talk a lot about coach of the year, like Dable won 1, Stfansky won 2. Winning a division championship and hosting a playoff game.
At 6-10?
It doesn't matter.
In COVID?
It's still a thing. You know what I mean? So if they would have won that, or they did win the game, if they would have gotten the proper help from the Philadelphia Eagles, and they did host a playoff game that year against Tom Brady, right?
It would have been against Tom Brady with no fans.
That would have been unbelievable.
Would have been crazy.
And maybe you beat him.
Maybe. Washington hung in there that night.
I remember. That whole thing was so weird, 2020.
Yeah.
It's one of those sports years you're like, did that really happen? Let's get back to your calls, 888-808-1019. Connor Hughes, one of the best reporters out there, will join us at 1 o'clock. More insight on what's going on with this coaching search. Ray is in the Bronx. Hey, Ray.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up?
Just want to call up Todd McShay. That story is total fake news about the Jets. You got to remember, he's like best friends with Joe Douglas.
No, and that's why
University of Richmond.
That is why I play way too much stuff on this show, as Sean will testify. So much audio, right? I never considered even getting involved in that discussion because it was fake. And it was also, in fairness, Todd McShay saying, I would advise my clients to not play for the Jets.
Correct.
Which he has every right to have that stupid opinion, but I think it was let out as, this is what's happening. No one actually wants to play for the Jets, as if it's a fact, and it's reporting. And it wasn't, and yes, Ray brings up the other aspect of it, and that is he's very close with Joe Douglas, and there's certainly a lot of bitterness for the way things ended. So I don't take it seriously. All I take out of it is that the narrative of LOL Jets lives strong.
Yeah, it does. Plus, Peyton Manning didn't want to play for the Jets. Let's remember. That happened.
Well, do you really want me to redo this again?
No, I just know it would aggravate you. I just want to get that side.
It actually doesn't aggravate me. It's just more of I have to explain what I learned over the last couple of years.
I'm a big fan of hearing Evan going, do I have to do this again? It's one of my favorite games to play.
I don't want to do it. So should I just move on?
Move on. We don't need it.
All right. I'll paraphrase. It's not that Peyton Manning didn't want to play for the Jets. It's that Bill Parcells wouldn't make a guarantee to the Manning family.
Uh-huh. So you did it anyway. You rehashed it anyway.
I didn't rehash it.
Evan, remember, we only have 4 hours now, not 4.5. Okay? We keep the train moving.
It was 9 seconds. I just wanted to put it out there. Aaron's in Pennsylvania. Hey, Aaron.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Wonderful. What's up?
Hey, I think it would be an absolute colossal failure, obviously, if the Giants don't get John Harbaugh. He's the legacy he's had, what he's done with the Ravens. I think obviously it's ran its course.
Yeah.
There, I think most coaches do after so many years. But what he's done for Lamar Jackson is something he could do for Jackson Dart.
Absolutely. Sure. I mean, we saw, like, with John, even though he comes from a special teams background, 2 young quarterbacks develop under his tutelage. Mm-hmm. Joe Flacco, as a rookie quarterback, got to the AFC Championship game, and obviously the success of Lamar Jackson. I am going to reach over to my drawer, and I'm going to take out an L. I won't take out the L if you just simply apologize for something you said earlier that you claimed you didn't say.
Wait a minute. Today?
Yes.
You know what? I don't care if I have to wear the L. I'm now just really curious what you mean.
What I mean, well, earlier in the show, it wasn't even that earlier. It was probably like a half hour ago.
Yeah.
I got annoyed with you that you didn't come clean about Kevin Stfansky not actually coaching the one playoff win he had.
All right.
To which you said, hey, I was very careful to never say he won a playoff game.
Sure, exactly.
What if I told you that we have audio that proves that you did say he won a playoff game?
How do I know it's not AI?
Oh, God. Because we just had a guy who works here behind the scenes, Anthony Gallo, who does a great job, work his ass off after I was tipped off by somebody who I don't know if he wants his name out there as the tipper.
Then I'll take just the tip. Give me the tip of the L.
You're going to take the L?
What do I care? So what? Then I accidentally said something I didn't realize I said?
After you
just crushed the whole draw.
Oh, crap. Take the L, and here's the audio of earlier today, Shaun Morash saying Kevin Stfansky won a playoff game, even though he later claimed he never said he won a playoff game.
Rex is very upset that Kevin Stefanski is getting so much credit for doing what he did with Cleveland, and Rex just sits on the pine after he did what he did with the other equivalent of Cleveland, the Jets.
Well, let's be fair. Who has a better winning percentage in their career, Kevin Stefanski or Rex Ryan?
Rex.
Okay, let's go to the playoff wins. Kevin has 1. Rex has 4. So who has more playoff wins?
Rex.
Who's been to 2 championship games?
Rex.
So Rex is making a fair point, is he not?
He is.
Crap.
Here's your L back.
You don't actually say it.
I told you I didn't say it.
Who tipped me off?
You asked me. Good job, Gallo.
Well, Evan, you do say he has 1 playoff win, and Sean, I think, says correct.
Yeah. No, you
did I?
Yes. Yes. Play that part again, because even if you don't actually say he won a playoff game, if you are saying correct to me saying he won a playoff game when you knew he didn't coach that game, that is absolutely L-worthy. Absolutely L-worthy.
Here, let's hear it.
All right, let's hear it. Give Connor a career. Kevin Stefanski or Rex Ryan?
Rex.
Okay, let's go to the playoff wins. Kevin has 1. Rex has 4. So who has more playoff wins?
Rex. Take your.
I guess you didn't say it. Yeah.
Damn it. Damn it. By the way, next time, Gallo, if you don't find it, just let it die.
Yeah. Good job, Gallo.
Don't bring the audio.
Way to go. You're going to need more than a pea shooter to come at me. I know what I said.
I was told by somebody very reliable that you did, and so after the show, I will do this on my own. There's certain ways to find it.
No, say names now. You want to out me? Say names. I want names. Who outed me for something they were wrong on?
I don't feel like I should do that.
Out me. Out them.
I feel like I need to ask the person.
Well, somebody listening, go ahead.
But I don't want this person to not out you anymore because I outed them, so I'm not going to out them.
Oh, you are ridiculous.
Someone from the morning show. All right, how about that?
All right. Al, I thought we had a nice conversation about Megan Maroney.
Let's be honest. You know that Boomer doesn't listen.
Uh-huh.
Al's probably not listening. Gio's not listening.
Jerry! Oh, Jerry. Oh, Jerry. Well, one less thing for him to pull to play at Update tomorrow morning.
I love Jerry.
I love Jerry, too.
He just wanted to call you out when you lied to me. That's all. I appreciate that.
But I didn't. So, apologize to me?
Do you want me to apologize to you?
You should apologize.
I apologize. I thought I had you. I still think I'm going to get you, but at least for now, probably for the rest of the show, I do not have you.
Okay.
And that's okay. Let's go to Santo in Milford. What's up, Santo? Hello.
I just got a question for you, Evan, mostly.
Yes.
Because Sean, he gets a little crazy. I want to know if you think, non-biased, that Joe Shane would rather hire Kevin Stfansky because he can control better, like what he does, and he'll be like more of a mouthpiece, rather than him hire John Harbaugh and kind of feel like overthrown.
That's a great question, and
before you cut me, I just want to tell Shaun Morash that Giants Nation show is 10 times better than Talking Giants.
I mean,
he did podcast trash talk on your
I love Giants Nation show. Not better than
Is
Talking
that Bobby
Giants.
Skinner?
Yeah, Bobby's great.
Bobby's tremendous.
I like Bobby. These people out there think because I replaced Bobby that somehow there's some kind of war. Got news for you. There ain't.
Nah, listen, the podcasts are all families.
Of
course. Like me and other Mets podcasts. I got no issues with anybody.
Of course.
And you don't have issues with Giant podcasts.
No, except Giants Nation. They're not paying their interns. It's bad over there.
I thought that was you.
No, we're good.
I'm a big fan of Giants Insider.
Yeah. They're good doing
I feel like the Giants have like such a good mix of podcasts.
They do. Inconvenient Bluth, another good one.
I haven't heard that one. I'm sure they're great.
I have no idea what it does. I just love the name.
Oh, okay. How about Believe in Giants? Isn't that the Carl Banks, Bob Papa one?
Believe.
Believe.
Yeah, very good. Carl had a banner year.
Yeah, no, he was great. Do I think Joe Shane would prefer a coach that he has more of a chance to control than John Harbaugh? I'm going to naively say no. I think that Joe's desperate. I think he wants to win. And I think he knows the best way to keep his job, whether it's John Harbaugh, Kevin Stfansky, Clint Kubiak, or whomever, is to just get wins.
Yeah.
And so I think when you're at this stage of we just need to win, I would think he's going to prefer the best head coach, even if it's the one that will diminish his power and the credit that he gets.
I disagree. I think he'd rather Stfansky be here.
All right, fair enough. Let's go. I mean, we're speculating on a man's brain.
Of course,
you know?
Which is hard to do.
It's like asking Craig, did he want the ratings to be good after he left or bad? Like, I mean, he'll always be nice to me and say, I want them to be great, but it's private. Like, I don't know. Francesa, the same thing. They're all the same.
We all love Craig. Day 2, I'm watching the WFAN Twitter page. We're already doing the Madison Square Garden popcorn bit.
What are you talking about?
He loves the MSG popcorn. Day 2, he's already eaten it.
Why are you attacking my guy?
I love Craig. But if you're going to do it, can we bring in the popcorn for everybody?
No.
It's so great. Day 2?
I think I'm banned from having garden popcorn.
Why?
Because
you're a season ticket holder.
I think one time I said the Barclays Center popcorn is better.
Oh.
And we had a little bit of, you're never going to get the popcorn again.
All I heard was Craig coming back food. He brings back one thing of popcorn. Nothing for anybody else.
Well, I mean, you want some? Why don't you go ask him? Do you like the garden popcorn?
I've never had it.
Nah, it's actually very good. I remember when he told me that, and I was like, throw it aside. When I did try it the day I went, because that was my combat. If he wasn't going to allow me to have garden popcorn, I'll go in there and buy it myself, which I did, and it was actually very good, I must admit. Let's go to John in Pittsburgh. Hey, John. Hello, John.
Hey, Evan, Sean, thanks so much for taking the call. Listen, Evan, you and I are similar ages. We've suffered through the pain of being a Jets fan for 40 years. Really quick questions for you, yes or no's, and then I'll tell you why I think Cliff Kingsbury should be the coach.
Yeah.
I'm good?
Yeah.
All right. How do you feel confident that Aaron Glenn and Tanner Estrom can develop a quarterback this year?
No.
Okay.
No.
Overall, do you think that Aaron Glenn will, try to move up in any way with the draft capital do you think he's on the hot seat for next year 2 if he goes in year 2 as head coach?
Do I think he's on the hot seat? Not really. Like, Woody Johnson has shown a loyalty in the first few years to some of his head coaches, so I don't think he's on the hot seat, though some people may disagree with me on that.
All right, let me tell you why I think Cliff Kingsbury should be the next head coach of the Jets. Because I think, Evan, to your point, how realistic is it Harbaugh or Stfansky are going to the Jets?
Right.
I don't think it's realistic at all. Harbaugh has too much of a track record of success to go there and jeopardize his legacy, and Stfansky just left the Browns, which is a dumpster fire like the Jets. Cliff Kingsbury is perfect for the Jets, and here's why. With the Cardinals and with the Commanders, he got Kyler Murray and Jaden Daniels to be Offensive Rookie of the Year. If the Jets are drafting a quarterback this year, this is their guy. That's it, plain and simple. If you really believe that Glenn and Estran can't develop a quarterback, we have 5 first-round picks, guys. This is a golden opportunity to get an offensive coach who has a track record of developing rookies. He went to the playoffs, and the only reason that he lost that job is because Kyler Murray prefers to play Call of Duty on his Xbox instead of being an NFL quarterback.
Well, I have a bet. I'm going to take your idea and up it a little bit. Cliff Kingsbury is removed as the OC of the Washington Commanders. He's going to go for head coaching interviews. I don't ultimately think he's going to get a head coaching job, which means he's going to be an OC again. How about Woody Johnson opens up the pocketbook, Aaron Glenn opens up his mind, and Cliff Kingsbury becomes the new offensive coordinator for the New York Jets?
Yeah.
What's the problem with that? That's where he's probably going to end up anywhere as an offensive coordinator. So instead of just giving up on Glenn and blowing the whole thing up for a guy who had some success in Arizona but ultimately failed, how about you get both and you bring him in as the OC?
There is more to the Cliff Kingsbury fallout in Washington.
Go.
All right, Jordan Schultz says this. Part of the issue the Commanders have had in the building is the front office meddling with the coaching staff on personnel and which players to use, yada, yada, yada. Moreover, they've not gotten the impression Dan Quinn wanted to move on from his coordinators. The entire disconnect heading into 2026, there's a lot of bleep going on there. So it seems like Adam Peters is calling out who Dan Quinn can have on his staff and what they're doing with the team. So it feels like all this talk about Kingsbury's now getting a blemish.
Yeah.
Dan Quinn didn't want to let go of Cliff Kingsbury.
No, I got you. But he still lost his job. Give me examples, and I actually don't know the answer. Maybe you could ask AI. How many times has a coordinator been fired and immediately got a head coaching job? When does that happen?
Good question.
I would almost guess it doesn't happen very often. As our last caller was asking me those yes or no questions, it did remind me of something I referred to earlier, and that was when me and Joe, in this very time slot, had Brian Costello on, and Joe asked Brian, the great reporter that he is, will Adam Gase be the coach in like the next couple of years? And when Adam Gase, or Brian Costello, I should say, said no, Joe had this visceral reaction. That was the visceral reaction. Here is the entire exchange. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Is Adam Gase coaching his team 3 years from now? I want you absolutely. What do you think? No shot.
I don't think so. I mean, the way this is right now.
The way it was all set up, too.
And it does apply to Aaron Glenn?
It does. Dude, I know I'm in a tough spot here because I'm arguing against myself. I'm being honest, though.
I know.
I don't want to pull the plug on this guy after 1 year. I think the difference between Gase and Glenn, in my opinion,
Glenn is a weird guy.
I never wanted Gase. And so I was out on him before it started. I believed in Aaron Glenn, and there's a small, tiny part of me that still does. And I just don't want to blow it up after 1 year unless I'm getting the ready-made sure thing like John Harbaugh, which they're not.
All right. Listen, when Harbaugh wins his 3rd Super Bowl with Jackson Dart and you're sitting there.
3rd Super Bowl.
You're sitting there on your 4th coach by that point since Aaron Glenn, you're going to look back on this day and
Connor, he's such a pig that instead of saying like championship game or a Super Bowl, he actually went to what, 4th Super Bowl, 3rd Super Bowl?
Third Super Bowl. Not even when they make the playoffs, when they win 10 games, when they win their 3rd Super Bowl.
We get Harbaugh with chasing down Andy Reid Mahomes.
This is why the non-Giant fan is going to have a tough time rooting for the Giants because of you.
Remember, did you see what Dart did to Bellinger on Sunday? That's Mahomes-esque.
I got you. When we come back, we'll talk to Connor Hughes of SNY. The latest on the Giants' pursuit of John Harbaugh. I'll even ask him, is it possible for the Jets to pull something like this off? We'll get all the information we need about this coaching situation from the great Connor Hughes, who joins us in a few short minutes.
Tonight, fans get the first look at who's heading to Fanatics Fest 2026, returning July 16th through the 19th at the Javits Center in New York City. New York Giants running back Cam Scattaboo is set to reveal the first lineup of talent live tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on his Twitch stream. It's Cam Scattaboo's Twitch stream tonight. The names drop in real time, and fans will see it happen first. Watch live tonight on Twitch and find out who's headed to Fanatics Fest this July. When Harbaugh wins his third Super Bowl with Jackson Dart.
This is an Odyssey Sports Minute.
This is Nick Costos with a Sports Minute sponsored by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. Old Trapper, what's your beef? I think Cowboys defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus, who just got fired, I think his beef should be with Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. Eberflus did not do a great job this season. What do you expect? They traded Micah Parsons before the season, and there are no good players on the defense. I don't love Eberflus. I think he got a raw deal. I'm Nick Costos.
Presented by Robinhood.
He crosses, spins, pulls up.
With Robinhood Prediction Markets, buy or sell your predictions all game long. No house odds, just you versus the market. Put your sports IQ to work. Trade every shot, block, steal, run, and moment that shifts the game. With Robinhood Prediction Markets, trade every play. Visit Robinhood.com/predict to start trading. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Orgavada Zona? Is that a word? In the 2026 Kia Sportage Turbo Hybrid, it might as well be, because it can be one road trip. It's all about turbocharged power and hybrid efficiency working together, so you get the thrill of quick acceleration and the satisfaction of fuel efficiency. Book a test drive and keep the adventure going. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-3334-KIA for details. Always drive safely.
Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Boomer here. If you love cooking as much as I do, you gotta listen up. The Chef IQ Mini Oven is your all-in-one kitchen hero. It bakes, broils, air fries, dehydrates, slow cooks, toasts, and more. It's got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, a color touchscreen, a soft closed door. It even syncs with the Chef IQ app, and pair it with the IQ Sense thermometer for perfect USDA-safe temps every single time you cook. So why not grab yours right now at chefiq.com. Use my name, code word BOOMER, to save 30% at checkout.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Presenting A Gain Flings Love Story.
Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
Boomer here. You know when the game's on the line, you need a winning play, and for electrical pros, that's Cooper Electric. With 70 locations all across the tri-state and easy online ordering, my friends at Cooper Electric have the inventory and expertise to keep your projects moving. From tools to wire to lighting, Cooper is the playbook for pros who want to win every job. So make the winning play. Visit cooper-electric.com today. That's cooper-electric.com. Cooper Electric. Our knowledge is electric.
Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
We love talking about the Knicks and Nets on WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1 New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
It's been a very exciting last few days. I would argue the last few days have been more exciting for the New York Giants and the Jets to a degree than the previous 18 weeks of garbage football. The Giants are full on their coaching search. There are a couple of available names that became available over the last 72 hours. Kevin Stfansky, John Harbaugh. Things are heating up. So let's break it all down with a guy with as much insight as anybody. The great Connor Hughes does a fine job for SNY. Connor, Shaun Morash, Evan Roberts, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing well, guys. How are you?
Excellent. So when do they hire John Harbaugh? Do they do it by the end of tomorrow? Like, how quickly are they going to pull this off?
Well, they still have to go through the whole process. And I don't necessarily mean the process with Harbaugh. I think if they could have the way that they wanted, they would probably hire him just about on the spot. But they still have to go through the Rooney Rule process and go through the multiple in-person interviews with minorities and things of that nature. So this is going to take time. But make no doubt about it. I mean, he seems to be the guy that they want from everything I've heard.
Now, Connor, when it comes to Joe Schoen and John Harbaugh, I know there's varying reports out there that wouldn't be a deterrent. Do you think internally Joe Schoen is really going to push harder for a guy like Stfansky because he's worried about his own job with the John Harbaugh coming in?
That is the thing. That's such a great question, Sean, because I think that's what fascinates me the most, because I dug on this. And it was once Harbaugh was let go and you knew the Giants were going to be interested in it, I'd make calls to I've been fortunate enough to be around enough people now that have worked with Harbaugh or know Harbaugh, and I've heard conflicting things. You know, some people told me, no way in heck he's going to want to work with Joe Schoen. Other people told me, no, there's going to be no way, it wouldn't be a deterrent at all. He would absolutely take it. So I've heard conflicting things about it. What I fall back on is that if you're Joe Schoen and you are the one who is leading this search, and for all intents and purposes seems to be the guy that is the front man for this search and doing all of the work and in these interviews and taking guys out to dinner and all that stuff, why would you even be entertaining someone if you had a fear that he's going to come in and immediately boot you out? I mean, again, that's not a source thing. That's just me falling back on logic. I can't imagine he would do that. I mean, I could see this being a one-year relationship potentially, and then if it doesn't work, Schoen moves on and the Giants move forward with Harbaugh. I don't necessarily know, but I don't think that this will be Schoen saying, hey, we need to go with Stfansky instead of Harbaugh, trying to save his own you-know-what? Because at the end of the day, when you compare the resumes and you compare the type of coach Harbaugh is, there's a reason why teams with coaches are calling about him, let alone the Giants not doing everything they can to try to get him.
So on that note, unfortunately, you've been here for plenty of coaching changes in the New York locals. Is there ever going to be a point in time where John Harbaugh is in a room with people involved with the Giants that Joe Schoen is also not in the same room at the same time?
I don't know the answer to that. I mean, I guess you're talking like if this gets to an interview point where they say, okay, it's just the Tish or it's just Mara or whoever. I don't know.
Just because if John doesn't want to work with Joe, it's very hard to say that with Joe in the room. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah. Look, I think here's the thing. If you hire somebody like Kevin Stfansky, or you hire somebody like Mike McCarthy, or you hire one of these coordinating guys, which whether it's Shula or Minter, guys who have absolutely resumes that are deserving of head coaching consideration and potentially head coaching jobs, Sean, these are guys that are going to get jobs, and when they are in there, it's going to be, okay, you're the head coach, that's the general manager, you're going to have your role, general manager's going to have your role. collaborative, working together, but it's going to be 1 and 1. You know what I mean? It's going to be one over here, one over there. When you bring in somebody like Harbaugh, it's immediately his show. It's his, and I wouldn't say it's neutering Joe Shane's power in any way, shape, or form. He's still going to be controlling the draft. But if you're going by the quote-unquote final say, almost comparing it in a way to what the Jets right now have with Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji, Aaron Glenn has final say on everything. Darren Muji's still the general manager. He's making the draft picks. But the final say and the main voice of the deciding factor, if it's a 50-50 vote, it's going to be Aaron Glenn. That's the case when you hire somebody like Harbaugh. He becomes the extra vote. His voice carries more weight when you're somebody who is of his stature and has accomplished what he's accomplished.
You brought up the J word, the Jets.
Yeah.
I am a supporter of Aaron Glenn coming back for a second season, but when John Harbaugh became available, my thought was, this is the guy we were waiting for. This is the culture changer. This is everything the Jet fan has dreamt of, really, since Rex was gone. Like, this is the guy that can change everything.
Yep.
Is Woody Johnson at all using any back channels to just get a sense if John Harbaugh would have interest in being the savior for the New York Jets?
Look, if Woody's making his own calls and sending his own texts and telling nobody, I mean, look, back in week 2, was it? I mean, or before, I'm sorry, not week 2, but I found out about it week 2. Before Micah Parsons was traded, it was Woody and Jerry had a conversation about trading for Parsons. So, I mean, yeah, I can't, I don't have Woody's phone. I have no idea if he sent a text or called somebody just off doing his own thing. But I can tell you that I looked into this yesterday and I did some digging on it. And what I was told was that the Jets have no interest, basically, in Harbaugh, that they are fully and completely committed to Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji, and they are moving forward with Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji, and they're very excited for the 2026 season. They are not pursuing Harbaugh. They're not doing what the Dolphins are doing right now with Mike McDaniel under contract. It's nothing like that. They are committed to Aaron Glenn. And look, Evan, I agree with you. I mean, it's funny because last year's coaching cycle, there were 2 names out there that were pretty much the no doubt bona fide, these guys are as slam dunk hires as you can possibly imagine. And it was the guy who's been there and done that, and it was Mike Vrabel. And on the coordinating ranks, it was Ben Johnson. Those are the 2 guys that were like, A+, A++ hires. This cycle, there wasn't that guy. So the Jets could kind of always fall back on like, well, it's not like, we hired Aaron and we're not, well, look, who else would we get that's better? Harbaugh is the domino that fell that changed everything because Harbaugh is now on that Vrabel level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He is that type of a guy. But no, the Jets are completely and totally committed to Aaron Glenn.
I guess that's noble of them, but I would be seedier than that. Now, that's just me. I mean, because and no offense to Glenn, because I've been fighting with Jet fans about keeping him for a second season, but this feels like a game changer. It feels like this is where I would pivot off of that, and it doesn't feel like the Jets feel the same way, which is...
I wouldn't say... See, here's the thing, though, is that there's just so many other things that would need to happen before, and this, again, this is not reporting or sourcing, but like this hypothetical world where Harbaugh becomes the Jets coach, there's so many things that need to happen because the Jets can't just fire Aaron Glenn and hire Harbaugh. They would have to fire Aaron Glenn, then go through the same interview process of doing the Rooney Rule and interviewing these guys and doing that. And there's also no guarantee that something doesn't happen last second where, hey, say the Giants come in with $10 million more a year, hypothetically, to get Harbaugh. And suddenly Harbaugh's like, yeah, you know what? I did want the Jets, but now I don't. You know, like it's not this Madden game where it's just, oh, there's Harbaugh, let me fire this coach and hire the next one. You know what I mean? There's like so much that needs to happen there that it would be such a risk and potentially have so much blowback on their face of badness that it makes sense why they're moving forward for at least this year with Aaron Glenn.
Now, Connor, you referenced like that process that you would go through, and obviously the Giants are going through that process right now. So when it comes to flying Kevin Stfansky in and he meets and has dinner with the Giants right away, how much of a game of like chance do you think the Giants are playing here? Meeting with Stfansky right away, going through some of the couple of interviews. If Harbaugh wants to wait this out 2 weeks, weigh all the options, do you think there's a scenario where the Giants could completely fumble this and Stfansky says, forget this, I'm taking the Falcon job, and they lose out on Harbaugh and him?
I don't think they lose out on both. No, I don't. If I'm personally, I don't think they lose out on both those guys. I think they'll probably have either Harbaugh or Stfansky as their head coach. I do, and the difference here from other head coaching circles or other head coaching cycles that I've covered is that the Giants are the best option out there. I mean, the Ravens now, I guess you could throw them in there because they have Lamar, but they're going to be looking for a very specific candidate. So of the other, because again, Harbaugh's not going back to the Ravens, of the coaches that are available, the Giants are the number one. I mean, you're going to have, I know the cap space doesn't look so robust, but the contracts that the Giants have done are structured in a way that they can very easily create more cap space. They have a very high draft pick. They have an ownership that is proven to be, I know they've had the turmoil yet, but it's an ownership that wants to win. And there is something to, I know it hasn't been over the last 20 years or so, or the last 15 years or so, but there is something to this being the Giants franchise. Like, that carries weight. It's a desirable job and probably the best vacancy that's out there. So, no, I don't think this is going to be something where they do this dance with Harbaugh and over the last second, like, Harbaugh burns them to go to somebody else. I think the Giants are going to have a pretty good idea pretty soon if they're going to get Harbaugh or not. And then if they go through all the little processes that they have to do before the hiring becomes official, okay, but they're going to know. And ultimately, I think they have one of those two guys as this team's head coach.
We're talking to Connor Hughes of SNY. So for most people, not everybody, it's about power and it's about money. Those are usually the two very important factors. So let's start with power. We talked earlier about Joe Schoen, if he'd be a hindrance or not. And Sean brought up the question like, hey, does John Harbaugh ever get to talk to ownership with Joe Schoen not in the room? Assuming he does, and John Harbaugh says, I don't want Joe Schoen. Get rid of him. Do you get a sense that Giant ownership would acquiesce to someone like John Harbaugh and say, you know what, we will fire Joe Schoen for you if you're willing to take the job?
If they were going to do it for anyone, I mean, on this coaching cycle, it would be Harbaugh. I mean, they're not going to do that for Kevin Stfansky. Sure. They're not going to do that for Minter. I mean, if somebody was going to do that, yeah, I mean, I think that they would have to consider it. I mean, look, this is a guy that, and I've been given no indication that would happen or that they would want. Again, this is just thinking at everything the Giants want in a head coach is Harbaugh. No doubt. They have if you go through, and I remember when Daboll got fired, and I made some calls to people over in that building and basically said, what are you looking for in your next guy? They basically read John Harbaugh's resume before anyone even knew Harbaugh was going to be available. It's somebody who is a proven winner. Somebody who has success late in games. I know we can obviously joke about the way that it's gone the last couple of years, but whether it's the Mark Andrews drop or Lamar Jackson's order to double coverage or a missed field goal, I mean, it's a little bit different than the fourth quarter collapses the Giants have had. That's a different sort of story, but a proven winner, somebody from a successful organization, someone who's won the big game, who's been good in crunch time, who's developed quarterbacks, who's had success with different types of regimes, because the Ravens were an elite level team with Joe Flacco and Harbaugh. Then they lost Flacco and got Lamar Jackson. They're still the elite level guy, someone who can develop talent and set a culture and be the leader of men. It's Harbaugh. So it is everything the Giants are looking for is this guy. And from everything I've heard, it's a little bit of a reciprocation there that Harbaugh also wants the Giants. So I think it's a match made in heaven. And if he did come through and say that, I think that it would be something the Giants ownership would have to consider. But it would also be something a little bit here on Harbaugh when, again, the guy leading the search is Joe Schoen. He's the one who's saying, hey, we need to talk to Harbaugh. We're the one who needs to bring him in. He's so good. And then for Harbaugh to be like, hey, get out of here, buddy. Yeah. It would be, again, I'm not saying that's not going to happen. I don't know if it is. Again, I've heard conflicting things about it from people who know Harbaugh and have worked with him before. But it would probably be something they'd have to at least think about.
The other thing I'd wonder about, because I think we all agree that if you take a look at the list, you mentioned it earlier, of available coaching jobs, the Giants are towards the top of the list. The Ravens are up there, but they're NA for this because they fired John. But that list could also change. Like, if Buffalo gets knocked off, dare they fire Sean McDermott? The Eagle one is fascinating, and I know Art Stapleton tweeted it last night. I give him the credit for kind of putting it out there. But he has a history in Philly. He was there for a decade. Like, could the Eagles be this looming threat for John where ultimately, if that's a vacancy, his preference would be Philly over the Giants?
God, could you imagine a coach who wins a Super Bowl, who has taken his team to the playoffs every single year that he's been there, already been to 2 Super Bowls, won the division this year, has a home playoff game. What, they win 11, 12 games? I guess 11 because they didn't play their starters against the Commanders.
Oh, who's counting, Connor?
I mean, that would be wild. I mean, look, I thought too, when actually it's funny, I'm in a group chat with the other Giants writers like Pat Duggan and Dunleavy and those guys, and it was mentioned in there too. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And then I saw Art tweet it. I was like, what are we doing? Like, what? Yeah, I think that would be a wild one. The one to keep it, I would think more so than Philly would be the Bills. That would be the one, because there's been murmurs and rumblings about, does Josh Allen and Sean McDermott, what is that relationship actually like? They've been on the doorstep of the team that many believe is going to be a Super Bowl team the last 6-7 years since they've had Josh Allen. have never done it. You wonder if McDermott's just kind of run his course there, get somebody else in there, and Harbaugh would certainly be that guy. But that would probably be the one that I would keep an eye on more so than Philly. But you're right. You can never rule anything out with the Eagles. You really can't. And the one thing about that team, and I joke about this all the time, they have the dysfunction and the drama of like a 2 or a 3 win football team, but they are so damn talented because of Howie Roseman that they win 12 and 11 games every single year. It's amazing. Like it's just ridiculous what they go through over there that you can't rule it out, but I'd say Buffalo is the one to really circle. Like Duggan was actually the one that pointed that out first. They're the ones to keep that circled.
Now, you mentioned a little while ago how like the Giants are the most desirable job. We keep getting that hammered down our throats. And obviously Giants fans everywhere, you hear the name John Harbaugh, you're going to like drool over it. The expectations with this roster, as much as people have knocked Joe Schoen, if the Giants were to name John Harbaugh the next 2 weeks a head coach, do you think that immediately the expectation becomes playoffs next year?
Playoffs. I need to see what they do in the. It's not just. I mean, not with this roster. No, I mean, I think if you put John Harbaugh on this team, and you tell me that Malik Neighbors is going to be healthy for 12 games, I think that the Giants are a team that could absolutely be right around the 7-win mark. I mean, I know that's not like great news, but I mean, that's just baseline. Like baseline of what we saw. Like thinking about the team that what we saw last year, and if you're like, okay, add Harbaugh, add a healthy Malik Neighbors, you still had a rookie in Jackson Dart, they're probably sitting around 7 or 8 wins. I do think that because he's going to flip some of those close games. I think he's going to have them more well prepared. He's a better manager than Kafka, obviously, and I think he's going to get the guys playing harder than what the Giants were at points this year. They still need a lot of pieces on this team. I mean, they need to figure out that defense. You like the talent, but still, I mean, the cornerbacking unit needs some help. I think the safety unit still needs some help. They need some help on the offensive line still. It was the best it's been. But you wonder when the age is going to catch up with them. Like, how much longer can you squeeze the juice out of Greg Van Roten?
So that
how much longer can you stick with JM? I mean, there's pieces there that they still need, but they would absolutely be a team that's around 7 if they have a good offseason, good draft. Yeah, you could see them being 9 or 10 wins. I don't think that's asinine with Harbaugh. If you're thinking, look at Harbaugh's career. I mean, all he does is win. That's what I go back. All he does is win.
Well, the reason I asked that question was kind of a setup to say this. If the baseline is 7 wins from hiring a John Harbaugh with this roster in year 5, why the hell is Joe Schoen still here?
Well, that's the grand. I mean, that's the beauty of it all. I mean, that's the debate that we can have until we're blue in the face. And like you can build. Here's the thing that I keep telling people is you can build the argument that they needed to blow this whole thing up and turn around and have a front office of, run by Chad Alexander, and then he comes in and brings in John Harbaugh. That's your front office. Is you have the new GM and Chad, and then you have Harbaugh, and that's what you've got. Like you can make that argument, but at the end of the day, Joe Schoen has the support of ownership. He has the support of Tim McDonald. He has the support of others within that building, and they believe in him. I mean, so what you're saying, Sean, makes sense. And when Duggan, like I saw Duggan's column, like every argument that you can makes sense. Like there is a valid argument to start this over. Like it's out there. But ultimately, this is what the team believes. And our opinions don't matter. I mean, these are the guys who own the team. So they're the only opinions that matter, and this is what they believe. So they're willing to stick with them now, or at least as it's currently stated.
Talking to Connor Hughes of SNY, what was your biggest takeaway from Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji yesterday?
They have a plan. they have a plan. No, I think they're going to be very aggressive this offseason. I think this is going to be here. Look, you know Woody as well as I do. He's not happy with this, and I know he's going to say the right things, but Woody's patient until he's not, and Aaron Glenn knows that, and Darren Muji knows that, and everybody over in that Jets building knows that. So he's willing to stick to the process and trust the process and do all this stuff. Eventually, he's going to say, "Show me the wins. Show me the wins. Show me we're actually headed in the right direction." And he was not okay with the way that they were embarrassed the last 5 weeks of the season. He is not okay with them being a laughingstock. And I can tell you 110%, he's going to turn the heat up on Glenn and Muji if the Giants end up getting Harbaugh. Like, you know how that works. Like, you know the Giants-Jets dynamic, and we've seen it over times where how the Jets react when the Giants win a Super Bowl, or how the Tim Tebow effect was the reaction of the 2011 one. So he is going to look around, and especially if the Giants get Harbaugh and start winning, that's going to turn it up even more for the Jets. So I think this is going to be something this offseason where you see them be very aggressive in free agency. They're going to have a significant budget. I know that. It's not like it's going to be tight like it's been before. They're going to have their budget. They're going to do everything they can to get their quarterback, and they're going to try to build a team that is at the minimum, a team that is competing and competitive. Competing for the playoffs, I'm not saying that, but they were a competitive football team, which they were not this year.
They talked about uncovering every stone to find a quarterback. I think the odds are likelier than not that they're just going to take one at number 2, whether it's Dante Moore or somehow Fernando Mendoza falls. Do you think that if stars like Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson become available, that they're going to be super aggressive in that route as well?
I think they'll explore it. I think the Kyler Murray one would be something they'd explore more than, because Lamar, now that Harbaugh's gone, Lamar's not going anywhere, so you can cross that one off. And Joe Burrow, I don't see Joe Burrow saying, yeah, trade me from the Bengals and all the crap I was dealing with there to, hey, send me over to the Jets. Like, I don't see that happening at all. Like he would, I don't see that happening. But Kyler Murray, I could see that being a possibility paired with a rookie. Like, say, for whatever reason, the Jets, say Dante Moore doesn't come out, or for whatever reason, the Jets are like, whoa, red flag, we don't like this guy.
Right.
I could see them going the trade for Kyler Murray and then draft somebody with that Colts pick, whether it's Simpson or somebody else that ends up popping up here during the pre-draft process as the Jackson Dart of this year's draft, drafting him there and then having Kyler Murray start before you eventually turn it over. I could see that happening. I don't think they'll be uber aggressive in something along like the Lamar route or the Burrow route, though.
2 days after Brian Daboll was fired, we had you on, and I said, look, you were very good at this last year with predicting Aaron Glenn to be the head coach. And I said, I'll put you on the spot. I know it's real early. Who's going to be the Giant coach? And I don't know if you remember. Do you remember what you said? Because it's pretty damn impressive.
Did I say Stfansky?
You said Stfansky. Yeah. So my question is, you could stick with it because he's obviously a legitimate candidate. Are you ready to say, yeah, I was close, but it's going to be John Harbaugh?
Yeah, I didn't think Harbaugh was getting fired, I'll be honest with you. I didn't see that happening. I saw that Ravens team, thought they were going to get hot and make the playoffs. They probably should have, and he would still be this team's coach. And then Tomlin would be doing TV somewhere. But I think I'm going to say it's going to be Harbaugh. There are so many signs right now pointing to him with the Giants, how much they want him. I've heard he wants him too. So it seems like that's going to get done. And it's just a matter of how everything else around Harbaugh is going to work. Does he want to keep Shane? Does he want his own guy? What's going to go on there? But I'll say that I think it's going to be Harbaugh. I'm
going to give you 2 players real quick. Breece Hall, Dexter Lawrence. Who's most likely to not be in New York next year?
I think they both will be, but Dexter is more likely. The Jets made it pretty. That was the other thing, Evan, is that in that press conference, the Jets made it pretty clear they're going to keep Breece.
Yeah, I hope so.
I think they'll probably try to just give him like a 3-year contract with $11 million a year. But if not, it'll probably be they'll do the transition tag or the franchise tag just to keep him. I mean, they made it clear that they want to keep good players, and Breece is a good player. So I think Breece is going to be back on the Jets next year, and Dexter is an interesting one because if he doesn't fit in with what some of these guys, the new staff wants, then he has a tradable contract. So I could see that. I could see him being on the move.
Connor, great stuff. We always appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming on.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. Connor Hughes, SNY, the latest on the New York Giants. He said it, and I think Giant fans get excited. John Harbaugh is going to be your next head coach. All signs are pointing there. There is a report. Who had it first? My friends at Giants Insider will give them the credit that John's going to interview on Thursday. That's what they're reporting.
Oh, man. Thursday's tomorrow.
Thursday's tomorrow. Yeah, isn't Stfansky today?
Yeah, so the first interview Stfansky took was Giants. That would mean the first interview Harbaugh's taken is the Giants.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
So this could move very quickly to the point where they're not patient, which I suggested earlier. You're going to get John Harbaugh. How you feel over there?
After all the crap we have been put through as fans.
Are you going to cry?
I'm not going to cry yet. If you tell me that we stumbled accidentally maybe into a franchise quarterback and John Harbaugh is the head coach, Evan, I got news for you. We're going to see a parade in the middays.
Well, I already told you we are. So it's not going to be the Giants.
Well, you said Harbaugh wins his 3rd Super Bowl with Jackson Dart.
You already predicted it.
Get the mittens out. February, outside, cold. Let's go. This portion of the program is sponsored by Kalshi. Trade on anything.
We'll get back to your calls coming up, 888-808-1019. And why, and I normally don't say this about regular season basketball, but why history tells you the New York Knicks really need to win tonight against the Clippers. Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
He is in for the touchdown! It's an NFL on Westwood One Wild Card Weekend, 4:30 Saturday, with the Rams and Panthers, followed by the Packers and Bears.
And it is good!
Sunday, we kick off at 1 with the Bills and Jaguars. Then it's the 49ers and Eagles, followed by the Chargers and Patriots.
Touchdown!
The home of Super Bowl 60 is The Fan, 101.9 FM and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Boyle here to help you beat the books with what you want sports. Miami versus Ole Miss at the Fiesta Bowl in the desert kicks off our CFP semifinals. Can the Canes get pressure on Trinidad Chambliss? Ole Miss didn't allow a single sack against Georgia. Meanwhile, Miami has 12 in their last 2 games. Heck, call me prisoner of the moment. Even if Chambliss is under pressure, he transcended into a god amongst men against the Bulldogs. I think he does it again. I'll take the points with Hottie Toddy. I'm Pat Boyle. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today.
This new year, get started on your next success with University of Maryland Global Campus. Apply by February 11th and get your application fee waived. An accredited state university, UMGC offers online and hybrid classes, along with more than 135 degrees and certificates in fields like business, cybersecurity, healthcare, and more. Gain the skills you need to achieve your career goals. Get your application fee waived through February 11th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
This is Jim Orozco from Schwartz Mazda to offer you a holiday greeting straight from the heart. Please let these times bring us closer together. From our entire Schwartz Mazda family to yours, may this holiday season bring you health, happiness, and peace.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-323-8922. 800-323-8922. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-323-8922.
Zona? Is that a word? In the 2026 Kia Sportage Turbo Hybrid, it might as well be, because it can be one road trip. It's all about turbocharged power and hybrid efficiency working together, so you get the thrill of quick acceleration and the satisfaction of fuel efficiency. Book a test drive and keep the adventure going. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-3334-KIA for details. Always drive safely.
Get ready for more Evan and Tiki on The Fan.
Calling all hoops fans, get off the bench and onto the court for another exciting basketball season with BetMGM, an authorized gaming partner of the NBA. From same-game parlays to live bets, you can call your shot during any play. Rooting for your favorite players? You'll find all sorts of markets for betting on any star's performance on any given night. Don't miss a single highlight or buzzer-beating shot by getting all your picks in with BetMGM. Ready to shoot your shot? Download the app today and make your bets. BetMGM, make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 7 days. Gambling problem? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
When it comes to buying Continental winter tires at the guaranteed lowest price, there's only one place to go, Town Fair Tire. Plus, when it comes to getting more free services, when you buy Continental winter tires, there's only one place to go, Town Fair Tire. So, for the best deal on Continental tires, there's only one place to go, Town Fair Tire. Because nobody beats a Town Fair Tire deal. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Make money predicting the college football playoff, legally nationwide with Kalshi. From sports to politics to culture and more, if it matters, you can trade on it with Kalshi, the world's largest prediction market. Use code FAN to get $20 when you trade 100. KALSHI. Kalshi. Trade on anything.
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills.
Odoo replaces it all. One connected platform for every part of your business, so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever. Best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
We're here with attorney Mark Miner of the personal injury law firm of Zalman, Schnurman, and Miner. Mark, winter conditions can make walking treacherous. What responsibilities do property owners have in regards to snow and ice?
Well, all property owners must keep their property in a reasonably safe condition. When it comes to snow or ice, this means that within a reasonable time after snowfall ends, all walking surfaces must be made safe.
Now, what must be done to make the property safe?
All snow and ice should be removed. If all snow and ice cannot be removed, then ice melt or sand should be applied.
Do you handle many cases involving snow and ice?
Absolutely. Slipping and falling on ice can result in terrible injuries.
If someone is injured in an accident, what should they do?
They can call us at 1-800-LAW-LINE for a free consultation. We can quickly determine whether there is a claim worth pursuing, and there's never a fee unless there's a recovery.
If you're injured in an accident, call 1-800-LAW-LINE. That number again is 1-800-LAW-LINE.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get the scuttlebutt on your favorite team, the Fan, on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
How we doing on this fine Wednesday? I think they call it a hump day. Hump day? I haven't really figured out why. Why is it? Because it's in the middle of the week and you're getting over the hump? Is that what it is?
You get over the hump.
There you go. We're here till 2 o'clock. The Carton Show with Chris Big Mac McMonagle. By the way, I won that bet. And I don't have the audio to prove it. You can just trust me. On Monday, before the Carton Show debuted, we made a couple of predictions, like short-term predictions, one of which was Big Mac's first question for James Dolan, which we had fun with yesterday. The other one was, what will Craig call him? Mm-hmm. And on that first show on Monday, he called him Chris McMonagle, called him his full name, which Tiki guessed successfully. But yesterday I was listening, and Craig went to where I was, which is he's Big Mac.
First thing I heard when I got in the car.
And so it is, and there's no wrong answer to it. You can call him whatever the hell you want. McGonagall. But we all made predictions on it, and I was successful in calling him Big Mac, or predicting that Craig would call him Big Mac. And I think you said he was going to come up with a new nickname for him, right?
Yeah, I figured, and I think I almost swayed you because you were like, you know what, I could see Craig doing that.
Could see him doing it, yep.
But look, if Chris likes it, isn't that all that matters?
He doesn't care, Big Mac.
He doesn't care.
And I call him Big Mac because I just went back to it.
He was always C-Mac forever.
He was C-Mac. And he became Big Mac when he did the show with us. And Craig started calling him that, then I started calling him that. So it's tough to not call someone by a name you always call them.
I agree.
It was like the day Sean walked in once. He was always Morash. That was his name, Morash. And then one day, very passingly, he's like, oh, by the way, it's Morash. Mm-hmm. And it blew everybody's mind because it's like, that's how you pronounce your last name?
Yeah, it shouldn't be that hard. It's Morash, but people had a tough time with it. The Fan Focus is sponsored by Chef IQ, precision cooking, effortless results, chefiq.com. The Knicks tonight are looking to stop their losing streak at the Garden when the 13-22 but red-hot Clippers, who have won 7 of their last 8, come sailing in. Kawhi Leonard looks like the Kawhi of old, averaging 28 points per game. James Harden, a game-time decision.
So here's the thing, and you're right. You got two teams heading in different directions despite the records. The Clippers have been red-hot recently. The Knicks have lost 4 in a row. If they lose tonight, it would be a 5th in a row, and they're about to embark on a 4-game West Coast trip. Now, it's not against the most difficult teams, but nevertheless, it is a West Coast trip, and we know about the Knicks' struggles on the road. Why is tonight important from a historical perspective for the New York Knicks? Why don't you ask me?
Evan, why is tonight historical from a Knicks perspective?
Well, they've lost 4 in a row. The all-time record of most consecutive losses in a season in which a team went on to win an NBA championship is 6.
Look at you.
So they're getting a little close to having to deal with NBA history.
This is why you're the best.
You find that interesting?
Because it is such an Evan Roberts stat to look up. Ooh, Knicks have lost how many in a row, man? I think, do I put a little worry in the Knicks fans? How many do you got to get to?
No. See, I'm not trying to put a worry in a Knicks fan. I'm giving them information.
No, it is valuable information. It is also useless, but that's why.
Well, is it useless? A lot of people look at history as a guide.
But here's the rule with history. There's a first time for everything.
No, you're right. But one thing I've stressed a lot with Tiki, and Joe taught this to me, so this is from Joe, and I've taken it with Craig and certainly with Tiki, which is when the Knicks lose game one at home, they never win a series. Mm-hmm. And yes, there's a first time for everything. Well, how'd that work out last year when they lost game one in Indiana?
No, you're right.
So
Aaron Boone, when they don't have home field advantage,
Aaron Boone, which I have brought up endlessly.
Right.
So just for the record, the 3 teams that won an NBA championship when they had a 6-game losing streak, because it's happened 3 times.
Okay.
Are you ready?
All right.
Number 1, the 1979 Seattle Supersonics, who went on to defeat the Bullets in the NBA Finals. Okay. The 2004 Detroit Pistons, who had a 6-game losing streak, beat our team
yeah, of course.
in the semis that year in 7, and then destroyed the LA Lakers in the NBA Finals. And more recently, the 2011 Dallas Mavericks, who obviously beat the Heatles in the NBA Finals.
But those last 2 make sense. I can't speak to the Sonics one because they weren't like the greatest elite teams, but they were deep and made runs.
Would this concern you? Obviously, as an IBO, in terms of, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Now, look, do I think you get to a certain point? 8 games, 9 games, 10. Yeah, of course. Then it's like, well, what the hell is going on? You had an 1/8 of the season where you lost all these games in a row.
Do you have a follow-up question about history? Because I came prepared.
Okay, how many games in a row is the Knicks record?
No! How many games in a row, the most consecutive losses in a season in which you got to the NBA Finals?
Oh, okay. Good question.
Just got there, because I think that
Wait. Evan, how many games in a row can you lose and get to the NBA Finals? Does that happen?
So the all-time record for winning is 6. For just getting there is 7. So a little bit more wiggle room.
Ooh.
That happened one time by the Los Angeles Lakers in '91 before they got knocked off by the Chicago Bulls.
I'm gonna swerve you. If I'm a Knicks fan, I want to get to 8.
You want to break the history?
I want all the history in the world to come with this. Nobody believed in us when we lost 8 in a row. Pile it on.
I will make you this prediction. I know we've already done our year-long predictions, and I was thinking of using this on January 2nd as a year-long prediction, but I didn't think it was sexy enough. But I'll use it now because we are talking about it. The New York Knicks will have a playoff series this year in which they will lose game 1 at home and go on and win the series. They will break the snide.
I like that.
The Beningo snide, I like to call it, because he's the one who harps on it. And I've agreed with him, and I've brought it up endlessly, and you'll hear it again when the playoffs start. I think this is the year where they'll lose a game 1. Maybe it's in the first round. Maybe it'll be against like an upstart team that barely made the playoffs after Michael Porter Jr. led them into the play-in tournament.
I like that.
I'm just joking. That's not happening. Lose a game 1, and then they'll come back and win the next 4.
Now, you made Tiki Barber concede on a prediction, he said, and then he ended up having to pull back his concession and had to wear an L. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Will you concede that if the Giants hire John Harbaugh, I'm already going to be right in my prediction for the year?
What was your prediction for the year?
That the New York Giants will win more games in October than the New York Mets?
No, because I don't want to count the Mets out. They're in the middle of the offseason.
There's a glimmer in your eye that says, damn it, he might be right.
Well, I never said your prediction was wrong. I said that you were trolling.
It wasn't a troll.
You were trolling the Mets.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was trolling the Mets because I don't think they're making the playoffs. That's a troll job.
Yes.
I don't think Steve Cohen thinks they're making the playoffs.
Well, I disagree with that. I mean, he thinks they're going to put together a playoff team. Look, the offseason isn't done yet. I'm not happy about what's happened, but I can't judge them finally on January 7th.
Of course not.
Well, you are.
It's a prediction. Why are we making predictions?
But I wasn't disagreeing with it. I was saying you were trolling in the prediction.
All I asked is if you'd make a concession if they heard John Harbaugh.
I will not make a concession. No, I'm not going to make a concession that the Mets aren't going to make the playoffs and they're not going to win a playoff game or do anything like that on January 7th before I know who the freaking left fielder is. I mean, they will make moves. I'm not telling you I'm going to love the moves, but I have to at least be open-minded to it's not over yet. Let me make this clear. I hate the Met offseason so far. I despise it, but it's not over yet. When it's over, I'll give a firm answer.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's go to Bernie in Florida. Hey, Bernie.
Hey, thanks for taking the call. I appreciate it.
No problem.
So, I'm a decades-long Jets fan. My dad, 1969, takes me to see Jets Oakland and to go to the Super Bowl. Don Maynard's catch rolling right at me to catch that bomb from Namath. I'll never forget it. So I have that. Many Jets fans don't.
God bless you for that, by the way.
Yeah, that's one of the great memories of my life.
I get
you. So after every season, after every game, I get the calls, the texts from my New York, New Jersey friends where I lived most of my life. Why can't we win? Where's the problem? Why the coaches and players leave and do well soon after elsewhere? We don't particularly care for the owner. He's not a football guy. So is it in the front office, the scouting staff, the coaching? Where is, if you don't mind my saying, where's the rock?
Hiring the wrong people. It's a very simple answer. Hiring the wrong people. I don't think Woody Johnson is malicious. I don't think John Mara's been malicious. They have hired the wrong people. James Dolan, for years, hired the wrong people and trusted the wrong people. And then he got a little meddling, which has been the case with all three owners as well. And then finally, he hired the right person and now lets him do his thing. And so I think the answer to this, and that is an ownership issue, that's a Woody issue, but he has not hired the right people. And I hold out hope that as wrong as it feels right now, Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are the right people. Rich in Brick, New Jersey. Hey, Rich.
Hey, what's going on, Evan? Hi, Sean. How are you doing today?
What's up, Rich? What's up?
Let's play a little game. You guys are Tish and Mara. I'm going to be John Harbaugh. You just got done interviewing me. I said, I'll come to you guys, but here's my condition. You got to get rid of Shane in order for this to work. What will you do?
Done. He's gone. I mean, you want to answer it? He's gone.
Get rid of Shane. If John Harbaugh showed up at my house and said, I'm going to agree to this deal if you divorce your wife, I'm divorcing her. Are you kidding me? You got to get rid of Joe Shane.
You're divorcing your wife?
Not really.
John
But
Harbaugh?
I'm just showing you how. Can you lay a punctuation just lay out there?
How far would you go? Would you cut off a pinky?
For John Harbaugh, I'm not losing a limb.
Would you cut off a thumb?
Stop touching my body.
You're the one who said you'd divorce your wife. I mean, what do you want me to do? I'm following up with a fair question.
I would do a lot of fear factor disgusting things. I'm not cutting off a limb.
Would you take No, I'm not doing that. I had an idea, but it was dirty. I'll keep it to myself. Let's go.
All right. There was movement.
All right. Let's go to Richie in Queens. What's up, Richie?
Yeah, I had to jump in, guys, on this decision with Harbaugh. Hey, real quick with the Knicks, I think they're in trouble, Ev. I really do. And I know you're fair. I argue with my nephew, go with season tickets. Evan's a little tough on the Knicks. I said I disagree. I think he's very fair. And I two things I worry about. I think defensively, I don't know how you pick that up. And they're just not athletic. They're not. And everybody says when you get to the playoffs, it's a half court, to a point. There was a lot of running in those games last year. And Cat is a big deficiency.
And I'll tell you one thing defensively that jumped out at me the other day. No, just real quick, the comment is Mikal got bullied by Cade Cunningham the other night. We didn't talk about that enough. I mean, and at a point where I'm screaming at the TV, hey, Mike Brown, can you get Mikal off Cade Cunningham? I mean, how many times can you watch Cade post him up and abuse him?
And I think the OG Bridges being a great defensive player. The real great defensive player is Mitch, and he's an liability at the end of the game. But with the Harbaugh thing, totally agree at this point. It's the safe choice. Harbaugh, I was on Saturday, Shawnee, with Big Blue, and I made my prediction was the loser of that game would be available. I don't like to make predictions and blow my own horn, but I really felt at that point that's what was going to happen. Harbaugh, more so than Tomlin, has been a major disappointment the last 8 years in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He just has.
But
He's
Richie,
got an MVP quarterback and a better defensive team. So,
Richie, you're not.
Yes.
But Richie, wouldn't you agree you're not available right now if you haven't been disappointing in some
there's going to be a disappointment that makes a guy available. Now, I want to give Richie credit. I didn't hear him make that point that the loser of this game will be available. But one thing I was notified while I was on vacation is a point that Shaun Morash made on Evan and Tiki while I was away. Take a listen to Shaun Morash on December 23rd right here on WFAN.
I think that a split is coming in Baltimore. Whether that's Lamar or whether that's Harbaugh, I lean towards I think Harbaugh is going to be done.
How about that?
Thank you, Dan.
That's from Dan. Yes, he heard it because I was on vacation. I wasn't listening.
And that's why you work around the holidays around here. If I could,
so you can make a correct prediction?
No doubt about it.
So I actually did hear it. I don't want to be this jerk because I wasn't listening to your show. I was. And I remember when talking about the split, you did bring up Lamar Jackson. And both you and Tiki said, I remember we brought this up to Evan a few weeks ago and he didn't want to trade for Lamar.
Correct.
Where I'm at now is a little bit different. I still have my concerns about Lamar Jackson. Like, I've got my concerns about what he is into his 30s, staying healthy, all of that. But I so don't trust the Jet coaching staff to develop a young quarterback that if he's available, I am pursuing him. I am.
That makes sense.
I think the Jets have a better chance of success under this administration building a good roster around a ready-made quarterback who's already developed than developing their own. They already have a good offensive line. They've got weapons on offense. Yep. Obviously, they got to rebuild the entire defense. We know, pick a DC, the whole thing. But if Lamar became available, and of course, the willingness and the want to play for the Jets, which doesn't seem high, I'd pursue a trade. Do I pursue Joe Burrow more? Yes, but I would pursue Lamar Jackson.
I'm proud of you. Unfortunately, I have a hard time thinking he's available now that Harbaugh is gone. It feels like they chose the quarterback.
No, I don't think he is. I'm just being honest with you because on that same show that we played a clip from, I remember you guys saying that about me.
Which is so funny because Lamar was trending in such a wrong direction until that fourth quarter on Sunday night when he seemingly made every big throw imaginable.
I know. It's crazy. Sammy's in New York. Hey, Sammy.
Yeah, hey, how are you guys? Thanks for taking my call.
What's up, man?
Yeah, so I want to ask you a question. I'm 17, diehard Jets fan. My father's diehard. My grandfather's diehard. My father's diehard. My grandfather, my great-grandfather. You know, we've been diehard Jets fans for years.
Yes.
And I want to ask you a question. You know, I'm 17. I'm going through, going to the next stage of my life. I want to ask you if you think I should be dedicated to being a Jets fan. I want to ask you, depends on that. Yes or no answer. If your life is on the line, will the New York Jets make the playoffs in the next 5 years?
No.
Really?
I mean, how can
5 years? That could
Sammy,
get another rebuild by then.
I know. You're right. And you asked two things, Sammy. Number one, should you remain loyal? Yes. You're 17 years old. You got more of your life left than most of us, which means there's a greater chance that things are going to turn around, that you're going to get to see success. But you also said, with your life on the line, in the next 5 years of the Jets making the playoffs, they haven't made the playoffs in a decade and a half.
Right.
And they've been through plenty of rebuilds and plenty of coaches. So I would be speaking in a Morashian blind faith way. If I said on the radio, the answer is yes. And I think if you ask most Jet fans, their answer would be no, because we've been so beaten. What would it be based on? Literally, it would be based on hope. That's all it'd be based on.
You need a sign that at least one of the two you figured out, which would be coach or quarterback. You have no sign of that right now with the Jets. You might have a sign of that in 9 months if whoever you draft ends up being good, but you can't say that right now. But hold on, real quickly.
Yes.
If you're 17 and you survived this year's with the Jets, newsflash, you didn't waste any good years as a kid. You're going to appreciate them more as an adult.
That's why I say stick with the team.
Yeah.
Connor, life on the line, which I hate. I don't even want to say that, but whatever. Life on the line, it's fake. It's not real. You think the Jets make the playoffs in the next 5 years?
Not a chance. They might not make the playoffs for the next 10 years.
Oh, man.
Because you keep Glenn for another year, then he's probably going to get fired. Maybe they win 5 games next year and they bring him back for a third year. Eventually, he's probably going to get fired. And they're nowhere close to having good enough players to go to the playoffs. It could be 10 years.
10 years. Shaun Morash as an IFO. I want you to put the trolling away. IFO. Jets make the playoffs in the next 5 years?
Yes. Now, can I explain why real quickly?
Yeah, okay.
I just have this guttural feeling.
Yeah, guttural.
That Dante Moore is going to be taken number 1 overall. Mendoza is going to go 2. And
we're going to end up with Mendoza?
I have this guttural feeling. I really do.
So I said recently on the air to Tiki and to you, there's no shot Mendoza's not going number 1. I still think he's going number 1, but I read a report the other day, and I'm not even sure it's that accurate. I apologize. I didn't even write it down to give the proper credit, so you could tell me if it's real or not, that Brian Daboll really likes Dante Moore. And if Brian Daboll gets the OC job in Vegas, that could very well influence the decision that they make. And so that could obviously lead to a flip, assuming Moore comes out, between Mendoza and Moore. And I love Fernando Mendoza. Now, what do I know? I'm not a diehard college football fan. I don't want to lie about it. I've seen him play for a little bit of time, not a lot. But my early eyes, my naive eyes, my virgin college football eyes say I believe in the guy. I'd be excited if Fernando Mendoza is my quarterback. So that would add to the hope meter, but I'm not exactly confident that's going to happen.
Won't be with Aaron Glenn, though. I think Aaron Glenn will get fired. Year 2, you'll hire a coach.
Okay. As long as I'm in the playoffs in the next 5 years.
I think you get there.
I don't really care who the head coach is. Let's go to Mike in Tinton Falls. Hey, Mike.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Evan, I'm worried about you with some of these takes here. You wouldn't take Nick Sirianni over Aaron Glenn. You want Kyler Murray to the Jets. Mike Tomlin's going to get traded to the Giants. So, I don't know. I'm worrying about you.
You want me to address all of them? I'm going to address one by one. You ready, Mike? Number one, the Kyler Murray thing is not fair to me. That's not what I've said. What I've said about Kyler Murray is that if he's released by Arizona and he's willing to compete with a young quarterback, I would bring him in. That is far different than what Connor Hughes said earlier this hour about the Jets bringing him in as the starting quarterback. I don't believe that opinion of Kyler Murray competing with a young quarterback is a crazy opinion at all. So you are not misquoting me, but misinterpreting me. I put that to the side. Number 2, the Tomlin stuff. Like, let's see what happens over the weekend, but I don't think I'm speaking out of turn to say it is not a guarantee Mike Tomlin comes back. And if the Steelers did try to organize a trade for him, I believe that the families have a close enough relationship where that can go down. What was the third one that was crazy?
Sirianni.
Yeah, here's the thing.
I had you there.
Yeah. Obviously, he has accomplished a lot in Philadelphia. I cannot besmirch his win-loss record and what he's accomplished. I just don't know. I don't know how much of it is the awesome roster that Howie Roseman's put together.
He's been in 2 Super Bowls and won one.
I did. You know what? I'll give our last caller this. That's a tough opinion.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Over Aaron Glenn?
Well, I'm not saying Aaron Glenn's better.
I take Big Dom over Aaron Glenn.
Great call, Connor.
See, I'm not saying I would take him over Aaron Glenn over Nick Sirianni. I'm saying I wouldn't blow up a one and done and rush to hire him. That's all I'm saying.
You're nuts.
Isn't that a little bit different?
No, it's not.
What do Eagle fans think of Nick Sirianni?
Eagle fans are morons. Half of them like him, half of them hate him, half of them hate Jalen Hurts, half of them like them. They're idiots. They are the stupidest fan base on planet Earth. They suck.
Are you an adult or are you a child?
Digital should cut that clip.
Go ahead, cut it, send it to IP. I don't care. They know they're morons.
They already know that?
Yeah. Sitting there with the Kelsey jerseys.
One last question for you.
Losers.
Okay. We get it. You hate Philadelphia.
Yeah.
As Art Stapleton, your dear friend, pointed out last night, John Harbaugh has a long history in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
He was the special teams coach there and was employed there for a decade. If the Eagles lose and fire Sirianni and Harbaugh's like, hey, more ready-made roster, my history there, I'm going to Philadelphia, does that cause you to not think about rooting for the Eagles over the weekend?
Does it cause me? I've already made my decision. I'm rooting for the Eagles every single week until Harbaugh is signed.
Well, you haven't announced that to us. Announce it to the radio audience. I didn't know that. Would you tell your wife secretly? Like pillow talk? The audience needs to know your opinion after you just trashed Philadelphia for 30 seconds. Go ahead.
I am making the announcement, and I think every Giant fan should join in this. I am rooting for the Philadelphia Eagles in every single playoff game until John Harbaugh has made a coaching decision to keep him as far away from the Eagles as possible. Let's go, Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly.
That last part, can you make sure that's cut and kept for us?
Ooh.
I'd like, ooh.
At least I'm willing to admit it. You wouldn't take Nick Sirianni over Aaron Glenn.
You guys caught me in something.
Hey, yeah, I caught, just like you thought you caught me earlier and you were dead wrong. You and Recco.
I think that's a very intelligent and mature opinion to have. I really do.
You.
No, I do.
I've tried to grow up in the middays.
I think that our strong opinions on sports teams need to be couched when it benefits your team.
Right. Farm your own land.
I've always said that. You've got to put your team first. And I think that opinion is you finally putting your team first over your vitriolic hate for the city of Philadelphia. And I respect that. I do that.
Let's go, Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly.
I need to hear that a lot. I do it too.
Easy there. I still need to do a good job tomorrow.
I do that too. Like with the Yankees and the Knicks. Like I got to put my team first. If your team's going to help my team, then I'm going to do it.
Absolutely.
Anyhow, if you missed any of the show, you can rewind it on the Odyssey app. You can download the Evan and Tiki podcast. Tiki's back tomorrow, and you're going to want to tune in because unless his opinion changes, Tiki Barber prefers Kevin Stfansky over John Harbaugh. Find out why tomorrow at 2 o'clock. I think that's all I have left to say.
Yeah.
The Carton Show with Craig Carton and Chris Big Mac McMonagle is next. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.
This is an Odyssey Sports Minute.